The Tyler Catastrophe situation might be the worst example of parasocial obsession in recent history. And I've been getting a lot of requests, so I figured I'd give you all what you want and have a talk about it all. But before that, of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because if you don't, I will be forced to get on my hands and knees and cry and beg. And none of you want to see that, so I say to prevent it, just get subscribed and let's talk about this, shall we? You can see one of the most amazing cases of foreboding that I have ever bared witness to. His name is literally Tyler Catastrophe. It's like naming yourself Daniel Disaster. So you're really not giving yourself a good bit of hope here in terms of how your life's gonna go, or like how your internet career is gonna, shape out. You literally choose your last name to be Catastrophe. Look at this, he's got a moving GoFundMe. That's nice. He wants to escape Texas. Fucking hell, he's raised $16,000. People must really like this guy. I wonder where he wants to go. I wonder why he wants to go there. He's got a pretty impressive 40,000 Instagram followers, though. It's like double what that's like 3 times what I have. That is unacceptable. Maybe I should, like, rename myself to Danky Disaster if that seems to be the new meta. Haver of skills, maker of things, doer of stuff. Cringe. Let's actually have a look at his jewelry shop, shall we? He sells, to be fair, this isn't too bad. This sort of little homemade sort of shtick that he's got here. Flower gift set. And does he make all this himself? That's pretty impressive, actually. He is a haver of skills. My bad, mate. These seem to be doing pretty well as well. 136 sold of these $75 plus things here. He's fucking smashing it. Fair play, lad. Print shop as well. Ooh. Okay, all right. What are these like? I'm not sure I'm as impressed as at these ones as I am like the sort of physical necklaces and that, but I guess if it's your jam, it's your jam. Anyway, here's where the weirdness starts. We are going to watch an old video that has now been deleted from him, where he explains his love for a creator known as Wilbur Soot. Now, for context, Wilbur Soot was a Minecraft creator who was heavily involved in the Dream SMP, I believe. He got cancelled for some abuse allegations a few years back, and nowadays I think he spends most of his time online doing his Lovejoy stuff, which is a band that him and his friends have. Now, maybe we'll be forced to talk a little bit more about his situation in particular later on in this video, but for now, I don't think it's too relevant. But what is relevant is this guy's abhorrent love for him. Nothing wrong with being a fan of someone, by the way. I mean, if there was, then I'd be fucked. But like, this much? Let's just have a look, shall we?
I have had a crush on Will Gold since 2019, when I heard him laugh in the background of someone else's video, and it felt like life itself leaned in to listen. Which is really inconvenient for me, because I'm very much a one soul at a time kind of person.
This is all, okay. Already, this is like all kinds of fucked up and strange. I don't know when this video came out. Either way, I think Will Gold is like his government name or some bullshit like that. Who knows, right? It's some parasocial bullshit. But either way, for you to have a crush on someone just by hearing their laugh in like the background of an old video, first of all, I think it's bullshit. But second of all, I think it's not even a thought that it's weird. It's fucking like objectively really strange. But I also don't think it's true. Like, there's no way. I don't think it was his laugh that impressed wee Tyler here. I think it was the fact that he was like this super tall, handsome white guy who made a living out of creating parasocial relationships and was 100% feeding into them. Like, you gotta remember, these are the type of people who literally say what their go-to cafe spots are, hoping that people will find them there. These are the types of people who say that they don't encourage parasocial relationships as a double bluff to make them seem like more of a real person, which of course only encourages the parasocial relationships they claim to hate so much. Their careers are parasocial relationships.
I develop a crush, virtually no one else stands a chance ever. And at the time, I had just broken off a terrible engagement to a guy who didn't even fucking like me. And since then, I have only briefly dated one other person, who was wonderful.
I didn't catch that, sorry. Did he say something like, when I have a crush on someone, no one else will ever get with them, or something like that?
So once I develop a crush, virtually no one else stands a chance ever.
Once I develop a crush, no one else stands a chance. Alright, I'm guessing that means with him, not with Wilbur. Okay, my bad. I thought that was a lot weirder than it actually was. It's still fucking odd, but you get me, right?
A terrible engagement to a guy who didn't even fucking like me. And since then, I have only briefly dated one other person, who was wonderful, but it didn't work out. And so in all of that time, regardless of how many people have tried and been interested in me, I have not been able to find the interest for any single one of them, because I have a fucking crush on a guy I have interacted with once. And I don't even officially know his sexuality. That's a whole other thing. And I have tried.
It's probably because he's one of those straight dudes that like acts as though he's questioning and acts as though he's got like some ambiguous sexuality to make it seem as though it's ambiguous when he's just a straight guy who wants to queerbait. I always think that's dead cowardly when creators do that. No, I'm questioning. Oh no, I don't want to put a label. It's like, you're just straight. Just say you're straight. It's okay.
I have not been able to find the interest for any single one of them because I have a fucking crush.
Not a big Wilbur Soot fan, if you couldn't already tell.
And I have tried so hard to move on from this, to let it go, because I want so badly for it not to cross over into parasocial territory.
Sorry, I have to pause it there. I have to. Because that kind of implies that he believes that as of right now, it hasn't crossed into parasocial territory, which, you know what? Fair enough. I agree. This has escaped the realm of parasocial territory and entered the realm of, like, genuine stalker-like behavior. Or at least it's fucking about to. Because I don't mean to spoil anything. I know I, built it up really masterfully earlier, but this bloke's moving to England, where Wilbur Soot happens to live, for completely unspecified reasons that I'm sure he would rather not talk about. I guess more on that later, eh?
I have tried so hard to move on from this, to let it go, because I want so badly for it not to cross over into parasocial territory. But in like the 7 minutes that we spoke to each other, one, every time we made eye contact, I thought my heart was gonna fucking burst out of my chest and fly away. Two, I was so nervous that my head just shut off and my mouth had a mind of its own. And anyone who knows me and has ever met me knows that I don't get nervous about people. What the hell was that? Three, he somehow managed to make me want to write music again, something I have not done since my last band broke up in 2019 and I got hit by a car and couldn't sing anymore. And I can sing again now. It took several years, but I got it back because I'm amazing. But how dare you pull my spark back out from underneath the ashes I spent years burying it under because it hurt too much to think about. In like 2 sentences. It's rude. And 4, he failed to take a selfie with me because he was operating on like iPhone settings and I have an Android and I accidentally called him adorable, and immediately wanted to swallow my fucking tongue. Because you don't flirt with people when they're working.
You don't flirt with people whilst they're work. I don't think he wants you to flirt with him, period, mate. He's not even attracted to he's not even attracted to men. He doesn't like men. It's like, that's a pretty important roadblock right there that should have stopped you dead in your tracks at some point, you know what I mean? I feel like maybe he does know that and he's just in denial about it so he can imagine himself with Wilbur, perhaps? Which is like, unironically a little bit predatory, actually. Like, that's some really disturbing shit right there, man. You need some fucking help. Also, that's nice. You met him, it was like a fan meetup, I guess, and he inspired you to make music again and you were just so goddamn nervous even though you never get nervous. It's a really sweet, wholesome story, right? It doesn't really make a great love story, but it's a fine story about you meeting someone that you watch. Look, I've met well, I don't like saying fans because that sounds like I'm not fucking Billie Eilish. I've met viewers of mine before and a lot of the time they are nervous. I've actually learned that, you know what it is? I don't know if I should say this trick because if you ever meet someone who's popular, they'll probably use it. It's sort of an in the job sort of a trick, but if someone's really nervous, you have to ask them their name because no matter how nervous someone is, they'll always remember their name. So once they're able to answer that, it sort of allows the conversation to get running, if that makes sense. Sort of like puts their feet back on the ground, like, oh shit, we can actually like talk here. You know, we both shit from the same arsehole, we breathe the same air, and we have the same fucking genitalia, maybe. It's a 50% chance that we have the same genitalia. God, I'm so good at improv, man. I understand why I have so many subs. But I'll tell you what none of my viewers have done after being nervous, after meeting me, is make a fucking 4-minute TikTok video talking about how they're in love with me and I inspire them so much and that they're gonna move all the way to Glasgow to find me and that they've never been nervous before in their entire life apart from when they met the great Dan Kijabo. I think that would really weird me out, actually. You know what? I did have a almost similar experience with like a very obsessive viewer of mine. He was so obsessive though that I kind of hesitate to even talk about him because he's probably watching this and it might make him spiral into some bullshit. I tell you what, maybe later. Stay tuned, folks.
Whole thing that I would like to no longer have to deal with. And all of this is made worse because I have been recognized at every single concert I've been to in the past year and a half, including 2 of his. And I've been on the Lovejoy Nation podcast twice.
What's the Lovejoy Nation podcast? Also, has he been recognized? Is that a lie? He's not that famous. Is he just lying there? Oh, the Lovejoy Nation podcast. It's a podcast, a third-party one. It's not affiliated with Lovejoy officially at all, I don't think, where they just talk about how much they love Lovejoy. Lately, they've been begging Wilbur to appear on their podcast. Okay. I mean, I guess this is the parasocial relationship that people like Wilbur are sort of playing towards, so I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. Here we go, look at this. 8th of February 2026. Tyler Catastrophe is actually mentioned here. Pebble Brain Trust presents another episode in their mental health series. Are You All Right? What a great name for a mental health series. It's like, oh, I'm starting a gym channel. We're gonna call it Are You Strong? Like, come on, where's the creativity here, man? I thought you were like a creative haver or whatever the fuck you said. Angie, Dave, and Leslie welcome streamer, Beda, an all-around awesome human, Tyler Catastrophe, to the podcast to discuss their, and then it cuts off. I don't want to listen to the rest. I can't be fucked. But what do you mean? Clearly you're not trying to sweep this under the rug then, because he goes on to talk about how, like, oh, I just can't escape it. It's everywhere. But you are actively making the decision to go on these podcasts and, like, attend the concerts and stuff. Like, this is all you, bro.
There's always that little thing in the back of my head saying, there's a non-zero chance. Oh my god. So basically, the way I see it, I finally say fuck it. I make this video. I say it all out loud to the ether that is the internet. Worst case scenario, he sees it. He says, hey, not for me. I move on with my life. It's fine. I'm an adult. Who cares? I'll take a no over uncertainty any day of the week. Neutral option. Nothing happens. Oh, well, I guess.
Oh my god, this guy lives in fucking delusion. I almost envy it. Imagine being this optimistic about life and, like, your goals and who you want to be with and shit. This guy doesn't even have dreams, he just has expectations. The neutral option is the one that's going to happen here, by the way. Wilbur definitely knows about this. He definitely knows. But there's no way he acknowledges it ever. And by the way, I think that's probably the right move. I think that is probably the right move on his part. And also, that's not the neutral option. That is the best case scenario. Like, this guy should not be entertained at all.
You know, because honestly, it doesn't matter what I'm doing any day ever for the rest of my life. If he was like, hey, do you want to get dinner or something? I'd say yes. Obviously, I'm delusional. It's fine. But at this point, I'm just so over the not doing anything about the things that I want. You know? What's up with that? No one gets anywhere that way. So fuck it. I've said it out loud. What else is there to do at 9 p.m. on a...
Yeah, but sometimes if the things that you want are really weird and, like, borderline predatory and fucking creepy and stalkerish, maybe you shouldn't pursue the things that you want. It's like, man, I would really like to feel good, and a little bit of heroin would probably make that happen, but... man, I probably shouldn't pursue that, actually. I mean, it's not going to stop me, but I know I shouldn't. All I'm saying is the camera is positioned very stationarily and is unable to move, because if it was like an inch to the left, you would see just a fucking mountain of needles. How the fuck do you think I stay so consistent? Also, can you really blame me? That Fibs video took so much out of me.
I think it's Friday. Anyway. It is what it is, I guess. Okay, love you, bye. Also, I don't have a ring light. I have this flower lamp. It's very yellow, but yellow's my favorite color, so. A win is a win.
Yellow's a fucking shite color, man. But I actually do like the flower lamp. I think it's cool. But yellow is a shite color. Like, if you wear yellow, then just, you know. You know. We can have a look at this historic meeting, by the way, of the two of them together. There you go, Tyler Catastrophe and Wilbur Soot over there. This is it, man. This is the life-changing moment. This is like when the Beatles met Muhammad Ali. Don't worry, guys. There is an alternative angle. God damn. Hey, so has anyone heard of the show Baby Reindeer with 6,000 likes? I mean, it's not a horrible comparison, really. It's a great show, by the way. Go watch it if you've not already. It is quite graphic, though, so I guess trigger warning before you do so.
Don't want to worry about things anymore. I want to kiss a man. Like one man in particular. Leave me alone. Please.
You know, every now and then we all we all have these feelings, but usually we don't express them publicly in front of millions of people, potentially, you know? Like in school, when you had a crush on someone, you kind of kept that shit to yourself. You didn't go around fucking telling everyone, unless you're an idiot. Especially, you know, grown man, 26 years old as well. You have a crush on someone, fucking leave it out, man. Why do I know? Why do I know that this random bloke from Texas wants to shag fucking Wilbur Soot? The fact that I know that, there's something wrong, there's something inherently just wrong with everything about this scenario. Having a crush as an adult is so embarrassing. Why is your face giving me heart palpitations? I'm literally just perceiving you right now. Why do I want to write poetry? This guy definitely runs Tumblr accounts like they're the US military. Okay, anyway, let's sort of expand from Wilbur a little bit, and here's them talking about just Lovejoy as a whole. Again, for those interested, is the band that Wilbur is a part of. I've listened to a couple of their songs for this video, and they're like painfully average. Like totally unexciting and ordinary.
So I met Lovejoy last night. Mark recognized me and my roommate, which was fun. Love that guy. Also, sorry about the slide whistles, Mark. They'll be silly. It'll be fine. But there were also several other people from TikTok who recognize me, which is always fun. Love it when that happens. It's always at shows, and I love that for me. But they know about the audition video. They didn't ask me to join the band, but it's fine. They seem to be doing pretty okay without me, at least. Also, side note, the number of people who took that I'm so serious as I'm so serious, wild to me. Do you not hear my voice? Of course, I didn't think they were going to actually want me to join the band. I was bored and views were low. The world was my oyster. Anyway, but I mentioned that video paid my electric bill.
It's bullshit, by the way. Like, if he was given the opportunity to join the band, he would absolutely fucking take it. There's no doubt in my mind he wants to join the band. He's taking the piss, man.
And Mark's response was, damn, maybe I should audition for Lovejoy. But because Will's been more mobile on stage this tour, just like moving and bouncing and twirling around, I gave him one of those straps that like connects to the back of your head so your glasses don't fall off. Like, these might be helpful, but it will not hurt my feelings if they're not. But the look on this man's face when he had to tell me that he actually broke his glasses, which, I'm sorry I wasn't there several days before. This is totally on me. I'm so sorry. But Andy explained how they worked, and I usually wear contacts to shows, as I was last night. And Will was like, oh, you do shows. And there was a brief half second of crippling sadness because, no, not anymore. Because of the whole getting hit by a car thing. Soon, someday, I will not rest until I'm a musician again. But I mentioned my titanium ribs, and Mark's response was, well, at least next time you know you'll bounce right off. I mean, the goal is that there won't be a next time, but you never know. Thank you, Mark. And at this point in my life, I've seen hundreds of bands live. I'm friends with a lot of bands. I've met a lot of bands.
I'm sure you are, mate. I'm sure you're friends with all these bands. And that really niche band, Bring Me the Horizon, mate, I'm sure you're fucking best pals with the lead singer. Mate, the reason why this video is so zoomed in is because fucking Paul McCartney is in his room right now. He doesn't want you knowing about it.
Point, you realize there are some things that you really just can't fake. And Lovejoy is one of those bands that I genuinely have no issue standing by.
That's because you want to fuck the lead singer, mate. Like, there's so many things that can be faked. This is the thing people don't fucking realize, by the way. When you meet someone for 15 minutes, they could be a fucking horrible person, but anyone can seem relatively pleasant within that 15 minutes. You could meet a genuine, full-blown predator who has done horrible things to minors, and if you were chatting to them for 15 minutes on the fucking train or something, they would probably seem like a normal person. Do you guys think people like Andrew Tate go about their lives just like chatting shit about women the way that they do on camera? It's like, no, if you met him as a stranger in like a normal setting, he'd probably come across like a really normal person. You cannot base your opinion on whether or not someone is fake or real in their entire career off of a 5-minute interaction with them. The sort of thing you hear when like people with the whole like Madeleine McCann, I know this is way off topic. It's not off topic. It's a good example with the whole Madeleine McCann thing. When people who have met Jerry or Kate McCann, they leave the situation and they're like, mate, after speaking to them, there's no way they had anything to do with it. You just can't fake that sort of it's like, no, you don't know. A 5-minute interaction with them doesn't tell you dick.
But I work really hard to not say shit I don't mean, especially publicly on the internet. And there will be no retractions today. So here, have a picture. Also, Will is wonderful at selfies. Thank you for this. I always feel a little weird letting other people take the photo because I'm so used to specific angles of my face. Gee, I wonder why. But this is a good one. I like it. Anyway, this is your sign. Buy the tickets. It'll be great. Okay, love you, bye. I never know what to do with enamel pins, but I like having them, so.
So, that was certainly a video. Let's have a look at the Lovejoy YouTube, eh? They're currently touring their new album, I guess. Now, they haven't uploaded in 5 months, though. Fucking hell, they're slacking, aren't they? Music's not that good. You're not fucking Frank Ocean. Put some music out, man. It's generic as fuck. It can't be that hard. Apparently, it's not generic, though, and according to Tyler Catastrophe, whose opinion holds the most water here, of course.
Lovejoy is legitimately the only band that I cannot listen to without wishing I was in the band, which is kind of strange because I'd give anything to be in just about any band. But with most great bands that I love, I just want to be a fly on the wall during the writing process. I just want to like observe. I want to pick their brains. I just want to know how they do it. But every single time I hear a Lovejoy song, I feel like I need to roll up my sleeves and be in it.
Okay, you know what? Let's listen to a Lovejoy song. Let's listen to some of the lyrics of a Lovejoy song, eh? Because we can't listen to the song, obviously, for copyright and stuff. But here we go. Here's their latest album, I believe. Go for the most popular song on it. I believe it's Pay and Display. All right, let's have a look at the lyrics. In 6-star hotel rooms, you begin to cry. This little tedium. Oh, it's getting hard to justify. If you called me a bastard, oh, I would fucking like it. I hate that I would like it. I mean, that is earth-shattering. That is like, honestly, I see what he means now, actually. To be a fly on that fucking wall. How'd they come up with such genius lyrics? I mean, like, in all actuality, they're not like the worst fucking lyrics in the world. But they're not impressive by any means. It's like I said before, it's just bang average. It's completely average. Like, look, look at Wilbur. Look at Wilbur and imagine what kind of music he makes. That's exactly the kind of music that he actually fucking makes. This is him. He's a little more decrepit nowadays. You went through a lot, to be fair, but like, look, imagine the type of music that a bloke like this makes. It's exactly that. And there's about 1 million bands that do exactly the same fucking thing as well. It's low-key one of them things where like, it's not even about the music. It's just about how much you want to fuck the lead singer.
Could just wax poetic for literal hours about why I feel that way. But I think the main thing is that every song feels like every person put an equal amount of effort. Like with a lot of bands or musicians, you can tell what they think is most important to a song. Like you can totally tell when one person does a bulk of the writing, because usually things get thrown to the wayside. A song that's written by a guitarist is probably going to slack on lyrics and such. Songs written by a lyricist is probably going to let one of the instruments down. But with Lovejoy, you can tell that every single person is writing the parts they want to play, and they seem like they're all having equal amounts of fun with the actual songs, which I like. And I feel like the only part of every song that feels less important than everything else is like the vocal melodies. And absolutely zero hate to Will Gold. He's very good at what he does, and I love listening to him sing and talk and everything else. But every time I hear a Lovejoy song, I just want to, I just want to sprinkle some good stuff in there. Because vocal melodies are my thing. I can't sing a song without changing it a little bit most of the time. Just gotta make it more interesting and fun to sing. Now, every time I hear a Lovejoy song, I just want to take it, run it through my brain, and then rinse it off like I'm developing film. Not to like seriously change anything, because again, it's all great music. Just to give it that little extra bit of sparkle that I feel like some of them are missing.
Bro, what is this camera angle, by the way? Like, I get this video is fucking weird and that, but like, what is this fucking why are we looking at like the top of his forehead whilst he emotes with his hand a little bit? There's a world map though, I like that. It's good shit. Look at this comment. They cannot be this good. 34,000 likes. It's true, they can't. They're not. They're really not that good. I mean, no hate if you enjoy their music, but like, if you think they're the best band of all time or something, anything close to that, then with all due respect, you need to develop a better taste in music. That sounds so snobby, actually, when I say that. And the worst part is, it's not even something that I'm willing to retract either. Maybe that makes me a piece of shit, but I'll tell you what, if it's wrong, then I don't want to be right.
It's great as it is. It's wonderful. However, I just want to take it that little half step extra to make it perfect. And that's basically it for me, I think. This is honestly probably why it's so hard for me to find like an actual band to join. I don't want to write everyone else's part. I don't even want to write lyrics half the time. I just want to sing. I want to focus on my little melodies, my la-la-las, So I guess shout out to Lovejoy for helping me narrow down what it is exactly I want in life, I guess. Hopefully one day I'll shake their hands or something. Who knows? Anyway, Go Stream will look good when I'm sober, I guess. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like a bedazzler of music. It's like, yeah, I could make the whole thing from scratch and do it all, but instead I'd rather just take what's there and make it sparkle, Bring out some potential. Lovejoy just brings out the bedazzler in me, I suppose. Yeah, well. Okay, love you, bye.
This guy, he's so up his own arsehole that I can't believe he's not covered in shit. Like, he really why would a band hire you just to do la-la-las? They can do that. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do that. I'll look good when I'm sober. That was the name of his single, I think. We have to see that, surely. Tyler, Catastrophe. Mate, because he's been talking a big game here. Oh, fuck's sake, it's a Lovejoy song. Fucking hell. This guy, he's not even promoting his own music. Come on now. Why are you fucking promoting their song? You said you make music. Let's hear your fucking music. But you got such a huge platform. Any musician would kill to have a platform this big. I really hate talkers like this who don't actually show any of the shit that they're bragging about. It's like, oh, I'm a great musician. I'm gonna make great music. I'm gonna make... It's like, fucking do something then! Fucking all bark. All bark, no bite. I really don't like people like that, man. Okay, let's hear him singing. We can hear him singing, I think. Oh my god, how long is this video? This video is 5 minutes long.
Anyway, he told me that much and now he's dead. Told me to kill my indulgences with a sharp blow to the temple. Pick up the phone call and do everything he says. I could take a
4 out of 10. That's not even me being a dick. It's like, he's not that good. He's not like the worst, but he's not good at all. He's bad. Sorry. He's really not good.
So if you care to find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if I'm flying so low, at least I'm flying free.
Yeah, it's a 4 out of 10. The thing is, if he knew his actual vocal ability, then it might be a 5, but he's trying to do shit that he just can't do. Here we go, a Fall Out Boy song.
My name and his in the same breath. I dare you to say they taste the same. Let the leaves fall off in the summer rain. Let December glow in flames. Erase myself and let go.
He says that he was in a well-known band before all this. I don't believe him anymore. I don't think I ever believed him. I don't think it's the fucking car. I think the car accident thing is an excuse. He's chatting shit, man. This guy's so full of shit.
These friends, they don't love you. They just love the hotel suites. Now I don't care what you think as long as it's...
You know what? Usually I'd be worried about getting copyright struck, but it's so shit that I don't even think YouTube's gonna pick it up as like a Fall Out Boy tune. Look. You know what it is? I was so close to actually like trying to sing and give it my all just to like see if I could produce something better than him. But fuck that, I'm not doing that because unlike him, I am aware of my vocal shortcomings.
Because I've been crushing on this guy for clearly too fucking long, and I used to be an attractive woman, alright? Flirting with men, not hard. And here I am, standing right in front of him, channeling See You Again by Hannah fucking Montana, looking everywhere but at him because he's working and I wear my heart on my fucking face. And I think I'm doing okay. I'm not flirting, I'm trying real hard. Because you don't flirt with people when they're working, they can't comfortably tell you to fuck off. That's not okay. He could have, I would have let him, but he doesn't know that. And he makes one tiny little silly mistake, hits the wrong button, it's fine. And he says something along the lines of, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm stupid. And what comes out of my fucking mouth? You're adorable. It's fine.
Oh no, Tyler Catastrophe. Oh, how could you ever say something so fucking crazy? Oh, he's gonna remember that for the rest of his life. That's definitely not something that he'll immediately just forget because it's something that fucking probably everyone he's ever met has probably said. You really need to just calm the fuck down. Just relax, man. That sounds hypocritical for me shouting about this all right now. But I'm sat in my room shouting about some 26-year-old fucking bloke in Texas talking about Wilbur Soot. This is where I am right now in life. Every decision I've made in my life has led to this moment. What is this, man? What is this? What? Why is it good? Why is it actually quite good? Oh my god, that's actually good. This fucking fair play. Whoever drew this is fucking good at drawing.
Somebody put me down. Because listen, I can make a fool of myself. I can embarrass myself, no problem. I make videos on the internet for a living. It's fine, no one cares. But if I had made this man uncomfortable, I'm jumping. All right, I'm done. Take me out. That's it. And this happened like a week ago.
This is so insane. He doesn't want to make him uncomfortable, but he's done this whole fucking public tirade where he constantly talks about him, constantly talks about how he wants to fuck him, get with him, kiss him, join the band, sing for him, and he's now moving to England to get closer to him. But he could not live with ever making him uncomfortable. No, that's too far, man. What the fuck does he think would make someone uncomfortable if he doesn't think he's crossed that line already?
Who allowed this? I'm 26 years old. Why is having a crush right now so embarrassing? Never in my life have I been so verbally lost in front of a guy. Clearly there is no coming back from this. I'll be thinking about this forever, probably. I would say pray for me, but I think we all know I'm a lost cause at this point. Okay, love you, bye.
This man looked at me like he wanted me to look at him, and I...
Thing is, the target audience to this, like, for these videos is Wilbur Soot. He's not thinking about any of these viewers. He's thinking about fucking Wilbur Soot watching. He's probably kicking his feet up, imagining Wilbur Soot watching these videos. I say probably. That's definitely what he's doing, in fact.
Really no idea if one of my favorite bands might want a second vocalist, but I do know I am crazy enough to ask. So hi, Lovejoy.
Oh. This is the greatest commenter I've ever seen on TikTok. They emailed me and told him to stop, by the way. Wait, really? Proof? And then they go, I don't have any, sorry, I just like spreading lies on the internet. I fucking love that. Yo, big up this guy. This guy's the best thing to come out of this fucking situation. He just knows she'd be a fucking blast to hang out with.
I hope you know how serious I am.
Sorry, it's not so predictable.
There's not, what key is he singing in? There's like not even a key. There's not even sticking to, he's just sort of fucking up. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Sorry, it's not so predictable, I know.
I love it. I know someone's gonna think I'm joking. I'm actually not joking. I'm actually incredibly serious. If Lovejoy sees this, my DMs are open.
I'm sure they'll take you up on that, pal. How do you even lose your voice by getting hit by a car? Like, how does that work exactly? I think they're just bullshitting. Sounds like Panic at the Disco, except they're all shitting their livers out as they sing the song. Or like they're getting beaten up on stage. What is this? Tennis ball, throw it across the wall. This is Tyler Catastrophe commenting on like every one of Wilbur's posts. This is part 1, by the way. You've really got a way of making me wish my... Oh, no. Go back, please. Making me wish my life was more interesting than it currently is. You know that? That's nice, Tyler Catastrophe. Sleeping birds are so important to me, lol. Lol, hi, love the username, by the way. I guess that's someone who recognized them. But this is them making a very, very comedic observation because they're a really funny guy. Same thing here. They're just a optimistic part. To be fair, we know that they're very optimistic. Can't wait for Dallas. I'm sure you can. I just pronounced can't 2 different ways in the same sentence. I said can't and can't. Fucking Scotland has ruined me. It's actually ruined my fucking accent, I tell you. I don't even know who I am anymore. Says that guy's wearing his favorite color. I bet it's yellow. Oh yeah, look, he's got yellow. He's got a yellow heart. He's consistent. I do like that. He is consistent. I'm glad you're here. Mate, how many of these fucking comments are there? Oh my god, there's so much! Stop! Oh my god. Wait, this is part 1! How many more of these are there? Oh my god, there's 3 fucking videos of these. Jesus Christ, dude. This is unhinged. You see how quickly I'm fucking tapping the right button as well? Wait, what is this? It sounded like a big comment, this one. New bad omens, new oxymorons, new Lorna Shore, and now new Lovejoy. I'm having a great day. Now I just need new Fallout Boy lol. Yeah, why is he who the fuck's trying to, like, who's trying to impersonate this guy? Wait, why can't I have any of you comment on my videos like this? Just like, wonderful. Oh, great work. Spectacular, beautiful. You've done it again. You've done it again, Jesse. This is the best diddly darn name of bollocking buggery commentary video that I've ever seen in my whole goddamn life. Okay, here's them talking about the, like, Wilbur's abuse allegations. They do not think Wilbur Soot is an abuser. I guess let's hear him out.
I do not think that Wilbur Soot is an abuser. This is just a reminder that I still feel that way. I've been doing more covers recently, and several of them have been Lovejoy songs because I fucking love Lovejoy. So I've been getting a lot of comments and DMs asking if I still support Will, which the answer is yes. I'm not the kind of person to hide my opinions, and if I think it's an important opinion, I usually will share it. So if my opinion had changed, I would have said it. So go watch that video all the way through if you want. It's like 6 minutes long, but you asked. So yeah, here I am, almost a year later. Same opinion, just a little bit more annoyed. I want more Lovejoy songs. I'm gonna be honest. I need new music. Life is too stale.
Go listen to some Nina Geraci or something. She's got a great album. That was like one of the best albums of the last few months, in my opinion. If you like girl EDM, Nina Geraci's your girl. Some recent shit. There's some good recent shit as well. You know what it is, yeah? I was actually gonna say, like, go listen to Jid, because he's fucking, like, one of the best rappers right now. But then, I'm starting to clock. I think, like, just based on the vibe, not to make an assumption, this guy's probably one of those guys who thinks, oh, I don't listen to rap. It's too, like, oh, it's just all mumble rap, and it doesn't really mean anything, and all this fucking dumb shit. And then he goes off and listens to, like, Steven Universe music, or, like, video game soundtracks or whatever. It's fine to listen to those things, but also if you are going to religiously listen to that kind of music and then denounce rap or hip-hop for being like surface level, I'm just saying, it's like maybe a slight bit of racism there. I don't know, maybe I'm being too woke. Maybe I'm being too woke. I personally don't think so, but I guess you can let me know in the comments. Anyway, I want to hear them talk about Will a bit more.
My last video is kind of popping off, mostly because people are sending it to each other to laugh at me, which is fine by me. Thank you for the views. But it's me doing a silly little audition in my bathroom for a band that probably doesn't even want a second vocalist.
No, there's no probably. And if there even was a probably, they definitely wouldn't want you as their second vocalist.
But I'm a bold motherfucker, and embarrassing myself in the right direction is kind of my thing. And full disclosure for people who don't know, the lead singer of that band does have abuse allegations. However, one, the person making those accusations has a history of making false allegations. Do we not remember Parker? 2, the allegations she made were him having a messy house, her paying for her own flights, and biting that she fully consented to. 3, she made those allegations in a live stream, getting paid the longer she talked, and I'm pretty sure the VOD was also uploaded to YouTube. And as a victim myself, that just doesn't sit right with me. And 4, the backlash.
It doesn't matter if you're a victim. Just because you're a victim, it doesn't mean that you're allowed to dictate how every other victim chooses to share their story. I fucking hate when people try using their victimhood as a way to denounce other people's victim status, if that makes sense. And look, the Wilbur allegations weren't, like, founded on some great evidentiary basis, right? So we don't know exactly what happened in that relationship for sure. But we do know that Wilbur was definitely very fucking bitey. Like, I don't find it difficult to believe that he was physically abusive in that relationship to it. Like, he wasn't beating her or anything. He definitely bit her way too hard at many points throughout that relationship. And it's fucking weird, and it is definitely abusive. And I'm pretty sure that he's admitted to it as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not the type of cancellation where I'm angry that he has a semi-successful career now with Lovejoy. Because I do believe in rehabilitation. I do hope that he's doing well. I hope that he's a better person now. And I'm not mad that he, like, has a job or anything, as much as I'm not a fan of him. But, you know, it's okay. It really is okay to say, yeah, I acknowledge that this person I'm a fan of has done some pretty shitty things in the past, but I'm still a fan of them. I don't think that's like a necessarily disgusting opinion to hold in a situation like this, where it was a very private relationship and there isn't too much evidence of much, and it's one of those things where none of us were there, none of us really know what happened. But the stuff we do know isn't great. Like, Wilbur definitely fucking bit her way too much, way too often. It's physical abuse, like it just is. It's physical abuse. It's not the worst type of physical abuse in the world, but it's physical abuse. And if you want to be a fan of someone, despite the fact that they relatively undeniably physically abused someone in the past, then hey, you do you, but don't deny that it happened. You know what I mean? It's like if you're a fan of John Lennon, for example, I feel like it's good to acknowledge the really shitty things that he has done, but you're still allowed to be a fan of him. Oh my god, I can't believe that I just fucking said John Lennon and Wilbur Soot in the same breath, by the way. That took me a while to clock, like, jeez fuck, but I guess an example is an example, eh?
Video are misinformation because people are saying he's a pedophile, he's a groomer, he's whatever. None of that has any basis in any reality. I have built my platform by being authentic, kind, compassionate, and honest with the people who watch me. And regardless of what I may allow people to think about me, I am not naive and I am certainly not stupid. All of my major life decisions are carefully thought out and carefully considered. If there was a single atom in my being that thought Lovejoy was actually made up of horrible people, I would not touch it with a 40-foot pole. Okay, that is not who I am. I wouldn't care. And if you think I would, then clearly this is not the place for you. I don't know what else you want me to say. Anyway, the only comments I'm deleting off of that video right now are misinformation and the ones that are getting picked up by the filter, because personally, I'm not reading all that. I'm sorry. If TikTok says it shouldn't be there, who am I to judge? You can insult me all you want. You can call me ugly. You can say my voice is bad. You're fucking wrong. Someone even said that my giggle was annoying.
It's not wrong. Your voice is like objectively pretty bad. Like vocally, it's not good. Like it is objectively. It's not even like an opinion-based thing. It's just bad. Like it is. Saying your voice is good is like saying that 1 + 1 is 3, unfortunately, mate. Like saying the earth is flat. Like, I'm sorry, you just don't have a good singing voice. Maybe if you learnt your pitch a little more, you could like improve. Like it's definitely not it's not a lost cause. If you had some like actual vocal training, maybe you could be okay. But as of right now, I'm sorry, mate. It's just a bit shit.
The one thing I get the most compliments on. I'm not taking you seriously. I am a vocalist. Nothing in the world makes me as happy as singing. It is quite literally my calling.
Calling yourself a that's like me calling myself a film director because I make commentary videos. You know what I mean?
And Lovejoy is everything I've ever looked for in a band. I love them on their own. I have nothing to lose either way. I literally went to college for music business, and they have the single most impressive rookie year I have ever seen. Why wouldn't I want to be a part of it? And also, not for nothing, but one of the people I blocked off of that video had all-time low in their bio. No wonder you think I'm doing something wrong. The phone is ringing off the hook inside your living room.
All-time low is infinitely better than Lovejoy ever was. You taking the piss? They fucking bang. I got your picture. I'm coming with you, dear Maria. Count me in. That goes so much harder than anything that Lovejoy's ever done.
People who know me in person, people who've been following me for a while, people who know how I interact with the world, know where I stand on things like abuse. I have an entire series calling out my abusive father, and my relationship with my ex-fiancé was so bad that his cousin took my side and no longer talks to him. I have helped my friends escape domestic violence.
But I just don't, I don't even know if I can believe him though, because he's such like an obvious liar and he lies about so much shit. But the thing is, it's not that I don't believe he cares about abuse or whatever. It's just that I think he genuinely doesn't believe Wilbur has done anything wrong ever. A good faith way of thinking about it would be like, oh, you know, he probably did fuck up. He probably wasn't the best partner, but maybe it's not as bad as everyone's saying. Like if he said something like that, it'd be a lot more reasonable. But like, I'd be a lot more willing to be like, oh, you know what, maybe I kind of see what, but like to say nothing happened that was bad, and I know that for a fact, and she's a manipulative liar in every way of the word, and I'm a victim, so I know that, because I am the spokesperson for all victims now, I guess. Like, no, that's when you get to a point where I'm just not really willing to listen to you, really.
I've done victim advocacy training. If I thought someone was an abuser, I would steer the fuck clear. But I also grew up in rural Bible Belt America. I am not going to let the rumor mill have the reins to my opinions. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm just telling you what I think. What I think is that even if everything she said was true, it does not make him irredeemable. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
That's like a fair opinion, though. If everything she said was true, it doesn't make him irredeemable. That's something that's like there's substance to that, right? That's not what you've been saying this whole video, though. Like that, I might actually agree with. I still wouldn't like the bastard. Like I think Wilbur's a fucking really odd fucking bloke. He knows the game. He definitely knows how to play the game, and he did a great job YouTube-wise, and he built up a lot of people as well. And I don't know. I guess there's something to be said for that. But he wouldn't be in my circle of friends. I'll put it that way.
Because at that point, it's not about holding people accountable. It's about you getting to be a dick. The video this comment is on is about how I do not think that Wilbur Soot is an abuser. And it took a lot for me to post it. I had to think a lot about how to say what I wanted to say. And I was really worried that it would be taken the wrong way. But so far the comments have been super understanding, and I am so grateful for that. But since posting that video, I've seen so many reasons that I needed to post it in the first place. Because how long are we as people going to sit in this place where we treat every mistake as if it makes us irredeemable? And sure, people should face consequences for their actions, but if those consequences are not put in place as a lesson to be better and learn from those actions in the future, then those aren't consequences, those are punishment. And no one learns from punishment. Day in and day out, you hear, oh, people don't change, people never change, but they do. Every day, everything changes. Change is the closest thing we have to a universal constant. But the most important part of that puzzle is that you have to let people change. You have to acknowledge the ability to change. You have to acknowledge the change in itself. Are they really incapable of changing, or are you just not letting them? Have they really never changed, or are you just not acknowledging that they already have? Because if you're going to call someone out for their behavior, you have to be willing to let them change the behavior. Because if you don't, you may as well just admit to yourself and everyone around you that you're not interested in people being better. You just want to watch more people burn. And I know someone's going to call me a stupid fucking optimist again, but nihilism is a cancer. And all it ever does is ensure that nothing ever gets better. And if you want to see a better world than the one that we have right now, you have to acknowledge and allow people to be.
I mean, this is just cope, really. Like, it's so weird how usually he's like, he talks in this really cringe internet 2020 type of way, but all of a sudden when it comes to defending his subby-wubby, ooh-woo anime little fucking princess parasocial queen, he's like this eloquent fucking inspirational speaker who knows how to use all these syllogisms and like these fucking philosophical, like, it's fucking mental, like the extent he goes to defend this bloke, especially when it's so contrasting, when like in one video he's like, oh, he did it, but it's okay, and then in other videos he's like, no, he didn't do it, and this girl's a liar and she can't be trusted. Like, you gotta, what do you believe here exactly? Because it's very difficult to tell, but it does matter. But I think either which way, like no matter what the case is here, the fact that it all stems from this weird obsession that he has with Wilbur, very obvious obsession that he has with Wilbur, makes it irredeemable either which way. Not irredeemable, but like unacceptable, I guess.
Benadryl me threatened to simp on Maine last night, but honestly, today May's got... I need that man to put his face on my face. Just, you know? See, I am running on about 2.5 hours of sleep because maintenance was supposed to be here at 9 a.m. and I've been awake till at least 3 a.m. every single night for the past like month and a half because I have shit to do. And it is now 12:24 in the afternoon. I'm tired. I am overstimulated. I can't sit still and focus long enough to do the work I need to do. I've been scrolling and doing dumb shit because when I called the office, they said, oh, they'll be here sometime today, after she got done pretending she didn't know who the fuck I was. I've lived here 1.5 years. You literally told me to my face that I was one of your favorite tenants, and I was in the office 2 days ago picking up a filter for this apartment. Don't fuck with me. So if you see me accidentally repost an edit of a man, mind your business. I don't even care anymore. I am not embarrassed. I will unprivate my simp videos. Don't test me. I am gay and I'm an adult. And I'm allowed. Truly. I'm so tired. I hate it here. His fucking laugh and his eyes and that face, and it just, oh my god. I know that Benadryl me threatened to simp on Maine.
I mean, I'm sure we can all agree this is a very well-adjusted, reasonable human being that I would just love to have a pint with. So again, let's remember, Wilbur is fucking straight. Like, he's a heterosexual man. So that's just something we need to keep throwing in there every now and then, you know? This is genuinely like if the concept of my entire channel was like me begging Chapel Roan to notice me, being like, well, technically, based on the law of probability and infinity and eternity, there's not a non-0% chance of it ever. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Leave the internet, you fucking freak. It's me talking to hypothetical me. And also him, I guess. So let's hear about Tyler's time in England, where he wants to move to.
That I spent in England is the only time in my 26 years of life that something in me just settled. I can't describe that feeling to you because it was, oh my, I hate crying, but oh my god.
England, man. Don't get me wrong, I like England. I think there are a lot of good things about England, but like, fuck me. Maybe just as someone who grew up like in a fucking, like not in a great area in London, his videos just seems weird to me. I'd never cried tears of joy at just like how safe and amazing I felt there by any means. Definitely feel nostalgic when I go back, but I mean, I'm never gonna live in that area. I'm moving back to London soon, actually. So I'm actually going to I'm moving to England as well. You know, me and Tyler Catastrophe, we've got some things in common, much as I hate to admit it. We're one and the same, unfortunately. Thing is, like, where'd she go in England, though? Like, if she went to the Lake District or something, I know there's, like, some tranquility there. It's all beautiful and peaceful and shit. But she went to fucking London, I think. So what could this guy have seen in London that, like, brought him to this level of emotion? Big Ben, I guess? It's pretty big. It's also pretty Ben.
Seeing the guy moving halfway around the world just to be closer to a YouTuber?
If y'all think I would make a massive, life-altering decision that takes years of work to achieve, just because I was willing to admit on the internet that I think a musician I don't know has a...
I'd recommend Bradford. Very similar vibe to Brighton, but a lot cheaper. Oh, that's really funny. For the Americans, that's like recommending Memphis, Tennessee and saying that it's just like New York City or something.
Then y'all really have the wrong idea. And I suppose you have a better explanation? I was supposed to move to Bournemouth a couple years ago. I had a job lined up, I did a ton of research, made a ton of preparations, admittedly got a little too excited because it ended up falling through at the last minute. But when I finally dusted myself off and got myself back on track, and decided I could probably just move out of the US on my own, England was the easiest choice because I had already done so much of the work. But why Brighton specifically? But when I visited England and met the people I had hoped to be working with, I completely fell in love with the South Coast. I've always wanted to live near the ocean and it's gorgeous. And Brighton is a really popular city right now. I've got a bunch of friends and support in the area, and like with most college towns, it's got a thriving art and music scene. And people keep telling me it's the gay capital of the UK, which...
It is the gay capital. That's true, actually. No, they're bang on, to be fair. Genuinely, they actually would fit right in Brighton. Brighton's a little like how I imagine WeHo in America, but it also just so happens to be the city that Wilbur Soot lives in. So I don't know, I guess you can make your own conclusion. I personally think that at least part of the reason why they want to move to Brighton is because Wilbur's there. I'm not really buying this whole shtick particularly. Bournemouth is a lot cheaper, and if you already plan to move there, then like that probably would be a bit more convenient.
You expect me to believe that's the only reason? I mean... I'm sure I'm not the only guy in the world who would let his decision to move somewhere be influenced by a sports team. And why would you like their football club if not for a crush? I grew up in the sport. My whole family played, we helped run a non-profit youth club. I was a referee for 6 years. And when it comes to the Premier League, most of the other teams, Chelsea, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Leicester City, to me, they all play like assholes.
Leicester are in the Championship, mate. What is he on about? I don't think Leicester City's even in the Prem anymore. I'm not even like a big football fan, but like, come on, this is some basic shit here. Also, what? Brighton football? What?
Flop, they play dirty. Brighton actually plays the game.
What the Brighton are fucking shite, man. What are they taught? What is this, man? I remember I went to Vietnam and someone was wearing like a Brighton Football Club shirt and I thought that was about the most gauche thing I'd ever seen in my life. But now you got this fucking bloke fanboying about Brighton What the fuck? Why does any American even know what Brighton Football Club is? You know how weird that is? You know how weird that actually is, by the way?
How Verbruggen, Van Hecke, Weaver are pretty much the sole reason I have a paid fan club membership to the Netherlands national team. I could talk about how Matoma is such an ace fucking striker.
No, this is bullshit. They've definitely just put into ChatGPT like reasons to move to Brighton, and they've been given the reason of like, oh, they have a great football team. Here are some people in the football team, and here are their roles, and Matoma's a great striker and all this shit. Fuck off. I don't buy this for a second.
He has a PhD thesis that he wrote about dribbling. Or how the last transfer window broke.
Mate, you are dribbling all over your photos of Wilbur Soot that I'm sure you have plastered around your fucking gaff.
My fucking heart, because we lost Estupinian, who was my favorite, Lamptey, and Adingra. I actually think you should stop talking. Did you know that the head coach, Fabian Hertzler, was born in Houston, Texas? I really don't like you. Yeah, that's fair. Seen the guy moving.
Fucking arsehole. He's such an arsehole. Alright, let's hear the update on moving, eh? Where are we at now?
My name is Tyler, and I'm currently in the process of using my beaded jewelry as a means to move all the way from Texas to England. Point. And right now, we're in the final stretch. Meeting last year's goal meant that I was able to take care of everything keeping me here and remove a ton of obstacles. And after about 2 years of padding my resume, now all that's really left is getting my visa endorsed and covering the actual moving expenses. And I am 100% determined to let 2026 be the last year I ever live in Texas. But I do have a small confession to make. See, I don't know if you know this, but England is really small, especially to an American. So when I first started talking publicly about this goal, a lot of people were wondering where specifically I wanted to move to. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to answer. And while I really didn't want to offend anyone by not answering, I also really didn't want to tell the truth. So me being me, I just picked a popular, well-known city that I knew I'd be spending a considerable amount of time in. That being Brighton. I love their football club, I love their thriving art and music scene, it's a beautiful place. But I can't afford to live there. I can afford to be seen there though. But if you don't mind, I think it's time that I stop leaning into that bit. Cause honestly, I don't have a plan for where in England yet. Wherever I can get, really. Honestly, I just want out of here. Even if I somehow end up in Scotland or Ireland or Wales or Northern Ireland.
Yeah, come to Scotland, mate. I'm sure they'd love you here. Come to Govan here in Glasgow. Very friendly. Oh, look at this comment. I knew I saw you in Belfast in 1972. Mate, these TikTok comments are on fire today. Mate, fuck Lovejoy. Join Kneecap or the Cranberries or something. Like, there's some pride here that I'm digging it.
So I hope you'll forgive my little deception. And if you would like to help me move, even if it isn't to Brighton specifically, you can find all my links in the clicky thing that you click on. Right now, my hopefully final goal is to sell at least 1,000 bracelets and finish the last leg of my GoFundMe. I've wanted to make this move since I was like 16, and I've been actively working towards it for, 5-6 years? Now that it's finally within my reach, I'm just going all in. I'm locking the fuck in. And I will never not be grateful for everyone who's helped me get this far. So thank you, both in retrospect and in advance. And I'm gonna go get back to work. Okay, love you, bye.
You know how people say that when your palm itches, you got money?
Why would you say that you're moving to Brighton? Because surely you would know the assumptions that people would have about why you moved to Brighton. So I think that the plan was to move to Brighton, but all the bullying has just sort of got to him a little bit, and now he's backtracking. Like, oh no, I'll take anywhere though. I'll take anywhere. I think Brighton was definitely the original plan. I'm not buying this shit, man. Not a chance. It's Weezer! It's fucking Weezer. Alright, I rate that. I was gonna fucking complain that it's Weezer. Pretty weird Weezer song to choose though, but fuck it. This definitely will get copyrighted though, because this is masterful music. Fucking hell. Alright, they're getting fan edits now. I don't think I even get fan edits. It's so sad. Alright, let's just end the video. We're gonna click on one more video, I think, and then I think we've covered pretty much everything that we need to.
Can we just take a second to appreciate how great my ass looks in these jeans? I think we should all be talking about that, honestly. Why do I have a jewelry business when I can just have an ass? Definitely go check out the jewelry still, though. It's almost as good as my ass. Okay, love you, bye.
Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. So I honestly thought that I was done talking about Tyler Catastrophe, but I recently did a proper deep dive to see if there was a way I could get a more accurate depiction of his character and figure out why he's so obviously delusional and self-aggrandizing. And as you can tell from the video length, there is a lot that I unfortunately ended up finding. And to be honest with you all, I don't really see him as the harmless cringelord that I previously did, because there is a real, genuine nastiness and prejudice within him that is almost masked under this veil of acceptance and pseudo-education, if that makes sense. And also so much pretentious bollocks. I'll show you guys what I mean very quickly, but before that, you know how this is the part in the video where most YouTubers try to like push a subscriber plug? They try to make it like all subtle and funny and stuff, and I'm certainly guilty of it as well, but every now and then the pressure just gets to me and I have to abandon all self-respect, so please subscribe! Please! I'm begging you! I don't want to have to beg like a dog any more often than I absolutely have to, and now is one of those moments. If it wouldn't mean I was out of frame, I would literally get— in fact, no, even though I'll be out of frame, I will get on my knees right now. There you go. You can see there. What an angle this is. This is how much I want you to subscribe. Okay, now on to some of his more problematic behavior. Firstly, I should say, very obviously, if you've not seen my last video on Tyler Catastrophe, I'd recommend you go watch that. But anyway, yeah, problematic behavior, starting with everyone's favorite, racism. Play a wee snippet from this video, and then I want to sort of caveat everything I'm about to say with something.
I've wanted to do that market for like a year now, but I hesitated because it is a mostly Latino market, and while I am partially Portuguese, I look like a white.
Oh, now this is just one of many questionable statements that I think Tyler Catastrophe has made. And when I say I want to caveat this, I want to caveat it with like, this is a very different type of racism to the type of racism that we usually cover on this channel. There's a lot more plausible deniability because it's the type of, you can definitely tell that he genuinely believes he is being like charming here and that there's no racial or offensive undertones to what he is saying. In fact, that's probably not the best example, but there is a post here that I want to show you, but we will get back to the Portuguese thing in a second, don't you worry. Here's a post that Tyler Catastrophe made about getting rear-ended by a black guy, and for some reason he found it imperative to mention the race of the guy who rear-ended him. Let's just read the post, eh? So a giant truck rear-ended my motorcycle today, and I'm really glad I saw him coming and held the brake a bit longer than normal because I almost ended up in the middle of a no-light intersection. The only real damage was a reflector on my license plate, but I was pretty shaken because the PTSD from my last crash is still pretty fresh. But the driver was an older black gentleman, and he was super apologetic and explained that his brakes had been acting up and that he misjudged the the distance, then handed me a $100 bill. I'm honestly just glad he hit me and not some other white person, because I know a lot of people in the Dallas area would have immediately called the police, and I know I would never involve the cops in anything I do. I just hope he takes it as a sign to get his brakes fixed, because I have a feeling that he won't get so lucky twice. I should probably light a candle. First of all, the fact that he doesn't mention denying the $100 bill means that either he took the $100 or he's just lying about this whole story. But let's just call it what it is. This is virtue signaling. This is a white guy trying to earn appraisal from people of color by acting as though he is one of the good ones. That's what he's looking for. That's what he's fishing for here. He is fishing for black people to praise him. See, I'm not like the other most white guys who got really angry and called the fucking police. But me, I just took $100 from him. See what most white guys wouldn't have done. Most white guys wouldn't have made a whole Tumblr post about it looking for virtue points for just being a normal, decent, functioning member of society. It's one of those instances of people who are very ignorant trying to be so not racist that they end up being racist. I don't know if the American audience will get this reference, but it's very David Brent. David Brent's the protagonist of the UK Office, for those who don't know. Everyone in the UK will know exactly who I'm talking about, and they will understand that reference, and they will agree with me inevitably because I'm always correct. Now, this is all going to tie into a recent video that Tyler Catastrophe made regarding beading culture in regards to, I guess, his indigenous history, if that makes sense. It was a video that I covered recently on stream and wasn't too educated about and didn't want to make any strong stances about, but after looking and deep diving into Tyler's past and seeing subtle bits of prejudice or racism here, it makes that latest video a lot clearer in its intentions, if that makes sense. Because I'm sorry, this is hilarious. To anyone who's actually aware of what's going on here or aware of the very clear virtue signal, this is a fucking hilarious post. Because everyone knows. Do you think black people are? Do you think we're dumb? Do you think we don't see what you're doing here? This is like if I as a man was like, guys, you know what? I saw a really pretty girl on the street today, and it's a good thing that I was on the street and not any other man, because I didn't catcall her in a very harassmental way. I'll tell you what. Lucky her, eh? Because if it was anyone else, I know they would have done it. It's like, you don't think I was fucking maniac. You don't think I was crazy. Because I would be. And it's statements like if a bloke was to say something like that, it would kind of expose them as a very ignorant, sort of sleazy, secret misogynist, if that makes sense. But here's the thing, though. That is all just taken into consideration that this story is true, which we don't even know. Because as we'll learn later, this man does have a very blatant and weird history of massively over-exaggerating and in many cases just making things up. And some of it has been exposed because when he talks about experiences with real famous people and they come out being like, hey, this isn't exactly what happened, it makes everything that he's ever said come into question. But we'll get to that later, don't you worry. Because there's a really hilarious case of it. I want to talk about this Portuguese clip now, so I'll play it again.
That market for a year now, but I hesitated because it is a mostly Latino market, and while I am partially Portuguese, I look like a white boy. And I've wanted to.
Okay, I guess to be fair, I was going to say first of all, but there are so many potential first of alls here that I don't know which one to pick first. So I guess, first of all, there are a lot of white Hispanic people. I guess secondly, first of all, even if you were fully Portuguese, you would still be a white boy. You would just have darker skin than pale white boys, I guess. Portugal is in Europe. It's a white European nation. See, look, you see this guy? This guy's a Greek guy, but you can he's got a darker skin color from most pale white boys because Greece is a hot country. So in hot climates, you have to naturally adapt, and people, I guess naturally develop more melanin. That doesn't make them not white though, or I don't know, Caucasian, I guess. But then again, you know what it is? Believe it or not, the terms white, black, brown, these are very American terms. Obviously, the UK has adapted a lot of it as well because we're very Americanized. But when you go into Central Europe, it's not really a thing there. In Europe, it's very much, no, I'm not white, I'm French. Or no, I'm not white, I'm Portuguese, you know what I mean? I should probably clarify, obviously the concept of black and white racial categorization does exist in Europe, but it's very different to the sort of pan-European whiteness that exists in America, if that makes sense. All I'm trying to say here, because we're going a little off tangent, is, Tyler, you don't look like a white boy, you're a white boy. But you know what, I want to actually read, let's read his post first, because he says that he's white passing, which is why I feel like this is so important to me, because it's because the way he says I'm white passing kind of implies realize that he doesn't actually see himself as like a white guy. So then what is he trying to say? What does he think he is? One thing I hate about being white passing is that I feel so incredibly separated from the culture that I could be a part of if people didn't assume I was white or that I was lying when I tell them I'm actually half Portuguese. I'm curious if people actually do believe that he's lying. I'm not sure how cultured Oklahoma is, but there's so many white Hispanic people and white Mexican people in America that I feel like it's not exactly the hardest thing to believe ever. Like, my siblings and I have the exact same parents, but my little sister looks Hispanic and I'm a carbon copy of my pasty, red-headed mother. I guess that just happens sometimes. Some siblings are born with more melanin than others. We went to Mexico as kids for a family reunion, and a border patrol tried to accuse us of smuggling my sister over the border because of how dark she got in a week we were there, while my brother and I burned like lobsters. And I had just been talking about that disconnect with my friend who is Mexican, but people assume that she's Asian for whatever reason, so she gets it. But not a few hours later, a co-worker and I went to get dinner after work, and I complimented a guy's jacket and we were exchanging pleasantries, as one does. And I have no idea what made him ask, but he asked if I was from Mexico, and when I told him that, no, I'm actually Portuguese, he was super interested and said that made sense. Which, one, no one has ever asked if I was anything other than white, and two, I was so overwhelmed with gratitude for that moment, I ended up thanking him for making my night as I left, and my terrible day was instantly ended on a much better note. I guess even when you know how much something is missing, you still sometimes don't realize how much it will mean when it's actually there, even if it is just for a moment. I hope everyone in my boat gets to experience that moment. I hardly ever meet other Portuguese people, but I still miss it, you know? I just want to be seen as what I am once in a while. In his next video, he talks about how he's indigenous American, the next video that we're gonna look at, by the way. So it's like, fuck me, you've got to really... This is insane. You're Portuguese, you're indigenous American, and you're related to Edgar Allan Poe, apparently. Also, hang on. What do you mean you're having a family reunion in Mexico if you're half Portuguese? Did your Portuguese family all move to Mexico? Is Portugal even Latino? I'm not sure if it is. Yeah, Portugal they don't even speak Spanish there, so it's not Hispanic, is it? Portuguese people are generally not considered Latino in the commonly used American definition, which refers to people from Latin America. However, they are from the Latin/Romance cultural group, yeah, of course. Okay, this is from Reddit, by the way, so that's not like official by any means. Might be pretty hard to find like official. It's all race, it's socially constructed anyways, so I mean, I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of it. Point is, I think the biggest takeaway from all this is that Tyler Catastrophe is very much someone who wants to be acknowledged and loved by people of color. So much so, though, that a lot of the time it makes him look incredibly ignorant and annoying. They speak Portuguese in Brazil, don't they? Is he maybe getting it mixed up with, like, Brazilian Portuguese? That'd be really fucking embarrassing if that's what's going on here. He talks more about his family history here, though, and it's just, I don't know, it's just sad, really.
Family history is very large and complicated, which of course has a lot of downsides, but it does have the small upside of being related to a lot of dead famous people. Edgar Allan Poe, Robert the Bruce of Scotland, and apparently my uncle is currently mapping another family line.
So he's half Portuguese, he's also native, he's also related to Edgar Allan Poe, he's also related to Robert the Bruce of Scotland.
Apparently my uncle is currently mapping another family line. So now I know that I'm also 27 generations descended from King Edward I of...
Oh, and just to add that to the list as well, why not? Fuck it.
Queen Margaret of France, apparently. And there's absolutely no useful thing to do with any of that information.
This is bullshit. He's lying. I'm sorry. This is all bullshit. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't know why he lies so much about his ethnic history. It's okay to just be half Portuguese and half white American. That's fine. It really is okay.
It's there. It exists. And also my great-great-grandmother was Canadian. Maybe I can somehow get a Canadian passport. That might be useful.
Isn't every family history large and complicated? Like, that's a nebulous statement, surely. Yeah, I knew about the Edgar Allan Poe's adopted. Does he even have... I don't think he even has any descendants. He has no... Yeah, he and his wife, Virginia Clem, had no children, and his siblings died without leaving any children. The guy's a bullshitter. He's bullshitting. He lies about his history. He lies about what part of the world he's from. He lies about his ethnic history. It's all bollocks. Well, maybe it's not all bollocks, but a lot of it is just pure bollocks. All right, here's the big recent video that he made. A lot of people have been talking about this.
I am a beadworker who is not a recognized member of an indigenous tribe or nation, which is actually why I bead the way that I do.
But by the way, I'm a YouTuber who's also not recognized by an indigenous tribe or nation, so we're one and the same there.
It's why I avoid the tight, repetitive beadwork that is often seen in native work. It's why I avoid traditionally native motifs like the 4 directions, and the bold, opaque color schemes that are often seen in native work. And if I showed you this necklace that was inspired by a couture designer, put it next to something like this and ask you which one was more likely to have been made by a white man, You'd probably say this one.
By the way, I don't mean to be a dick here, but I genuinely believe that the only reason he doesn't copy those works is because he's not good enough at beading.
To our indigenous beadworkers, because we run in the same circles. And I do very much hope that if I ever cross that line that they would tell me so that I could correct the behavior. But I've never claimed to have invented beadwork. This skill, this trade, this craft is ancient, and I only got good at it on accident. Because when I got hit by a car, my hands were the only part of me that I could move without hurting myself. So I accidentally got very good at this. Beadwork kept me sane during one of the hardest parts of my life. And even if it wasn't my goal in the beginning, it has become a career that I am distressingly proud of.
I don't know how true that is either, to be honest with you. I guess people who bead in the comments, you have to let me know if like the hands are the only thing required to bead. But when I look it up, it's like it's a handcraft, but it involves hand sewing, and it usually requires several tools to manipulate tiny beads, needles, and thread, particularly for detailed work. I'm not gonna outright claim that he's chatting shit here or anything, but part of me does believe that he's just over-exaggerating a part of his story to make himself seem more interesting as usual. And real quick, by the way, if you think I'm being harsh there, just please wait till the end of the video, because he does so much of this and a lot of it has been confirmed, and it really makes me double think or double question every single thing that he's ever said online ever.
To be possible, creating things that I've never seen anyone else make, even though I've looked, doesn't mean that I'm creating from a place of ego or taking credit from people who work just as hard as I have. I do not see other beadworkers as competition, and I never will, unless they're directly copying me, but that's just rude. I use high-quality glass beads, not plastic. All of my crystal and gemstone beads I buy in person so that I can personally attest to their quality before I buy them. And I make things that I've never seen anyone else make because I like a challenge. And it's just more fun for me. And for the record, my most expensive pieces, like this one right here, there's another artist that's also getting paid for it. I have a friend who beads little cages around cabochons and backs them in suede so that I can use them. And I want to make sure that not only myself, but she as well is properly compensated. I'm not going to send you to her pages right now because, frankly, I don't trust a lot of the people watching this. But people can disagree with my prices all day long. You can call me vain or egoic. Frankly, I don't get it. But to say that I'm taking credit away from indigenous beadworkers, or even that I'm just disrespecting them, is deeply wrong. I may not personally speak on indigenous issues very often because, frankly, I think it's not my place. But I do take every single chance I get to uplift the indigenous people who are speaking on those issues.
Yeah, he's right, man. Look, the way that he beads is so different to how indigenous people bead, because he beads like really badly. So it's a very respectable difference, I think, actually. I really respect the fact that he consciously chooses to bead badly and then overprices products so that he can separate himself from real indigenous beaders.
The land I grew up on was Choctaw, Chickasaw, Muskogee. And again, beadwork was never my career goal when I started. I just fell into it because it was the only thing I could physically do without hurting myself. And I would never intentionally do anything to dishonor or disgrace or disrespect the beaders who came before me. And I don't know how else to say that. Okay, love you, bye. Also, the examples of indigenous beadwork that I used came from Google, because while I would very much like to be able to highlight specific indigenous beaders who I know and love, again, I do not trust a lot of the people watching this video.
I want to just remind you guys who haven't, because we didn't look at this in the last main channel video, I want to remind you guys what the prices are for his beads. You got this one here, the Mush Troph collection. Even though it says collection, it's just this thing here. It's for a very humble $1,349 or more! Just in case you think he's being a little too generous there. The most tacky shit you'd find in fucking Camden Market. Or the Barras, for all my Glasgow viewers out there. You've also got earrings here, nickel-free. It's $15 for one mushroom earring. If you want to add a necklace and a keychain to it all, then you can, it's only an extra $60. Actually, no, it's an extra $70. Fuck, my math is awful. Then you look at this one and it's like, wow, $4 for stained glass. That's actually pretty impressive, that. Then you realize that it's just a picture of it's just a PNG of the stained glass. Not even a PNG, a PDF, in fact. Or you could get an owl and fox painting, which honestly, it's cute. I like it. I do like the look of it, but I don't $123 got like, I don't like it that much. I mean, the whole indigenous thing is just, that video is a whole lot of, like, he just loves waffling. This guy loves to waffle. He loves to just chat and chat and chat, even if he's not really saying anything. Now, that's something that will also become very obvious as this video goes on, by the way. I don't know if you're indigenous or not, making no claims there, just reminding everyone, only indigenous people can be two-spirit, period, full stop. Oh, where is this two-spirit video, actually? I think it got muted. Yeah, look, it got muted. There's no audio. The top comment is, you're not hearing him, though. Okay, so I can't find the full original video. We've got this one here, which is sped up and has some stupid background music, but it's a video, isn't it?
Top Calling was the land I was born to. I was born and raised in Oklahoma, arguably the most indigenous state, given how many times it was taken away and then
Taken away and then leased back to its people. That's... God, Jesus. It wasn't leased back. That's not how it worked at all. American indigenous people were forcibly removed and forcibly relocated. It wasn't just like a matter of convenience. This is severely underplaying what indigenous people actually went through. They're still treated like shit by the American government today. Also, is Oklahoma the most indigenous state? Is that even true? Alaska's pretty fucking indigenous. Is it even productive to try labeling states as like most to least indigenous? Like, what does that even mean? Does it just mean like the most indigenous people lived there at some point? All of America was indigenous people. That's what it was. It wasn't just Oklahoma.
endured immense suffering, time and time again, and even in continued suffering, have fought tooth and nail to keep not only their lives, but their ways alive, even when their stories and histories and ceremonies have been outlawed by people who saw what they had, saw their kindness and generosity, and decided to take everything they had away from them. And it's rare that I talk about my own beliefs and experiences with spirituality or whatever word you want to use for it, mostly because I'm not the debating type. But if there's one thing I hold to be absolutely true, is that the land remembers her people. And while there is a lot to be said about the generations of breeding out the savage, quote unquote, something I hate saying, and the very racist intentions of Blood Quantum, but when it comes to me personally, the land I was born to holds a great deal of importance to me. When I'm sure of nothing else, I'm sure of where I come from. And somewhere in the years of educating myself and learning the stories and the histories and finding the truth.
Are you sure where you come from? Because one day you're from Oklahoma, the next day you're Portuguese, the next day you're Edgar Allan Poe's fucking... Does this mean that Edgar Allan Poe is indigenous? Does this make Edgar Allan Poe native? Does this make Robert the Bruce of Scotland native? Like, what are you on about?
I found the ways of my home. And while I would never claim a heritage I have no way of proving, I would never take opportunities away from people that deserve them, and would never take up space in a culture I was not welcome to. If honoring the ways of the people of my home, learning their histories and doing what little I can to help keep their ways alive, and referring to myself as Two-Spirit as a way of honoring the weight of my own soul and the way it guides me home, with the blessing of my deadliest auntie, by the way, is something that you would consider morally corrupt, then I don't think we will ever understand each other. There is a lot I don't share about myself, a lot I don't tell about myself, not because I'm ashamed or because I think it's wrong, but because it's likely to be misunderstood, and I don't always have the words to make it understandable. But at the end of the day, everyone has those things that are likely to be misunderstood. And with so many people's love of assuming things they have no way of knowing, it's really no wonder we keep them to ourselves.
The land was calling to me, and it's just Oklahoma. Yeah, it's the most overdramatic, like over-romanticized, soppy bullshit ever. It's like this really pathetic attempt to seem super cultured, but it just makes you seem, it just exposes how uneducated you actually are. Just because you put on like a fake somber voice, it doesn't make any of these things any more true, especially when videos like this come out, it just sort of exposes how bastardly it all is. I don't know if you're indigenous or not, making no claims there. Neither am I really, by the way. I'm just trying to point out like all the claims that he is making and like questioning how believable it all is. Like this guy says a lot. He says a lot of things. Just reminding everyone, only indigenous people can be Two-Spirit, period, full stop. To which Tyler Catastrophe says 100%. However, he also said, as you'll remember, that he is not recognized member of an indigenous tribe or nation, but he is also referring to himself as Two-Spirit. And you got it right here. I'm a transgender Two-Spirit disabled artist currently stuck living in Texas. It's like, look, I'm not going to have a strong opinion on the two-spiritedness or the beading or how much it means to indigenous people because I myself am not American indigenous. It's not really my place to talk about it. All I'm doing is pointing out like the inconsistencies and the ignorance that is clearly just exuding out of this bloke's fucking pores. Like, it's very disingenuous. It's very tacky. It's very performative. It's extremely fucking performative. And it's a type of racism that we see in a lot of these people that I don't feel gets talked about enough. I actually did mention this in my first video about Tyler Catastrophe when I said I thought he was the type of guy who doesn't listen, he was talking about the type of music he liked, like Lovejoy and all that type of shit, I guess. How he loves all type of music. And I mentioned that like he seems like one of those people who wouldn't be into hip hop or rap because he would describe it as like mumble rap or some really outdated terms that we don't really, like anyone who knows anything about music doesn't consider congruent with rap or hip hop anymore, right? But then he'd also like sock off Steven Universe soundtracks or video game soundtracks, stuff like that, which is fine to listen to those, but to disregard rap and hip hop as like a whole genre and exclusively listen to music like that and fucking Lovejoy. It's not unreasonable for people to assume that you're only dismissing rap or hip hop because it's very linked with black culture, especially when you can't come up with an actual genuine reason as to why you don't enjoy it. Tyler Catastrophe hasn't done that, but it's the sort of vibes that I'm getting. It's that sort of like weird racism that a lot of people on the left exhibit as well, obviously without realizing it, but then at the end of the day I don't think any racist really knows that they're racist because racist is, you know, bad. Like the most racist people on the planet probably think that they're just being reasonable. In the same way, Tyler Catastrophe's racism to him probably just seems like empathy, or at the very least he thinks that he is presenting himself as empathetic towards like an old black man who ran into his bike or something, when in reality he's exposing that sort of microaggressive racism within him. I'm not saying that he's like massively, offensively, fucking horrifically racist, but there's definitely prejudice there that does need to be looked at a little bit and sort of introspected on. Prejudice might not be the right word, but ignorance for sure. And I'll tell you what, by the way, he is so lucky that I'm making a video on him and not another cis man, because I am the only cis man on the planet that would not use transphobic rhetoric against him. Fuck, I might need to actually light a candle or something, because I'm not sure he'll get so lucky again. See how like bigoted and fucking shit it sounds? Like if I was saying that unironically, it would undoubtedly and very obviously come across as incredibly virtue signally and transphobic. Yes, maybe he is two-spirited actually, because he's being called to England and Oklahoma. We've been covering Tyler Catastrophe a lot on stream recently, and these streams get re-uploaded to Shepherd Boy, my second channel, by the way, so go show it some love. The streams are a lot of fun. Hop by sometime, man. They're really good. If you're a bloke, they make your dick at least twice as big, and if you're a lassie, they make your period pain at least half as painful. That's a horrible fuck. Jesus. Naz, you can decide whether or not to leave that in. I'm leaving that up to you. Fuck me. Here we go. Here's a top comment, actually. This is a great, arguably the most indigenous state. Brother, they are all equally indigenous. None of them were less the lands of natives than another. I would like to read some of the comments that I got from indigenous Americans, because they were very educational as someone, you know, who isn't indigenous American. Apparently a lot of indigenous Americans sort of saw this coming from him, because apparently this is a very normal thing for white people who beads to do. As an indigenous American, I knew he was going to claim native heritage or bastardize it as soon as I saw he referred to himself as a beadworker over jewelry maker or something. Beadworking is a very important part of our history and how we survived as the people, and his style of jewelry is definitely not beadwork, even if he uses seed beads. I personally think it's wrong if he recreated our beadwork, because you're stealing sales from an indigenous beadworker. Indigenous people make up less than 2% of the population. We've been historically severely underrepresented even in minority discussions, as well as using patterns and colors that are used as a language and means of surveillance to us, or survivance rather. Survivance over survival is something that our community has worked so hard for, and when people of other cultures stomp all over us because we don't have the numbers to fight back, it's very discouraging. Hey, FYI, an indigenous person can have any complexion, skin color, face shape, or other features. That being said, Tyler clearly hasn't done any of the research, because if he had, he definitely wouldn't claim it, because he loves attention as he has a victim complex, or any of the community work to claim that he is. Blood percentage is a complicated topic, and I won't go into it here, but do your own research. To call himself two-spirited is so infuriating, and any sympathy I had for him died today. He knows what he is doing and doesn't care. Tyler's mental health problems and clear identity crisis are not in any way a justification for his clear lack of accountability and ability to listen to criticism. That's also something you'll very much find out about Tyler, is that he will never accept responsibility for anything that he has ever done wrong, and he does not like criticism, no matter how good faith it is. And I understand that he is getting a lot of shit and a lot of transphobic shit and a lot of criticism that is very fucking horrible and mean, but a lot of it is genuinely coming from a good place as well. But he just doesn't really take it that way ever. I want to move on to a very nasty side of Tyler, because that last one was nasty, but it was masked as like kind and empathy and education and lovely, right? But this one is like, fuck man, he really exposes himself as a almost manipulative, vindictive, resentful, lying piece of shit. So for some context, this is an artist called Stuart Semple. You can see from his Instagram here that he's a relatively abstract artist, very famous here in England. He's an author, he's an activist, he's very fucking artsy. Here are some examples of his art. If this looks interesting to you all, I would greatly recommend you give him a look. I think he's pretty great, and apparently Tyler Catastrophe agrees with me, which led to a whole saga that we are going to talk about right now, because fuck me, is this pathetic. So just for some context, the initial reason that Tyler Catastrophe wanted to move to England was because he claimed he was offered a job by Stuart Semple. There's a curation here of all the Stuart Semple videos that he's made. It is sped up, so excuse me for that. I can't slow it down. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Can I slow it? No, yeah, I can. Okay.
Something that I specialize in, and it'll give me enough free time to also focus on my own work and building my own name. And I'm super excited. So it's going to be with my friends, and it's awesome. Because right now I have an incredible job working with amazing people in England waiting for me. I just have to get.
I just love asking for help on the internet. Because I found my dream job, and I got my dream job, but I gotta go to the dream job. And the only way to do that is to pay to get there. So I made this thing. See, I managed to land my dream job after years and years working. I have a job waiting for me with a group of just incredible artists that I can't disclose, but it's been like a year in the making. I got to visit them last year when I went for my birthday. But the actual job itself will be in an art studio with a group of just amazing artists who run a nonprofit, and I'll be able to make things and just do all the things that I do for myself, just on a larger level. Like,
okay, so again, he's not actually said anything yet, because he doesn't want to say that it's Stuart Semple or whatever. I guess in his mind it was classified information at this point, but he is referring to a supposed chat that he had with Stuart Semple where Stuart promised him a job in England, apparently. We'll get into that. He does expose more details later, because he's very cross that it doesn't end up, you know, panning out the way that he wanted it to.
I'm again a man of many hats. I'm a jack of all trades to the extreme, so I hope I get to do a little bit of everything. But like, it's people that I'm already friends with. I give them tips here and there because just I want to be a part of it. I want to be involved. I like helping.
Just to be like, look, I think this is it's so fucking egotistical, and it's so subtle if you don't know, if you're not used to this type of language from very egoistic people. But let's be clear, Stuart Semple is a big deal. He's a famous artist. He's been doing it all his life. He has a studio that, just like Tyler said, is filled with these amazing, talented artists. So to say that you visited this studio and you were giving them tips here and there displays such arrogance, in my opinion. It would be like if I went to a fucking, like, Edgar Wright directorial fan meetup and said that I was giving little tips and tricks to all the directors and actors on how to make movies just because I have a decent lighting setup in this fucking room and I make YouTube commentary videos, you know what I mean? Like, you beating on TikTok and selling overpriced tacky shit does not give you the right to act as though you are some sort of authority in this art studio with people who have been doing it all their lives and are known for it. I'm sorry, but you're not known for your art. You're known for being a weirdo who is overly obsessed with Wilbur Soot.
So actually getting to like move over there, it's in Bournemouth, England.
Bournemouth. It's Bournemouth, and Bournemouth is a shithole. Sorry to anyone from Bournemouth. No, actually, the good thing about Bournemouth is that if you are from Bournemouth, you'll actually agree with me, because you guys are chill like that.
Always wanted to like live near the ocean, and because I'm from Oklahoma, I've always been landlocked. It's very rude, but they like make paints and like pigments and just artist materials that everyone gets to use, and it's just I'm overflowing at all times every time I think about it. But I like it. His name is Stuart Semple. I wasn't gonna say anything, but like whatever. And we've been friends for a few years now. And
they've been friends for a few years now. Really, remember he said that, by the way. They have been friends for a few years now. Now, to me, friends for a few years means like consistent on and you're not like chatting every day by any means, obviously, because they're a big deal, but you know, relatively consistent on and off messages here and there, friendly demeanor. I definitely would not consider it to be one conversation then fucking off back to the States and never talking to him again. I'm sure Tyler wouldn't consider that to be friendship either, though. I'm sure that's not what he's referring to at all when he says that they've been friends for a couple of years now, but I guess we'll just fucking see.
originally, 2019, I got hit by a car, had to have surgery and everything. And that's kind of what got me into like actual art, because it was right before the pandemic hit, so I had to restructure a lot. And when I was waking up from the surgery, I ended up sending a message to Stuart, like big long game about how much I adored his work and how much I just adored him. And because I was still under the effects of anesthesia, my phone was not on airplane mode, it actually sent. And I wake up later, no longer under the effects of anesthesia, and realize he has responded to a text I have no memory of sending. So, a couple years went by, we talk here and there, whatever.
I don't believe that, by the way. I think he does remember sending the text. I think he was very much consciously doing it and is using the anesthesia thing as an excuse to be like, it's basically his version of, oh shit, sorry, that was my friend. I would never send a weird, long message to someone that I've never spoken to before because I'm a huge fan of their work. I would never do that. Would never do that sober. I was just, I was on anesthesia. I don't even remember sending this message, but like, since you said yes, then of course, maybe I might as well come along. Maybe he's telling the truth. I'm not going to say for sure, but I don't believe him.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to England. I'm going to take a vacation. And because I was working as like a manager at a steakhouse, I had like the money to do it.
Okay, by the way, remember that he said it's a vacation to England. I know I'm telling you to remember a lot of things here, but just, you've got a great memory, and I respect that about you. Vacation to England. Important words there.
I was going to stay a lot longer. And so I was like, you know what? What's the best thing that could happen? And so I find his, at the time, scheduling director's email. I'm like, hi, this is me. This is who I am. Don't know if you know. Can I maybe come say hi? Crazy as it can happen. They say yes. And so I'm like in the country I've never been to, like 8,000 miles from where I was born, alone, just doing my own thing. And I get to spend a day in the studio with this artist I've looked up to since I was like 13 years old. And just the second I walk into the studio, I'm like, this is where I need to be. This is where I want to live. I did not want to leave. And just like the people who work there and just like the energy and just the place where it is, I'm like, I am in love. I'm never going to stop thinking about this ever. And I remember on like the train back to my Airbnb, I like messaged her and I was like, thank you so much for this. This is amazing.
By the way, you know what it is? I know I love that he said, oh, I can't disclose who it is. And then he folded under no pressure. 10 seconds later, he goes like, all right, fuck it. It was Stuart Semple. I know you were, look, all the questions, you keep bombarding me with all this shit. I'm sorry. I'll just say it was Stuart Semple. But no, you said in this fucking clip like 10 seconds ago that you couldn't disclose who it is. So funny, man. He's so funny. I love him.
Of course, you're one of us. And I think that just like cemented everything together because I was not going to stop until I was able to be there. And
A couple years ago, I flew halfway around the world.
I was not gonna stop until I was able to be there because he sent a nice message saying you're one of us. One of us, obviously, like, you know, we're both artists, I guess. Just to be clear, you're one of us is not a job app. That's not like an acceptance for a job application. Like, I really don't mean to be a dick here, Tyler, but what would you contribute to Stuart Semple's art exhibition? Now, this is why I asked you to remember the vacation thing, because look at what he says now. Look at how he changes the story a couple months later.
I was not going to stop until I was able to be there. And
A couple years ago, I flew halfway around the world to meet an artist named Stuart Semple. With the help of the scheduling director at the time, I got to spend some time in the Culture House studio. I made amazing friends. I helped work on some things.
So, in the span of an unspecified amount of time, he has went from, I took a vacation to England where I just so happened to meet with Stuart Semple because a bunch of stars aligned, I sent him the right emails and we met up and it was a great time. Now it's, I specifically went to England to meet Stuart Semple because he agreed to meet me and arrange this whole fucking thing with me, right? Now this is really fucking sneaky and shitty for him to do because when he eventually breaks the news that Stuart Semple like essentially ghosted him and doesn't want him at this like culture hustle place, it makes it seem a lot worse on, like, it makes it seem like a much bigger dick move from Stuart because now it sounds as though he went there specifically to meet him and it was like this prearranged thing, which I don't know. I think that's dirty. I think that's really dirty, but just wait, it gets worse.
I definitely did not want to leave ever. Before this visit, during this visit, after this visit, me and Stuart had messaged back and forth quite a few times. I thought he was great. But then, of course, I got back to the States, realized I really didn't want to be there anymore, and I wanted to go back to England. So I took a chance, which is what got me to the studio in the first place. And I asked Stuart outright, hey, I need to be out of my current living place by this time. If I can get the funding together, if I can make a move happen, would you hire me? And when he said that we could probably make that happen, I was ecstatic. I was over the moon. And looking back, that really was just a positive maybe, but it really felt like a yes in the moment. But as we got closer to the time that I had given Stuart that I needed to move, all communication stopped.
It's so funny that even he acknowledges in that video when it first happened that even he knows it was a maybe. And that because he felt he was so inspired in this place or whatever, he was over-exaggerating the maybe to mean like a definite yes. But he, self-admittedly, has said that it was a maybe. And knowing how much he over-exaggerates things, it probably wasn't even a maybe. Like, for all we know, Stuart Semple might have said, well, it's not impossible, I guess. Also, what exactly was the job offer? Like, what were you going there to do? Just hang about and be Tyler Catastrophe. And then look, now he starts like just chatting shit about him, like actively demeaning him and his character and trying to like ruin his reputation. One day a famous artist, an activist in quotes by the way, claiming that his activism is fake. Very ironic coming from fucking virtue signaler Tyler Catastrophe, by the way. You've always looked up to will ghost you after saying he'd hire you, leaving you almost homeless, halting your career with a string of missed opportunities and ruining your desire to paint. This is not his fault. If you put all of your eggs in one basket because of a self-admitted maybe, that probably wasn't even as much as a maybe, and then lose your desire to paint because it doesn't end up going through the way that you wanted it to, that's your own dumbass fault. That's like quitting your job to become a TikToker after gaining 200 followers and then blaming the world when it doesn't work. It's like, no, this is you. This is on you. Not to mention, it's gone from, it was probably a maybe to, he said he would hire me. It's like, no, you just said that it was a maybe at most. And now you're saying that he said he would hire you. This is really shit behavior from Tyler Catastrophe. I don't think I'm over-exaggerating here. Like, this is really fucking horrible. He gets way too obsessed with these people. It's a good thing Wilbur hasn't addressed this, because if Wilbur said anything remotely negative about this guy, then maybe he probably would like Shelby. Because it's like this complete switch up when he doesn't get the expected or I guess desired result for whoever he's crushing on at the time or obsessed with at the time. Like, can we agree that this is just a fucking horrible thing to say after what we know about this situation? Don't worry though, guys, it gets worse.
Real estate novelist who never had time for a wife.
I was staring homelessness in the eye and begging it to flinch.
I was staring homelessness in the eye and begging it to flinch.
Because at the end of last year, I got really screwed over. I was supposed to have a job in England waiting for me, and then they pulled out at the very last minute.
See how the story is changing now? Fuck me. I had a job in England waiting for me, but it was all, that implies it was all done. It was done. I was basically hired, and then they pulled out last minute. It's like, no, there's no pull out there because nothing ever went in. Like, I can't pull a USB socket out of a fucking PC if I never put it in the fucking PC to begin with. In fact, in this situation, I never even bothered buying the USB socket. I walked past it was on the shelf, I took a glance at it and thought, and then walked past it. And never thought about it again. It's not my fault if that fucking USB socket gets its hopes up. Tyler Catastrophe is the USB socket.
Because at the end of last year, I got really screwed over. I was supposed to have a job in England waiting for me, and then they pulled out at the very last minute. And I was supposed to be working for Stuart Semple of Black is Black and Culture Hustle fame. I was actually supposed to be working for him as part of Culture Hustle. And obviously, I'm not. And I don't like dragging names if I don't have to, but some people were messaging me to guess, and I would rather be honest than allow speculation. My career was in a full upswing. I had just done my first solo exhibition. I was being handed so many opportunities. As stupid as it sounds, I was kind of a local celebrity, but I knew that my dreams were a whole lot bigger than Texas, and I needed something else. And after getting to go to England and visit the Culture Hustle studio and absolutely fall in love with the work they do there, and after looking up to Stuart Semple for like half of my life, I asked if I could work for him. And he said that we could figure something out. And he knew that I had a deadline to make it happen, but once that deadline started approaching, he completely ghosted me for months. But the closer we got to that deadline, the less I got. Eventually, I just went around him to his assistant.
Yeah, he's fucking busy. Like, he's a busy guy. He's not thinking about Tyler Catastrophe 24/7 every fucking day of his life. Probably met him. It was a nice interaction. It wasn't so nice that he's like, wow, this guy right here. I really love the fucking $1,500 tacky Camden Market style fucking necklace that he made. I really love the way that he treated the elderly black gentleman that rammed into his fucking motorcycle and then took $100 from. I just have to have this man as part of my fucking Culture Hustle exhibit. I mean, how could I ever resist with a voice like that? No way. No, he's not thinking about you, brother. He's not. I'm sorry. Stuart Semple has responded to all this, by the way. Not like massively, but he has to. Just look forward to that, folks. This is such a great comment here. Even if you were offered a job, no company would keep that offer open with no start date or relocation date in sight. It's like, let's say you get accepted into a university, right? Even if you are accepted, you can't then fuck off back to America and come back in like 5 years and be like, no, I was accepted. No, yeah, but we need like a date for you to move in. We need like all these things. You can't just come here whenever you fucking want. And that is suspending disbelief that he was actually offered a legitimate job, which, like, let's be real, he fucking wasn't. If they really wanted it, they would have made it happen. But they didn't really want it because it's Tyler Catastrophe. I know that sounds mean. I know it does. But it's the same way Steve McQueen doesn't want me, as much as I would love to work for Steve McQueen. Like, what movie head wouldn't like to work with Steve McQueen? But like, we're not all good enough. We're just not all, we're not all what he's looking for. You know, knuckle down on your beard and knuckle down on your band stuff. Because Tyler Catastrophe he made like a fairly decent living. He organized band gigs, and there are a lot of people on TikTok who actually talk about him as someone who managed to get their band gigs and stuff. Like, he's not an untalented little swine. It's not as though he is completely unknowledgeable of the music scene or how to make money or how to work in a workforce. Like, he's a fairly competent person, I feel, if he wanted to be. It just makes us all so much sadder because it's not like there's no potential here. He's also, you know, he's good on camera. There's like he's got a kind of charisma. Like, there's stuff here to work with. So it is legitimately sad to see it all get pissed away in this pseudo-intellectual, pretentious bullshit. And he gets really nasty here as well. Like, because it was all like sort of like backhanded shots at Stuart Semple, but now it's like he goes fucking mental here. This is his mask off moment.
Eventually, I just went around him to his assistant, and she was kind enough to give me the note that I needed. Actually, fuck Stuart Semple. I've been so incredibly pissed off at the way this man fucked me over for over a year, and I don't like being angry. I traveled 8,000 miles to spend a day in the Culture Hustle studio, completely fell in love with it while doing what was actually free labor.
Free labor? Oh, fucking hell. Dude, come on, man. He's so delusional. This is why it's hard to feel sorry for him. Like, you know when you go to a restaurant and they give you like those wee coloring books when you're like a 3-year-old and you color in the pictures and that? That's like calling that free labor. Now, I am an artistic 3-year-old, and you don't understand what I have done to this little drawing coloring book right here. This is free labor. I'm providing you freely. Be fucking grateful. You know what? I'm so upset. You fucked me over. It's like, no, man. They just wanted to let someone in who was interested, and they were very nice to you. They let you spend a day in their fucking Culture Hustle studio. It's like, that's a really cool thing for them to do. For you to have this like vitriolic reaction is so entitled. That's the word I'm looking for. It's so entitled.
I think about it. And then he starts looking for a new assistant, and I'm told to apply, so I do. And then when I don't get that job, honestly, really glad I didn't. I'm not made to be someone else's assistant, so I ask him.
I'm not made to be someone else's. There's nothing wrong with being an assistant, brother. Also, beggars can't be fucking choosers. Like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, you have to know your ability. You need to know your worth. This is Stuart Semple we're talking about here, bro. You think that you're fit to work like hand in hand with him and have assistants like he does? You would be lucky to get an assistant role in in such a prestigious place like the Culture Hustle studio. I think confidence is great, and I think ambition is great, but you also need to be fucking realistic, because this level of delusion and entitlement it's not gonna get you far. It just makes you a fucking asshole.
Hey, can I have a different job in the studio and I'll just move to England? I'll raise the funds myself. I gotta be out by this date. Could it happen? And he said yes. So what do? I put my career on hold, sell basically almost everything else I own, start turning down opportunities thinking I'm gonna be in a different country when they happen. Doing the work because I go all in or nothing. And what does he do? Fucking ghosts me. Months where I was getting him opportunities with even bigger artists.
There's so much here. First of all, again, he didn't say yes. You said yourself that it was a maybe at most. But then now as time goes on and you find that you're not in the position that you want to be, you want to find someone to blame it on, but you are unable to blame yourself or take any responsibility for your own actions, so you have to blame Stuart Semple for it all. It's like, no, please, just acknowledge a tiny bit at least where you fucked up. Because you have fucked up. One of the most unattractive things that any man could ever possess is this sort of man-child type mentality where nothing is ever your fault. It's always someone else's fault. I'm not even telling jokes here. Like, this isn't even me. I'm not trying to be witty. I'm not trying to tell a joke here. It is genuinely an incredibly ugly fucking trait. There is nothing uglier than a man who just refuses to fucking grow up. And this here it's so childish. If anything, I kind of respect him for displaying that even trans men can be fucking man-children. Even trans men can have the fucking audacity. In my head, we were friends. Oh yeah, he also said, I forgot about this. He said just a second ago, I was providing him with opportunities. I was linking him up with really famous artists. We'll hear the full story of that later, by the way. It's fucking ridiculous. It's just as ridiculous as you're probably thinking it is, but don't worry, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
What the fuck? And while I'm being actively ghosted by this man, he posts on his Instagram story, replying to someone asking for a job, telling them to apply. But you can't answer me. And eventually, I get so fucking...
Because you're not good enough. It's that simple. I'm sorry. You're just not good enough. What would you do? What would you provide? You don't even want to be an assistant. You think you're too good to be an assistant. You have to work your way up the fucking ladder. You can't just go straight into a managerial position. You start from the bottom, you make your fucking baby steps, and you work your way up. You really think your overpriced, tacky fucking beating is enough to be this world-famous artist working hand-in-hand with Stuart Semple off the fucking bat? You don't think you have anything to learn from any of those guys? You think you're the one giving them tips and tricks? They didn't teach you anything? That's one thing I realized, by the way. He didn't say anything about being taught anything or learning anything from them. It was only ever that he taught them things, that he felt inspired, and that he felt very happy. I think that really says something. When a world-famous artist says he'll hire you, then ghost you like a bad ex, basically sabotaging your life and career, but at least this is your work.
I was originally supposed to move to England a couple years ago. I was supposed to move to Bournemouth, which is also on the south coast. But then the job I was supposed to take fell through at the very last minute, and so it kind of a tailspin.
Tell you what, at least he learned how to pronounce fucking Bournemouth. But yeah, God, man, this is why I really had to do this deep dive, because, I mean, I thought he was a cringy man-child before, but this is a different level. Like, this is different. He's got a real nastiness and entitlement inside of him that really limits my sympathies, if that makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I still don't condone all the horrific shit, transphobic shit that's being, like, said about him, but by some people. But to act as though he's, like, not worthy of criticism at all, which a lot of people have been saying, just leave him alone or whatever. It's like, nah, he definitely deserves to be called out to an extent. Deserves is a shit word. I hate that word. The call-outs and critiques against him are justified, in my opinion. Stuart Semple put a story out on his Instagram. He says, keep this in mind. Years ago, Tyler swung by. Nice bloke. Visiting the studio isn't a job offer, just to clarify.
TikTok, I need your help, please. My name is Tyler. I'm a transgender two-spirit disabled artist currently stuck living in Texas, and I don't want to be here.
Oh, that's straight. Honestly, that is just straight up him claiming to be two-spirit. And then agreeing that you can only be two-spirit if you are indigenous. But then he also said that he's not recognized by any indigenous or native tribe. So fucking which one is it, mate?
But luckily, my hard work for the past couple years is finally looking like it's paying off, because I have an opportunity to move all the way from Dallas, Texas to fucking England. And I can't give details yet, but it is kind of my dream job, and it's something I've wanted since I was like 12. And considering last week there were 2 shootings in places I frequent, both within like 20 miles of me on the same day, I think it could come at a better time. But the only thing keeping me from leaving literally tomorrow is that I have to be able to afford to do it, which...
I think this guy took the idea of manifesting way too seriously. Maybe if he just thought like, okay, I kind of got like a maybe, that's not really a maybe. He said like, there's nothing, but if I just hope and pray enough, then it'll happen, right? That's genuinely what I feel like is going on here.
High hopes and honestly a lot of audacity. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking that's a really high number to just ask for people on TikTok. And you'd be totally correct. And when I was originally getting advice for this whole thing, the person I was talking to about this website, they take a lot of fees. So they said to, 1, cover all of that, and also set it high enough that just in case you don't make a single dollar on your own, you would still be able to go. Which is what what this is.
This thing so that I could move to England because I have an incredible art job waiting for me.
Today is July 1st. I have no idea when I'm going to post this, either today or tomorrow. We'll see. But it does mark 1 month of officially saving to move to England to get the hell out of Texas and also accept my dream job. I managed to find potential apartments, and the prices for actually moving have gone down considerably, allowing me to lower the goal for the GoFundMe from $20,000 to $13,000. I just got out of the shower.
I don't think he actually ended up doing that, by the way. Here's a Reddit post from Stuart Semple himself, just to say he was a nice guy. He visited my studio while traveling in England and obviously became infatuated with the UK. He spent about half an hour with me, and a few weeks after he got home, he asked me for a job. I said that if he made it to England and sorted a visa, we could talk about it. That said, there was never a job offer, and I wasn't sure what he could contribute. We weren't advertising any jobs at the time. I get that he loved our studio and wanted to be a part of it. I never expected him to take that as a green light to sell all of his stuff and go on a crowdfunding rampage. He just greatly underestimated how fucking insane Tyler was. But how could you possibly blame him? That said, I hope that if he wants to be in England, he makes it over and carries on making his art. Class! It's just a class act from Stuart himself. Especially after being fucking slandered online for years by Tyler Catastrophe, talking about, you know what? Fuck Stuart Semple! He made me homeless. To claim that this guy made you homeless. He was just being a normal, decent guy, from what it seems. There was no job offer on the table. There were no positions available. There's nothing you could particularly offer or contribute to the company. And you don't even live in the fucking country. He did not ask you to move over. He did not tell you to move over. He didn't tell you to sell all your fucking stuff and go on a crowdfunding campaign. That was all you. If he said, like, you know what, mate? I would love to offer you a job, but unfortunately you live too far away. I'll tell you what though, start a GoFundMe, sell your shit, come over here, and I guarantee you I'll give you a job. Then we'd have some real meat. There's some meat on the bones there. We'd have something to talk about. Unfortunately though, that's not what happened in the slightest. Just a reminder, by the way, I want to remind you again, because I told you to remember this. He said that they have been friends for many years now. He visited the studio, spoke with him for half an hour, and they messaged once or twice afterwards. The guy is fucking deluded.
I just realized I missed out on the opportunity of a goddamn lifetime. The comedic potential I have missed will eat me alive forever. Because today is the 4th of July. I live in Texas. I'm trying to leave Texas to move to fucking England, of all places, because my dream job is waiting for me. And yeah, it's an incredible opportunity, but imagine the comedic potential if I had moved from America to England on the fucking 4th of goddamn July. I'm slacking. I missed the mark, bro. But it would still be pretty fucking funny if this hit the goal on 4th of July. So if y'all blow this up, if you blow this up, and I hit my goal by the end of July, I will move to England, which I was already gonna do anyway. But if you help me hit my goal, and you make this pop the fuck off, I'll move to England, and I'll dump tea in the fucking ocean. Because I may not be super patriotic, but I know comedy when I fucking see it. Right now, I live right here.
It's not that funny. It really isn't that funny, brother. I'm sorry. It's just not that funny. It's just not that funny. 4th of July, big America, but you go into England. Yeah, it's good that. Really comedic. Mate, if you brought it up like once as like an offhand joke, but mate, you went on for like a solid minute about just how fucking funny this would be. Like, brother, it's calm the fuck down.
A few people in here are saying that this isn't actually my TikTok account and it's some sort of fan thing. It is me. I just don't really use it. But hi, it's the real thing. It is me.
Now, this obviously has nothing to do with the fucking video, but you can see the caption of this video, which actually does have something to do with Tyler. I'll say it in his accent, so just to get the real emotion in there. Tyler's visit was a bit of a catastrophe. When he popped in, none of us knew that it would pop off years later. He's got one of them like weird southern arty accents. I mean, it really is a class response after being fucking slandered and chat shit about for years and just lied about for fucking years on end. Like, he would have the right to just make a video and fucking completely destroy this guy. But I guess Tyler Catastrophe just isn't really a big enough deal to even warrant doing that. This guy's not chronically online. He's fucking Stuart Semple. He's an artist. He just does his own thing. He's not gonna fucking waste his time at starting internet beef with Tyler Catastrophe, you know what I mean? Anyway, now I want to talk about the artist that like Tyler was bragging about getting him in contact with. He was helping Stuart this whole time. I was getting him in contact with other bigger artists and he didn't offer me shit in return. In fact, he ghosted me for months. So let's have a look at that story, eh? Because it's just as fucking ridiculous as you're probably thinking.
Internationally recognized artist is a huge fan of Meow Wolf. Honestly, we should all be. Meow Wolf just opened a new location in Grapevine, and I happen to live pretty close to Grapevine, Texas. And when they were getting ready to open their Grapevine location, I went to the community meetings. It was awesome. But at that meeting I went to, I met the artist liaison from Meow Wolf, Texas, who was an awesome person. And me, being me, seeing a connection that I could help make, I connected this internationally recognized artist with Meow Wolf. And while I've heard absolutely nothing on whether or not they're actually going to work together or whether or not someone reached out at all, in the event that they do a collaboration, they probably wouldn't even mention the fact that I had anything to do with it. And if I happened to mention it, no one would have believed me. I am so tired of having this situation in the back of my mind thinking that I did something wrong. Because I didn't. Maybe rejection really is protection, but I think I deserve some credit for how well I handled that situation because I was way more mature about it than he was. I'm like,
half his age with a quarter of his following.
That part's really just me being petty, but oh my god, does it give me a headache.
I deserve better. I deserve nice things. I deserve to be treated like I'm awesome because I am. I am Tyler fucking Catastrophe. And that means something because I made it mean something. I did that.
This isn't ironic. Like, he's sort of saying it in a way where he can claim it's ironic, but it's not. It's I, me. I deserve good things. I earned this. I'm really great. I'm awesome. He never thinks about other people ever. Even when he got rammed into by the old black guy who was like, I'm great. I'm not racist. I wouldn't take his, well, he didn't even say he didn't take his money. He probably did take the money. If it's a real story, of course. I'm not like the other white guys, but also I'm not white, apparently. He's just such a knob. He's such a knob.
Being like, that is the most didn't happen shit of all time. Lick my dick, dude. I'm way more awesome off camera than I have ever been on it. So, leave me alone.
Okay, love you, bye.
Look at how quirky and funny he is. The glasses are upset. You know how, guys, let me explain this, right? What he's done here is usually glasses are meant to go on with like this seam here at the top, and then the glass bit is meant to be like at the bottom, sort of covering your eyes, if that makes sense, right? But you can see what like he said, he's a master of comedy. He's a fucking genius. He did say it himself, but what he's done here is the glasses, he's actually turned them upside down. And that's funny because it's like goofy and shit, because you're not meant to wear glasses like that, just in case you weren't getting it. By the way, let's have a look at Stuart Semple's response to all this. Can you talk about how he said he got you a collab opportunity that he was too thankful for? Because I don't believe it. Stuart Semple says, he did introduce me to someone at Meow Wolf and I did thank him. I didn't end up collaborating with them though. And actually we didn't really need his help as we already had contact with them from when I did a show in Denver. So even the thanks you got from him was just out of courtesy. It was just because he was trying to be a nice guy, but he didn't need your fucking help. It's like when you're 9 years old and you're about to wash the dishes or something. And then right as you go to wash the dishes, your mum tells you to wash the dishes. And you're like, well, I was fucking about to. You need to say, now I get no credit for doing it. In fact, no, this is way worse than that. Because at least washing the dishes, that is helpful, you know? But you genuinely provided nothing of substance here. You've just taken the lack of acknowledgement. What would you want them to do? Meet publicly, make a video and be like, Tyler, oh my God, Tyler, oh, thank you. Oh, I just can't thank Tyler Catastrophe enough for mentioning my name to this bloke. He's just so great and his beating is amazing and I love how indigenous he is and I also love how Portuguese he is and I love how white he is as well and I love how not racist he is. Everyone go support him and buy his $1,500 fucking necklace. Like, is that what you wanted from all this? You fucking weirdo.
I'm trying to move to England. There's a job waiting for me. It's something that I specialize in, and it'll give me enough free time to also focus on my own work and building my own.
Since we're all so deep in this lore now, remember he said he had a job lined up with Stuart Semple, and that's why he was moving to England the first time? Stuart Semple has entered the chat. Visiting the studio isn't a job offer. He didn't even have a job. A job. Snark Reddit? I can't believe he's a Snark Reddit already. Just to say, he was a nice guy. He visited my studio, who's been posting for a long time, made a comment on a Tyler Catastrophe Snark Reddit.
Fucking hell, Stuart Semple is he's an active Tyler Catastrophe snarker, but he's actually being very empathetic and kind here. Not like the usual snarker, I suppose. Yeah, here we go. I feel bad for the situation with Tyler, but I have to be clear that I never offered him a job. I said that if he managed to make it to the UK, we'd talk about it. Clearly he was excited and he loved what we were doing and wanted to be a part of it and was infatuated with England. I hope he makes it over here if that's what he wants, and I don't think everyone should be giving him such a hard time. He was a nice guy, but it was a little bit too much. Kind of intense for someone who hadn't actually had a firm job offer. Oh man, this is almost more brutal than if he was just like, you know what, fuck you, you slandered my name, because it's so reasonable that you can't really argue against it. You know when you make plans with someone and they say maybe or I'll think about it, most normal people take that as, okay, probably not then. Tyler takes that as, I'm going to sell fucking everything and make sure this happens. Okay, now I want to go over like his official TikTok responses to all of this recent drama breaking out. He's made 2 as of right now. We'll go over the first one first, I guess, by proxy of it being the first one. Look at me, breaking the mold.
Said I have a crush on a guy in a band who I do not know and have met once. And because I was not strictly literal in a video that was for entertainment, I have somehow become the target of a weeks-long...
You didn't just say you had a crush on him. You said that when you have a crush on someone, nothing in your life is important. You will not even think about entertaining romance with any fucker else in your entire fucking life. All of your eyes, every motivation, every step you take, every breath you breathe is all towards getting with Wilbur Soot. That's a lot more than just having a weird celebrity crush. So don't backtrack and try to restate it and change the fucking story when that's absolutely not what what was happening. You're moving to fucking Brighton for him, pal. Or at least you wanted to before you got bullied out of it.
Ridiculous smear campaign that, frankly, I don't want to understand. And while part of me knows that it's probably smart to just hope it dies out, it just keeps getting worse. So I'm going to say some shit. I am not the one stalking comment sections hoping to see someone I do not know. You are. I am not the one making fake accounts to stalk someone I do not know.
But you are the one who wants to move to a whole different country in the hopes of finding someone and getting with someone that you don't know. In fact, you so don't know them that you don't even know that they're that you don't even know that they're heterosexual and that there's no interest in you.
I am not the one making money off of lying and talking about someone I do not know. You are.
What about all the shit you said about Stuart Semple? What about when you used it to market your art? Look at me, I'm a struggling artist who got fucked over by Stuart Semple. Help me by buying my shit and donating to my campaign. It's like, no, you are directly profiting off of these lies that you are telling about someone who did nothing wrong.
I am not the one writing fan fiction and making edits and drawing fan art and using AI to make slop of people I don't know kissing. You are. I'm not the one pretending to be related to someone just to spread lies.
I just don't believe you. I just don't believe you. I think you are lying about being related to Edgar Allan Poe and Robert the Bruce of Scotland. It's just bollocks. I just don't believe you. I don't believe it. Maybe it's true. I'm not going to say that it's false for a fact, but I don't believe him.
I am not the one wishing death and torture and rape and worse on someone I do not know just because they said they had a crush. You are. And I am most certainly not the one using AI to try and convince people on the internet that someone I have never interacted with is a pedophile. That's 100% on you.
Yeah, I'll back him there. Obviously, you should not be telling this guy that he's a pedophile or claiming, like, making false claims about him or, you know, being transphobic or saying that you wish death upon him or rape upon, or, like, really bad. Obviously, that's fucking unhinged. It's horrible. You shouldn't be doing that. I will say it is a small minority of people that are doing that, if any. It's sort of the go-to when people make these response videos. I do think it is happening, though, because a lot of the internet is fucking really transphobic, and a lot of transphobes will just go after him because it's, like, a good excuse to be transphobic and not get any backlash for it because people can't think critically. So I actually do believe him there. I think he is getting a lot of that shit, and I feel bad for him. Like, that absolutely will get to someone. So for sure, I don't endorse that at all. So I do feel bad for him there.
Thought a guy was hot and funny and interesting in a video where I was not strictly literal. And then I said that because I am confident and like myself, that maybe he would like me if he gave me a chance, if he was interested in men. Because again, I don't know his sexuality. I do not care where he lives. I do not care who he's seeing. I do not care what he does for fun in his free time because it has no effect on my life. I have a physical type. He happens to be that type. I have very high standards. I do not want someone who does not meet that standard.
High standards. Look at this fucking image. Someone's commented, I have very high standards, and posted this image of him. That's mean. I don't rate that. It's funny, but it is mean. Like, I actually don't endorse jokes like that. He's a fine looking guy. I think he's a bit of a knob for sure. And I think he was physically abusive as well. But like, he's also undeniably a relatively, you know, he's a fine looking 6'5" white guy. Like, he's fine. If you think he's hot, more power to you. It's also healthy to acknowledge that he was physically abusive at one point in his life. Maybe not anymore, but he definitely was.
All I fucking said. And right now, the only reason most of my videos are still up is because I do not want to give people more room to lie. Clearly, all of those videos have missed such a large mark. I don't know how we got here. I don't want to know. But at this point, I have spent my entire life overcoming things that most people would never even have to imagine. And I spent a ridiculously long time being just the scapegoat for everyone around me.
See, this is what I mean, man. He spent all his life being the scapegoat for everyone around him. He's always the scapegoat because it's never actually his fault. He has never done anything wrong. Whenever he does fuck up, no, he's the scapegoat. It's like, can you not just, for once in your fucking life, I've not seen one TikTok of this guy. There is so much content of him out there on the internet. I've not seen one instance of him ever even slightly admitting fault or taking responsibility for anything that has ever gone wrong in his life. Ever. I'm not being coy. I'm not being ironic. I'm being deadly serious when I say you have to fucking sort that out. You need to be at least self-aware enough to acknowledge where you have gone wrong sometimes.
Who have no interest in the truth, no matter how big it is. And I know that there are people who will post anything that gets views. Consequences be damned. I actually left the creator program months ago because I didn't like the incentive it gave to like trigger people and start rage bait, and it's stupid. I don't like it. So really the only thing I have to say to the people who are using my name to get views and make money in a way that is not true and is very deceptive, I hope you plan to donate every single cent that you have made off of misrepresenting my character and using my name for views. To the ACLU, to Planned Parenthood, to the people of Palestine or Lebanon or the Congo or Sudan.
What about the money that you made on your GoFundMe by lying about a job opportunity that you had? Are you going to donate that as well? It'd be a little bit hypocritical if you didn't.
Indigenous or Black Lives Matter charities. You have a lot of options because frankly, every other problem on Earth right now is bigger and more important than a guy who has a crush on another guy. And while it would be nice to have a little more money, because I have goals of my own to work towards, I want absolutely nothing to do with any of that money. And otherwise, I hope you end up regretting every single cent you have made off of misrepresenting me.
I really don't like when people who are very worthy of criticism respond to the criticism with, oh, you know, there's genocides and like horrible things and wars going on right now. It's like, okay, fine, but I'm also allowed to be concerned and critical of you as well. Like if your partner cheats on you, the cheater can't just go, well, there's a genocide in Sudan right now, actually. So like, you're going to be angry at me when people are dying out there. So yeah, I can be concerned about both things. It's pretty simple shit, actually.
Because I am a good person. I am kind, and I do not deserve any of this. I believe that other people are mostly good. I believe that people can change when they have motivation to do so. And I hope that you all learn from this in the future, because there's really nowhere else to go.
Yes, everyone needs to learn from this. You, I'm sure, have nothing to learn from all of this. There is not one bit of efficient or worthy or well-founded or genuine criticism. It's all bullshit. Nothing being said about you has any evidentiary basis at all. It's all slander, every single bit of it. Everyone who's criticizing you has things to learn. They have massive gaping holes in their characters, but you are a perfect little fucking snowflake who has nothing wrong with them and nothing to learn because you've got life figured out. You've got life absolutely fucking figured out, which is why you always get scapegoated. You're currently unemployed. You sold all of your stuff for a dream that was nowhere near being solidified at all. You took not even a maybe as like a guaranteed job opportunity and then slandered the fucking bloke resentfully, uglily, in a very ugly fashion for years on end afterwards. But yeah, you've got nothing to learn from all of this, mate.
I do not like being angry. And I am angry that I have been pushed to being angry. But I am angry. I'm angry for a lot of reasons. Angry to the point of tears, because I have so many worse problems than this, and somehow we are still here. My birthday is this month, and as of that day, I will have been in pain for 7.5 years. Even in my dreams, I am in pain, because someone hit me with their car at around 50 miles an hour, and I decided to keep living after it.
Damn. I wonder what the ethnicity was of the person who was driving the car. That's a very important part of the story that needs to be brought up. I'm surprised didn't he bring it up? Like, come on now, you told us what it was before with the fucking truck.
I will be in pain for the rest of my life, and I have fought like hell to build a life that is worthy of that pain and worth going through it. And with everything else that I have chosen to survive, I don't think any of you deserve to make me regret that decision. So if you are only here hoping to see me crash and burn, go fuck yourself. And if you're here trying to see if what you've heard is true, it's not. You can look at everything I've said. I've left it all up. I stand by what I've said. Because even the worst thing they could find on me was me saying that they should think and consider carefully before allowing themselves to be used as an internet attack dog on behalf of people they do not know, because there will always be information you do not know. And I stand by that 1000%. Not sorry. And to Will Gold, on the off chance that you see this, personally, kind of hope you haven't seen any of it, but to you, I am sorry. Because clearly...
the only person that he is admitting fault to and taking any acknowledgement for any potential wrongdoings is Will Gold. You're really not doing much here to deny or put to bed the parasocial allegations. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he, like, reposting the fan art and the edits of him and Wilbur? And I could be wrong there, so don't quote me on it, but I think he was. Is it still there? Maybe he unreposted them, or... Yeah, maybe not, to be fair. I can't see anything here. I'm not sure if he's just got rid of them or if he genuinely was, but I guess he's gonna let me know in the comments.
Gone so fucking far. And I didn't intend any of it. This whole thing sucks, and I don't like it. But other than that, I have no other apologies. Because I have nothing to apologize for. So yeah, that's where we are now. I will continue working towards my goals. I will continue focusing on my business and the things that I love. And other than that, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Oh my, why does this matter to you? I don't even know how to end this video. Okay, bye. The flower lamp reappears. Fun times. I said I have a crush.
It's just really, the reason it matters is because it's such an interesting case study of a man who is so fucking delusional, so, like, I've never seen someone so unself-aware. I'm not even exaggerating there, like, he is the least self-aware human being I've ever come across in my life. And it is a genuinely very interesting, I guess, representation of what parasocial relationships can do to people, both negatively and positively. So, he had a parasocial relationship with Stuart Semple, for example. That didn't go very well, and we saw how that crashed and burned. Then he's got a more positive and lovey-dovey parasocial relationship with Wilbur. We can see how that's sort of flourishing, but I'm sure that's bound to crash and burn, especially if Wilbur ever responds. Well, if he was to respond, it wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be a nice response. He won't ever respond though, which is good. I don't think he should. He definitely fucking knows about this though. I don't think he gives a fuck about your apology, but he does know about this. Tyler will probably find a way to meet him in person again, by the way, which is a scary thought, because man, when that conversation happens, that'll be when this topic becomes relevant again. He did post a second response very recently, like 2 days ago though, so I want to have a look at that one too.
Mutual understanding is very important to me. And because I talk to people for a living, sometimes that's difficult. Because when you're suddenly faced with a lot of people who don't want to understand you, and decide to pick your entire life apart looking for things to misinterpret, spreading lies, misinformation, or even just reposting your own words and leading people to false conclusions about them, at that point, nothing I say to those people will ever be good enough. Especially when most of them have just turned to attacking my looks or being transphobic. Because I like the way that I look.
To be fair, I've not seen any... I know I have like a certain YouTube channel and I present as quite... Well, it's not even a present. I'm quite left myself. You know, I'm very pro-trans, I'm very pro-gay, I'm very pro-abortion, all that shit, right? I love all that shit. So maybe it's just different because my audience is also pro all that shit too, but I've not really seen anyone attack their transness or their appearance much at all, really. In fact, in my comment section at least, everyone has directly condoned that behavior. In fact, they're even condoning me for using they, them pronouns every now and then, which, just to clarify, that's not like an intentional misgendering of Tyler Catastrophe. I really do try my best to gender people correctly. It's just, I'm quite bad at that. I'm not sure if it's an ADHD thing. I'm not sure if I just think too quickly before my mouth starts fucking speaking, but I've always been quite bad at gendering. Even cisgender people, I sometimes refer to them as just the opposite fucking gender for some reason. Usually it's not something that gets acknowledged or stops a conversation because people know exactly what I mean, but the internet is obviously quite different because, like, it can be replayed and people comment. I understand the concern because if someone is presenting as he, him, and you only use they, them, and they're like transgender or whatever, it does very much imply a level of, I don't want to call you he, him because I don't see you as a man, so I'm just going to sort of play it half woke and say they, them. Which could be potentially a quite cowardly thing to do, but in my case, I just use they, them because I'm shit scared of using she, her. So they, them is like the safe haven for me. It's like a spawn point I can just sort of go back to and feel safe in because I'm not like in constant fear of misgendering people. Because in my mind, they, them is like, that's gender neutral. So as long as you're using it with good intentions, it can be used for non-binary people, male, female. I get it if you find that offensive. I am making an active effort to just know that it comes from a good place. I'm not trying to actively... It's not that I don't see him as a, you know, a legitimate trans man or anything. It's just that I really don't want to accidentally use she, her. But even that, I think I have fucked up on stream a few times and used she, her for this exact reason because I've been trying to use he, him more in regards to Tyler because I'm getting criticized a lot. By the way, yeah, we side tangent, but just know that my intentions are good here. Like, I'm not trying to be a dickhead or transphobic by any means.
Not ashamed of the fact that I used to be a woman. Women are awesome. So I'm just done. This account isn't for those people. My work isn't for those people. I am not for those people. So hate, rage bait, lies, misinformation, or just bad faith arguments, they're getting blocked and deleted. I don't care. I left the Creator Fund months ago because I did not want incentive to let them stay and feed into them. So if you're here because you like me and the things that I make, I hope you'll stick around. And if you're only here because you don't like me, go find someone you do like. Okay, love you, bye.
Thing is, the thing he says about, I'm going to block everyone who leaves bad faith arguments and all this stupid shit, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do for the people who leave good faith arguments? What are you going to do with the genuine criticism? Do you just ignore that? Do you block them as well? Like, what is your standard for bad faith? Is it just anyone who disagrees with anything you've ever said? And as much as you guys might say, oh, the comments on here are like negative and he's not deleted those, it's because there's fucking thousands of them. You can't delete them all. I forgot about this as well. There's so much shit. Another band that he claims to be friends with and is writing their next single also responded and said that wasn't true. You go, here, can we get a comment on Tyler Catastrophe claiming he's writing your next song? Please, I need to know the truth. To which Sun Valley Scarlet, we'll try find this video in a second. Tyler was never in the band or produced any music. Only current band members of SVS write songs for the band. What's it called? Sun Valley Scarlet. Okay, let's have a look.
You guys have no idea how weird this whole Tyler Catastrophe thing is for me because I've personally known him for years. He lives in my city. I met him in 2021. He was like a band promoter back in the day. I don't know if he still does that. But back when I was in a band in 2021, he got us a show.
So there you go. I don't think this is Sun Valley District by any means, but this is someone who is, I guess, acknowledging that Tyler Catastrophe did have genuine links, a genuine talent for getting bands or small bands gigs in places. One of these bands happens to be Sun Valley Scarlet. I actually went back on Tyler's channel. You can see this video from 2022. It has 50 likes where he shows a video of the Sun Valley Scarlet playing a song. Yeah, there you go. POV, you give a band a gig and they bring you a clown. Then you got Sun Valley Scarlet themselves commenting guilty, and then Tyler playfully saying you are sentenced to party rockin'. They had a friendly business relationship, it seems. But that doesn't mean that he was writing a single again, he has this habit of over-exaggerating massively what he's actually doing for these people. He claimed on a podcast that you asked him to produce your next release and mention your band by name. Context matters here. That interview was in 2023. We were shopping around for producers, engineers to record our EP that released in 2024. We ended up going for someone else. So it's one of these things where it's not an outright complete lie, but it is an example of him making things sound more solid and set in stone than they actually are, which is exactly what he did with Stuart Semple as well.
Actually, fuck Stuart Semple. I have been so incredibly pissed off at the way this man fucked me over for over a year, and I don't like being angry, and I want to leave all these shitty ass feelings in 2024. So if y'all want to be angry with me, let's be angry. I traveled 8,000 miles to spend a day in the Culture Hustle studio, completely fell in love with it while doing what was actually free labor now that I think about it. And then he starts looking for a new assistant, and I'm told to apply, so I do. And then when I don't get that job, honestly, really glad I didn't, I'm not made to be someone else's assistant. So I ask him, point blank, hey, can I have a different job in the studio and I'll just move to England? I'll raise the he do? Fucking ghost. But you can't answer me? And eventually, I get so fucked with her. I'm very grateful. Because this grown man couldn't put his big...
Oh, there's more shit about fucking Stuart Semple, by the way. It's not even done. I thought we were done, but there's so much more shit he said. Look at the comments, by the way, where he's like he's actually turned people against him in the comments at the time, at least. Channel that anger into a revenge painting. My most recent painting definitely felt like one, lol. He seems very happy at the time to have the same birthday as Leonardo da Vinci as well. He's awesome, apparently. Who fucking cares? Who cares? I've got the same birthday as Mickey Mouse. You don't see me bragging about it.
Pants on and tell me no, I wound up almost homeless and had to live with my mom and her husband who doesn't like me very much. Because I was supposed to be in England. 8,000 miles away. I didn't have another lease lined up. Now, here I am over a year later, still pissed off and like one bad day away from homelessness again. Since I'm just letting myself be angry here, my work is better than his. I don't have other people making things behind the scenes that I can claim as my own.
Holy shit. Oh my fucking god, dude! I'm so glad we didn't miss this. This is fucking unhinged. I don't even know what to say. Like, how could he, I don't know what to say. I'm genuinely speechless. Like, how can you say something so dumb and obviously fucking wrong? It's just, you know what it is? It's just so clear that he thinks he's fucking DiCaprio. Sorry, Da Vinci, my bad. Very different people. Like, he genuinely believes he is on that level of talent.
People making things behind the scenes that I can claim as my own. This piece is completely unfinished and you can already tell it's gonna be amazing.
It looks like a 16-year-old's fucking art project, mate. I'm sorry. When I was knocking about my school in secondary and I went to the art hall and there were like posters up of what the students have made, it was shit like that.
Definitely don't get me started on the pieces that are finished. I'm an amazing painter and I'm tired of pretending that I'm not. I completely free-handed this. Pun absolutely intended. And did I mention they're all 4 feet tall?
And don't even get me started on my beaded jewelry. Name one person who is making stuff like this. You can't. I've tried. I've looked.
Making stuff like this. What about all the indigenous beaders that you claim to look up to so much? Is your work better than theirs as well? Because they're just building off each other. You're all solo, baby.
Celebrate how fucking fantastic everything I make is. I get to lay awake at night and worry myself sick about the fact that I can't pay my bills because someone promised me something and didn't deliver. And the part of me that wants to be nice and give the benefit of the
It's really annoying. It's really annoying seeing someone like this. This is my biggest fear, is being this unself-aware of myself. Like, my biggest fear is coming across this fucking abhorrent and unlikable on camera. And don't get me wrong, I have moments. I probably had moments in this video where you thought, all right, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? But like, this is his whole career.
Maybe part of that's on me for believing something was going to happen when they said it was going to happen, because they said it was going to happen and didn't tell me it wasn't going to happen.
I can't stop remembering when he says shit like that in the first video, he himself acknowledged that it was a maybe at best. And that happens to be the only storyline he ever told that lines up a little bit with what Stuart Semple himself said, and what also makes the most sense for a situation like this. You know how many fans have probably asked Stuart Semple for a job when he's given that same cookie cutter answer to, that haven't gone home and sold fucking everything they have to move in with him?
Realize how fucking ridiculous that is. So instead, I'm gonna let myself be angry, because that's really fucking fucked up, and that's not even the tip of the goddamn iceberg. Because I still have friends who work for him. I still have friends who have worked for him. And they have similar fucking stories. If I'm gonna be angry on their behalf...
This is really slanderous and shitty. This is like defamatory. This is genuinely fucking defamatory. Like, you can't just say shit like this about someone because you're angry that you didn't get a fucking job. You got denied a job. Deal with it. It happens to the best of us. I know it's painful. Rejection's always fucking painful. But you just have to deal with it. It's that simple. You can't freak out like this. You can't treat people like this. It's not on.
I need to be able to be angry on my behalf. So you know what? Fuck that guy. Fuck him. I'm tired. I'm angry, and I deserve better. And in 2025, I'm gonna fucking get it. Because I, Tyler Salona, am Tyler Catastrophe. And that's way fucking cooler, even without the alliteration. Anyway, feel free to go check out all the other cool things I make. There's a lot of them. I'm gonna go eat some grapes or some shit. Okay, love you, bye. There's literally 4 different kinds of paint on this thing. It's amazing. Actually, fuck Stuart Semple.
This guy sucks. He fucking sucks. He really does suck. This is why I deem another video on him necessary, by the way, because we really, really only scratched the surface. Fittingly though, he does have a take on parasociality as a whole, so I'm interested to hear what he has to say about this, and if he criticizes it rather, not being able to notice the blaring irony of him, of all people, criticizing anything to do with anything parasocial. Or maybe he says that it's over-exaggerated and that being parasocial is actually a fucking great thing. Who knows? Let's see.
This is disgustingly parasocial. Do you know what parasocial means? Do you? Because having a crush on someone is not inherently parasocial. Convincing myself that he also has a crush on me and that he wants to marry me, that would be parasocial. Because I don't fucking know the guy. And that's not what I fucking said.
Accidentally called this man adorable, and I nearly bit off my tongue. Because I've been crushing on this guy for clearly too fucking long. And I used to be an attractive woman, alright? Flirting with men, not hard. And here I am, standing right in front of him, channeling See You Again by Hannah fucking Montana, looking everywhere but at him because he's working and I wear my heart on my fucking face. And he makes one tiny little silly mistake, hits the wrong button, it's fine. And he says something along the lines of, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm stupid. And what comes out of my fucking mouth? You're adorable. It's fine. And this happened like a week ago. I've been thinking about this for days. Who allowed this?
This man looked at me like he wanted me to look at him, and
This man looked at me like he wanted me to look at him. It's like, no, you are, this is parasocial. I do agree with him that parasocial is very much an overused word on the internet. And I think that most people, when they use the word parasocial, are drastically misusing and abusing the word and making it mean fucking nothing. Like, no one really knows what parasocial means nowadays, in my opinion. But that's another reason why I find Tyler so interesting, because the word parasocial, for once in my fucking lifetime, can be fittingly used for someone. I have no arguments with anyone who wants to coin Tyler Catastrophe as parasocial at all. Like, if there was a picture in the dictionary for parasocial, it would be a picture of Tyler Catastrophe. I've got some shit on this channel before for like for dismissing empaths and the word empathy. I don't think people know what empathy means either though, because the two are very conflated. Like the two are constantly confused for each other. Let's say an influencer that you enjoy watching has a child, which is a very joyful moment in everyone's life, ideally, right? That's that's how it's meant to be. And you watch a video of them talking about the kid and they're so happy, they're cheesing ear to ear, and by proxy, you're seeing them happy, you're seeing them laugh, a smile appears on your face. And it's not even conscious, you're smiling because seeing other people happy makes you happy. That's empathy, but a lot of people will coin that as parasocial, like, fucking hell, you're so invested in this guy that, like, what, you're happy because something good happened to them? Worry about yourself. It's like, no, we're human beings. That is what empathy is. Empathy is a part of everyone. It's just everyone has different levels of it. Supposedly, right? I think empaths are bullshit because empath implies that you are literally able to feel the feelings of other people, which is actually impossible. If you're claiming to be an empath, then there probably is some parasocial nature within you. Like, it's not a scientifically backed up term or a real thing recognized by any psychological institution whatsoever. If you want to use empath in place of having just like very high levels of empathy but not directly feeling the feelings themselves, I still think that's a bit iffy because it's very hard to determine how much higher your empathy levels are in comparison to other people. Virtually impossible. I said very hard, but I do think it is virtually impossible. If you want to use it that way, that's a little more acceptable, I guess, but that also isn't really the definition of empath from what I understand, or at least it's not the definition that a lot of people claim it to be. But either way, he's right about having a but like, this is the thing, I agree with him when he says that parasocial is an overused word, and having a crush on a celebrity isn't necessarily parasocial. But you have to be able to distinguish a celebrity crush between a real world crush. If you start treating them the same way, then it is parasocial. Let's say you have a crush on fucking Billie Eilish, for example. If you treat that crush the same way that you had your crush on Mindy from down the street, right? Then it would be parasocial, because Mindy you chat to and you think, maybe there's a chance that this can actually happen. If you feel that way about Billie Eilish and you think that there's a chance it can actually fucking happen, especially if you don't know their sexuality or the first fucking thing about them, then yeah, it is parasocial. And that's what's happening here with with Tyler and Wilbur, or Wilgold as he would say. There's another video that I wanted to show you to show like the pretentious nature of this guy if it's not come across already. This video here, I'll play it in its entirety unless he says something really fucking outlandish, but it's a whole lot of nothing. Like, there is nothing. He says nothing here.
Security is a result of conditioning, and it can be unconditioned. Part of me wanted to use the less pretty snow globes from my collection as a metaphor about how just because other people might not get it, I know what they've been through and I know where they came from. And in case you couldn't tell, I just really like words. But honestly, I think I'd rather just say it outright. Insecurity is conditioned into every person from the get-go, for a whole list of social and political reasons.
Okay, I'll stop him there. First of all, he doesn't like words. I think attaching value to words and trying to be precise in your speech is beautiful, and it's a very admirable trait in people. It's something that I try to do a lot. So much so that sometimes I try to get too precise with it and end up sounding like a bit of a dick. A good example is the Saikuno stuff. Like, I was trying pretty hard for an amount of time to be like, I'm not sure I can call him a predator. In reality, I've got no problem with people calling him a predator. I was definitely being a little too stringent there, especially with what we know now about Saikuno. Like, I think predator is a perfectly fine label to attach to it. So that's an example of me attempting to be too precise, if that makes sense. There is a balance for sure. Tyler has the exact opposite fucking problem. There's a lot of words, there's a lot of gobbledygook, a lot of mishmash, and it doesn't really fucking mean anything. I genuinely do love words. I love talking. I love learning new words. I love reading. I love the English lexicon. I love being well-spoken to the extent that I am well-spoken. I love to sound eloquent. I've got a complicated history with words in the English language because I had maybe a more poverty-adjacent accent growing up that was sort of beaten out of me by my parents. So it's weird. I feel like a lot of people don't realize the complicated relationship that they have with the words they use and the accent that they have. Like, it's deep. It really does go deep. But I don't think Tyler really means it when he says that he likes words, because from what it seems, he doesn't like words. He just likes talking. He likes his voice. He likes sounding intelligent by using words that he doesn't actually know anything about and talking about history that he's actually not very knowledgeable about, in the hopes that people will attribute aspects to him that he wants to be attributed to him and think that he sounds clever. I actually think it's pretty adjacent to what people like Jordan Peterson does, especially nowadays or post-COVID. Jordan Peterson, when you hear him talk about politics or history or religion, it's all this. It's a bunch of overcomplicated words that don't actually fucking mean anything when you're listening, truly listening to what he's saying. In his case, in particular, it's a shame because pre-COVID, a lot of his psychological work was actually quite good, and I think he was precise with his speech, and I really admired that about him. But he gave a lot of genuine, insightful, good advice. I don't know what the fuck happened to him when COVID came around. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I'm not saying I agree with everything pre-COVID, by the way. There was always some bits of transphobia riddled in there, but you know what I mean. Like, he was definitely a lot more bearable before COVID. Again, we side tangent now. I'm trying to talk about the position of speech here and how, like, different examples examples, I guess. A good example of what Tyler's doing that I hate is people are conditioned to be insecure from the moment that they're born. That's an interesting statement. It's an interesting thesis. I would love to hear more about it. And if you do appreciate words and you do appreciate talking and you do appreciate education, you would explain what you mean by that, because it is genuinely interesting, and people who are non-judgmental and, you know, curious by nature, which I am, would love to hear what you mean by that. Like, if this video was about justifying that statement, I would love that. I would genuinely like to hear his opinions on that statement and why he thinks and believes what he is saying. However, he just sort of resorts to people are conditioned to be insecure from the moment that they're born for reasons. And it's like, for someone who claims to be such a fucking wordsmith, you're copping out massively here. Like, it's very obvious that you just don't have the vocal fluency or capability to explain what you mean, because you probably don't even know what the fuck you mean yourself. I'll replay it again so you know what I mean. He literally says, for a list of social and political reasons, and then doesn't elaborate at all.
I think I'd rather just say it outright. Insecurity is conditioned into every person from the get-go for a whole list of social and political reasons, but you don't have to keep it. It's difficult to put down and even more difficult to walk away from, but doing so will save your life. Not just literally, but in a making a life better and more worth living kind of way.
Do you see what I mean? This means nothing. He's saying nothing. I'm not being coy. I'm not trying to be a dickhead when I say that. I'm being like as genuine as possible here. He is saying fucking nothing right now. And I hate when people do that.
Because even the snow globes that have been through some shit and lost all their water are still worth keeping around.
And the perfection they want you chasing has never actually existed anyways.
And no matter how fat and ugly and transgender someone thinks it is, I like it. That's what counts. Okay, love you, bye.
Oh shit, an astronaut.
Security is...
And then to equate this strange mentality and pseudo-intellectualism to being transgender or having anything to do with transgender identity when you just fucking played word Jenga for a minute straight, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like, it makes no sense. What are you talking about? When the snow globe runs out of water and turns to shit, that's usually when people throw it out. You realize you're the exception in keeping them. That's not normal. Tyler loves the person who loves the message, but there's nothing. There was no message. This guy here, this is me. I do genuinely want to know what you mean. Like, you start talking about insecurities, yes, and then you use snow globes as a metaphor, but I can't see how they connect. And then you say losing your insecurities can save your life. Literally, but how? Just respectfully, can you explain? Yes! It doesn't make any sense. I hope you can see I'm genuinely not trying to be a dick here. It means nothing. Yet another person comes back to tell me I was never the problem. Of course, Tyler. You're never the fucking problem, are you? It's just more of this. He'll never fucking learn. He'll never learn. This was recent as well. It was the end of last year. I know people get at me for using the word narcissist. I'm not medically diagnosing him with narcissism, but like, to claim that he's narcissistic as like an adjective, I think makes a lot of sense here. The guy fucking loves himself way too much. Loving yourself is good. You should love yourself. You should be able to love yourself. You should be able to forgive yourself. But loving yourself, it's like he wants to fuck himself. It's like he's in love with himself. Like he's making a quote-unquote sexy video where he pulls down his tank top with his hands and talks about how he's never the problem. How can you not see how pathetic you look here? Just for the, we're replacing the copyrighted music. Naz replaced it with something that's fitting. I'm trusting you here, but he was singing, I'm still standing bigger than I ever did, but like a really slow toned down, over dramatic version. Like, quite frankly, ruins the original mix. Oh, this one's insane. Remember the jewelry prices that we looked at earlier? This guy has the fucking cheek to complain about other people's jewelry prices. Look at this.
This necklace insulted my mother. This necklace told my best friend's ex to ask for another chance. This necklace called me a slur and meant that shit. This necklace just kinda sucks. And would you like to guess how much these moldy cheese monstrosities would cost? Not one, not two, but almost 300 American US dollars. Oh, but this one was only 100. Thank fuck. Now listen, I know I am biased because I make shit like this. And it's fucking wonderful and I love it. But when I walked into that overpriced boutique full of cubic zirconia and gold-plated bullshit pretending to be a real thing, that frankly I could not afford to be in, and saw that jewelry, it was subpar quality reject cubics and maybe 30 minutes of assembly time, it kind of pissed me off. That shit pissed me off so bad I resell my prices on the spot. Every time I think about it, I want to raise another one. Because listen, if these were being sold by a small business, or at the very least I knew that money would go to the person who actually made the damn thing, this would be a different conversation. My only critique would be, damn, You got a higher self-worth than I do. Maybe I should reevaluate. But that's not the case here. The real case is corporate greed and bullshit, and trying to stand forth to guile. I don't know. They're not even crystals and gemstones. They're just glass. They're just glass and they suck, and I hate them. Even the earrings were $100. Who is buying this? If I didn't have a 400 order long waitlist and a movie deal in the spring, this would have sent me into a depression spiral.
Again, more lying. There's no movie deal. There's no wait list. You're lying. You're a liar. This is what I mean when I'm like, he just throws things out there to like humble brag or like, oh, just by the way, I'm doing this amazing thing. Oh, by the way, I have this really cool job. By the way, I'm the best. By the way, I'm amazing. By the way, I'm related to Edgar. It's like, no, you're lying. Everything's a lie. He just lies. Whenever he's a fucking compulsive liar. Maybe that's like maybe that's too much of a psych term. He's a liar. He's definitely a liar. I'm not sure about compulsive, but he's a fucking liar.
He rubbed the makeup off my neck that I was using to hide the stubble rash. I gave myself a shaving.
What is this song? This is the band you're obsessed with. What are these lyrics? What's that even mean?
When I want a blessing, I need someone like you.
Give me a sec. I need to see if Lovejoy copyrighted the last video, because I don't know if I can play this song. No, Fall Out Boy copyrighted the last one, so I think we're good to go.
It's just normal people think it's just a liar. It's silence, no way.
Why does he go after every word? It's like, Jesus guy, man. Now the end is near.
Come back and see me. We're seeing them on Saturday in Dallas. It's a fun time.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I need to see the fucking lyrics to this song. From what I heard, this is ridiculous. Normal people things. You rub the makeup off my neck that I was using to hide the stubble rash I gave myself while shaving. Yes, it's probably a razor thing, but honestly, it's harmless and I refuse to let the sensitive skin win. Lead singer Will was ridiculed online for his inability to shave well. It's okay though. We can actually listen to his original music. It's just as it's just as bad, but he starts crying to the lyrics of his own song in like a Stitch TikTok, and it is quite funny.
Listen to me, know that you were born so far from home. Darling, you are just like me. Neither of us all were meant to be, but soon you'll know beyond these walls there's so much more to life worth fighting for. Know that there is nothing wrong with you, and the village knows it too.
What are these lyrics? I wasn't listening. But did he say like born far from home or something? What's that mean?
Listen to me.
Listen to me. Right, fair enough. We got that, so I can do that. That lyric is fine. It's a bit demanding though. Like, what do you have to say? Who the fuck are you?
Know that you were born so far from home.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Being born far from home. All right, whatever. It's just fake deep, man. It's just, there are scenarios where you can say you were born far from home and it can make sense, I guess. Because home is a feeling, not a place. I'm a big believer in that. And if you spend the developing years of your life feeling like shit, then like maybe metaphorically or figuratively, you were born far from home. I like that actually. It's a good. But that's a Dan Kijabo idea though. That's not what he's going for here. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit.
Darling, you are just like me. Neither of us all were meant to be.
This is the most generic fucking lyrics ever. Also, he rhymed me with me. Listen to me, you were born far from home. You're just like me. We weren't meant to be. What, man? Why are you crying at this, man?
Soon you'll know beyond these walls there's so much more to life worth fighting for. Know that there is nothing wrong with you, and the village knows it too.
Behind these walls there is more to life or something, and there's nothing wrong with you. Jesus Christ, I actually almost vomited. That's how fucking bad these lyrics were. I actually almost fucking vomited. I'm not even lying. I had to swallow my vomit. I've not done that in years. What's that even mean? Neither of us all, he said.
Neither of us all were meant to be.
Neither of us all meant to be? Or was that neither of us are meant to be?
Neither of us all were meant.
So it combines, but it sounds like he combines both of the words. Maybe he fucked up there a bit. Maybe he's crying because he knows he fucked up. To be fair, there is nothing wrong with you does sound like something that he tells himself a lot. When in reality, it's just more like responsibility dodging shit. Maybe that's what he means when it says like he means a lot to me or something. Before we leave, I do want to make it absolutely clear about like the Tyler Catastrophe and Will Basut physical abuse thing, because that is something that I feel as though I do need to make abundantly clear, because it's a lie that he tells constantly. Oh my god, I found his old Tumblr though whilst trying to find this shit. This is the Tumblr he was posting about like the black guy who was driving. He's not using the hashtags correct. Come on, on, man. I've never even used Tumblr. You don't put spaces on fucking hashtags, you idiot. Like, hashtag I just say words. You've just put hashtag I. Hashtag the internet is a ridiculous place sometimes. Brother, what is this? That's not how you use the fucking hashtags. You've just put hashtag the. That's so funny. This guy's hilarious. Oh, here we go. If Shelby Shubble has no haters, assume I never existed, because I'd still be hating from the grave. Fucking hell, dude. I wish Wilbur Soot would call me baby. Oh, I only said I had a crush on him. There's nothing parasocial going on here. Look at the hashtags, though. Hashtag I. Hashtag and. Hashtag. Hashtag age. Fuck me, dude. Being disabled in a very specific way that I am is so strange. I can't bend over. I'm in constant pain sometimes. My body stops breathing if I'm not actively telling it to. But I'm very capable of lifting heavy objects or going on moderate length hikes with a cane handy. I thought you could only use your hands, brother. What's going on here then? Hashtag I. Hashtag but. Hashtag my. Hashtag plus. Hashtag I again. What is these hashtags, man? Hashtag my roommate's mum had surgery and I was helping her move stuff. Hashtag plus she got me ibuprofen for Christmas LMAO. Oh my god, this is unhinged. I'd give about just anything to get people to stop telling me small business owners to get a job every time they express that they are facing difficulties. I don't care what the circumstances are. I promise you your comments are so fucking unhelpful and actually make me want to scrub my face with diamond grit sandpaper. Shut up. Biting you. He really does love Wilbur. Fuck me. I'm gonna be 22 next month, which is weird, especially when you consider the fact that it took me getting absolutely murked by a white lady in a Lexus to make me realize I was alive at all. So, you know, ups and downs. Okay, we do know the ethnicity of the driver. I was joking, but he actually felt it pertinent to tell us the fucking ethnicity of the driver. And gender, why not? That's so funny. When he gets hit by a white lady, he talks about it year after year about how fucking horrible it was. But when a black man hits him, it's all like, oh, I just feel so sorry for him, and he was so nice. Like, fair enough, he wasn't, like, horrifically injured by the black gentleman, supposedly. But surely as someone who's been in such a horrific accident, you'd have a bit more vitriol or a bit more, like, annoyance at it all. Like, if someone was driving so irresponsibly that if I didn't notice they were there, I would have got fucking murked. I wouldn't be as forgiving as he was, but maybe I just hate black people. You know, I've got a lot to learn. I've got a lot to learn from morally virtuous, I don't see color fucking Tyler Catastrophe, eh? Can I be honest now? I can't stand Shubble, like in general, not a fan. Hashtag I just say words, hashtag hater hours, hashtag I don't like her, hashtag not one bit. To be fair, he's right, it wasn't one bit. It was enough bits to make it physically abusive. He was definitely bit more than once. He's right about that. Hashtag her vibes are rancid, hashtag always have been.
Cancel culture is bullshit. And I'm not talking about holding people accountable for their awful actions, because obviously we should be doing that. I'm talking about how many people are training their audiences to be internet attack dogs, which is not cool. And right now, it's really hard to be on the internet. Feels like every other day we're getting someone who's secretly a terrible person. But I'm starting to realize that a lot of people don't know the difference between fucking up and abusing people. And as someone who has been abused, kind of a lot, I'm gonna explain the difference. Because if you don't know the difference, there are a lot of people who will try to use you as a weapon against the people they don't like. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being used for anything. So if you find yourself asking, is this person an abuser, or did they just fuck up somehow? Here are some questions that you should always ask. The first question's a little gray, but it has to do with intention. Did they knowingly hurt you on purpose?
I'm not sure it does have anything to do with intent. You can definitely unknowingly abuse people. In fact, I would say the reason why a lot of men sort of fight the definition of sexual assault or rape is because they have unknowingly sexually assaulted or raped someone before and they don't want to admit it. Like, there are a lot of men who probably don't know that stealthing is rape, so they will vehemently defend and deny stealthing to be rape because they do not want to admit that they themselves have raped someone. This is something you see a lot. So even though their intention wasn't to rape them, doesn't mean they didn't fucking rape them. They're a fucking rapist. Like, they need to be put behind bars for that shit.
Know for a fact that they did it on purpose. Then yeah, that person sucks. They're an abuser. But if you can't be sure they knew they were hurting you, you have to ask yourself another question. This one's a two-parter. One, did you tell them it hurt you? Because if you didn't, I'm sorry, you have to. You can't assume they know unless you tell them. But after you tell them, you have to ask, how did they respond to you telling them? Did they get angry? Did they blame you? Did they hurt you more? Did they try to shut you up somehow? Then yeah, unfortunately, probably an abuser.
I don't know, man. It's not as though he's making horrible points all in all, but because you know what he's referring to, it's bullshit. You don't accidentally bite someone consistently over and over and over again when they are explicitly telling you not to do so badly that they fucking bleed. Like, when they're bleeding, they don't need to tell you that it hurts or to stop. It should just be obvious.
Did they find out that they hurt you and apologize? Did they validate your feelings? Did they promise to change? Did they make genuine efforts to better themselves towards you and people around them? Because in that case, they're probably just someone who fucked up. And I'm not giving you this information because I think that someone specific deserves to be absolved of all crimes or something. I'm giving you this information because as someone who has been abused more times than I'd like to tell you about, I still believe that everyone deserves a chance to be forgiven. And with all the time and energy we spend hoping people in our lives will change, you cannot hope for that without allowing them to change when they realize they've fucked up. And if you want people to be better, you have to let them try to be. And unfortunately, the elephant in many of these discussions is that it's really easy to lie. And also, it's really easy for someone to vastly exaggerate when they're mad at someone. That's just humans at this point. So if someone you don't know on the internet is telling you something about someone else you don't know on the internet, please just take a step back, take a deep breath, ask yourself some questions. Because chances are you don't have all the information. And it's okay to wait to form an opinion until you do have more information. I know no one tells you this very often, but making a snap judgment immediately is dangerous for a lot of people. So don't be an internet attack dog for people you don't know. Especially if you're a teenager. I promise you're gonna regret that later.
He's correct. No, he is right. The only issue is that we do have information, and the information that we have points to every single bit of info points towards Wilbur Soot physically abusing Shelby. It wasn't physical abuse that was so bad and debilitating to a point where he doesn't deserve to have a job or live a normal life afterwards. It wasn't debilitating to a point where you need to feel bad if you're still a fan of him or enjoy his music. Like, that's totally fine. You can like him all you want. I'm not going to judge you for it as long as you're not a fucking creep like this guy is. But it's very healthy to acknowledge, if you are someone who is a fan of Wilbur Soot or is able to look past the abuse, that he was physically abusive. It's not good to deny that he physically abused anyone when he very much did physically abuse Shelby. I'm not saying every accusation that Shelby made was true. It's 2 videos, 2 people going after each other. There's not a lot of evidence. End of the day, we weren't there. We don't know the situation. We don't know the relationship. We can't verify fucking anything, really. Except the biting, which we can verify. Because he himself has admitted to it. It was an accusation that was made, and everyone who was friends and around him has also said that he has this weird biting fixation. All roads point towards Wilbur Soot physically abusing Shelby via biting. And controversial opinion here, abuse is bad and you're allowed to be held accountable for it, and people can criticize you for it. I want to find the video of him explicitly defending Wilbur. Fuck's sake, I need to find the original video. I don't care about your fucking follow-up. Is this it? Oh no, don't tell me it's muted. Fuck's sake, it's muted! Why am I so angry? I've gotten so into this. Jesus fuck. So you know what it is? I think I did talk about this in my first video, but I didn't bring Shelby up or bring her video up, so let's actually check on my actual video, eh?
But it's me doing a silly little audition in my bathroom for a band that probably doesn't even want a second vocalist.
No, there's no probably. Yo, thank you, Jabo. Shut the fuck up. Let him talk.
Right direction is kind of my thing. And full disclosure for people who don't know, the lead singer of that band does have abuse allegations. However, one, the person making those accusations has a history of making false allegations. Do we not remember Parker? 2, the allegations she made were him having a messy house, her paying for her own flights, and biting that she fully consented to. 3, she made those allegations in a live stream, getting paid the longer she talked, and I'm pretty sure the VOD was also uploaded to YouTube. And as a victim myself, that just doesn't sit right with me. And 4, the backlash.
It doesn't matter if you're a victim. Just because you're a victim, it doesn't mean that you're allowed to dictate how every other victim chooses to share their story. I fucking hate when people try using their victimhood as a way to denounce other people's victim status, if that makes sense. And look, hey, it's a good point. It's a good point by this man over here. I like this guy. And he's fucking jacked as well. Look at him. I don't know, from the moment I heard his voice, I don't want to say it, bit parasocial, but I think I've got a crush on this guy, man. Just the way that he's looking at me, the way that he wants me to look at him, or whatever the fuck Tyler said, I don't fucking know. But anyway, Tyler says that the biting was fully consensual and that she consented to it and that she was making money off the VOD and the live stream was monetized. First of all, I don't give a fuck if the live stream was monetized or if she made money off the VOD. I don't care. I've talked about things that are personal to me on live before and then posted those to YouTube and made money off of it. Doesn't make those things any less personal to me or any less real. But most importantly, I don't know where he gets the idea that the biting was consensual. Like that is never mentioned anywhere in Shelby's original video. Oh, Shubble, not Shelby. My bad. I've been misnaming her the whole time. Shubble. Oh wait, no, it is Shelby. Shelby, Shubble, I guess it's interchangeable. But, yeah, I'll play the biting segment of this video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I would recommend it if you want like a more detailed analysis of what the allegations were.
But at the time, I thought he cared about not hurting me. But in reality, it's like, why are you biting so hard? And why do you have to bite so hard? And it shouldn't be that hard of a problem to stop. That shouldn't be that hard. And he disguised it as this really quirky part of our relationship and was so comfortable sharing it with his friends to the point that he would do it in front of them. He thought it was this really funny story to tell and a good bit to take my arm and bite me in front of everybody until I literally shout in pain. And then I have to laugh it off because I'm so embarrassed and I don't want to cause a scene in front of all of our friends. And I'm sure everyone was a little bit uncomfortable, but as long as I was saying that it was fine, Nobody really felt like they needed to be concerned, and that's not anybody's fault.
So it's not even physical, it's not even just physical abuse. Like, that's mentally draining as well, because it makes her feel like a fucking mug.
I was lying. I was lying, and it wasn't fine, because I would go home later and I'd tell him how uncomfortable I was, how much I didn't like being hurt all the time. And I needed him to really stop biting so hard.
Remember what Tyler said about, like, you have to tell them you're not okay with it and then see what they respond with. If they're apologetic and don't do it again, it's not abuse. I'm sure, based on what he said, in all confidence, that's exactly what's going to happen here.
I didn't like it, and I tried telling him over and over again because he wasn't actually trying at all to not hurt me. But he said he would try at first. And then he started saying things like, it was my pain tolerance that was too low, or I'm exaggerating.
Whoa, hang on. That's not what Tyler Catastrophe said happened, so something must be going wrong here. You know, I don't mean to pry too much, but I think Tyler Catastrophe knows a bit more about this relationship than you do, Shelby. Who are you to talk about what happened in this relationship between you and Wilbur? I think Tyler Catastrophe, he knows a little more than you. Like, come on, show some class and listen to the fucking oracle.
How much it actually hurts. He's not even biting that hard. I'm being dramatic. But his biting escalated to a point where I was covered in bruises all over my arms, and they hurt, and he would poke at them for fun.
I'm confused. Where's the part where she says that this was consensual? And I'm waiting for that bit. I thought, you know, it's coming. Any second now, it's coming, I'm sure.
And he even felt so comfortable showing off my bruises that he had caused to our friends because he would bite me so hard by accident. By accident, he would even joke that it looked like he abused me. And eventually he did acknowledge how bad it looked that I was covered in bruises all the time. So he stopped biting my arms as often, and he started biting my legs instead. And it was in the last couple of months of the relationship that every time he bit me, it was until I needed to use this safe word. It had become his benchmark for when to stop. Only once I was definitely hurt, which meant I was being hurt every single day, multiple times a day, for all of the days that we spent together in person. And when I asked him to stop again, this time he said, "This is who he is. He isn't going to change." Those were his words. And I remember a lot of specifically his words about certain things, especially at the end, because I'm good at remembering words. And especially his wording, I became really good at remembering because he was constantly contradicting himself.
Yeah, Tyler knows all about words, to be fair. He loves words, just like he said, which is weird because if he knows, like, consent is that's quite an important word to know the definition of. But based on what, you know, Shovel's saying here and what he claimed, I feel like, I don't know, unless I don't know anything about words, I don't see anything or hear anything consensual going on here personally. But hey, I'm not the one who fucking loves words. Like, Tyler's, He's got that one up on me. I'll give him that. So maybe I'm just an uneducated bastard here and he knows better. Who do I listen to? The victim or Tyler Catastrophe? I think the answer is obvious, but I'm not going to tell you guys how to feel. The answer is Tyler Catastrophe. Okay, so just whilst I'm in the process of making this video, Tyler Catastrophe has put out a 10-minute, I guess, response to everything. This one's different from the other ones, though, because the giggles are gone and he seems very somber and serious. So I thought it wouldn't make sense for this video to come out when a response like this came out the day beforehand, if that makes sense. So I figured I'd watch it now and then I can slip it into the end of the video, just so that we know we've covered everything that we need to here. So without further ado, here's the video. I'll read the caption first, I guess. To anyone who's willing to listen, thank you. It means more to me than I know how to say. Also, two very obvious edits were because I accidentally deleted a couple parts and didn't realize I went back to double check things the next morning. I know they look a bit weird compared to the rest of the video, but the light was too different. I'm not sure I'm too fussed about lighting choices and apology videos, or to be fair, I'm saying apology video, I'm preempting this. It could just be a response. Maybe he doubles down on fucking everything. Let's play some bets though, I think. How long do we think it takes before he mentions the car accident?
This video is probably going to be the full 10 minutes because doing a part 2 feels really scummy. But if you could please bear with me and stay to the end, I have a lot to say, and there's a lot you need to know, and apologies that need to be made. And I need to just lay it all out on the table all at once. Because for the past month and a half, almost 2 months now, has been a non-stop panic for me. Because when this all started, and it was just people misinterpreting a video about a crush on a guy in a band, assuming a lot of things that were not true, or just straight up calling me cringe and ugly,
A lot of the advice I was getting was just to keep posting confidently and show them they're not getting to you, and the internet has a short attention span. And I followed that advice. And when the death threats started, I think we all greatly underestimated just how far some people were going to go in order to hurt me and the people I care about. My family, my friends, anyone and everyone who has ever interacted with or supported me in any way. And by the time I realized what was happening, it was every second of every day, and I didn't know what the fuck to do. And in trying to put out any fire I could reach, I made a lot more mistakes, and every time I thought it was going to be okay, something else happened. And because I have a lot of commitments keeping me online, the GoFundMe orders I need to finish, I could not step away. So I wound up in this awful spiral, barely eating, barely sleeping. So I completely checked out for a day or two, trying to just let myself...
I do feel bad for him, by the way, because, like, at the end of the day, whether or not you're a bad person, a good person, this much of just pure fucking hatred and attention being thrown towards you out of nowhere, like, more people know who Tyler Catastrophe is than who Lovejoy is, which is fucking insane when you think about it. And obviously, the majority of that hatred is well, it's hatred, it's negative, you know what I mean? And it's so funny because when you look back on old videos of Tyler Catastrophe, like when you type something in and you see an old video from like 2022, for example, all the comments, as much as he wasn't getting many views back at the time, all the comments are positive. So it's very clear why he was so delusional, because people were feeding into it. People were actually, like, they liked it. He had a very committed, albeit very small audience of people who were very invested in this kind of personality, I guess. Big change from what is being shown or thrown his way now. And whilst I'm personally not a fan of him at all, and I've, taken the piss relentlessly a couple times as well, I'm not going to front here, I've made fun of him a lot. I do completely agree that, things like death threats and, talking about his family and stuff, which you know what? Usually I call bullshit when influencers say that that's happening to them, but with Tyler, this has gone so viral that, like, I don't doubt it at all. And I think it goes without saying that that is, like, about 50 steps too far. I'm very curious to see what he has to say here, though, because he's going to talk about how he wants to try again, like a fresh start type of thing.
If you don't mind, I would like very much to try again. So, firstly, I do not refer to myself as Two-Spirit. I have mistakenly done so in the past, in 2023, I think, in a video I honestly thought I deleted, because I realized right after I posted the video that I fucked up. And when I made a more recent video about the differences between my own beadwork and the beadwork done by other native and indigenous peoples around me, ended up unearthing that old video that I had already self-corrected and again thought I had deleted. With everything else going on, I panicked. I ended up making another video that I did not think through. The words that I ended up saying were entirely wrong. And my exhaustion and overwhelm in the moment does not excuse it. I fucked up. And I am genuinely sorry.
Okay, so this is him talking about how he was in, like, the most native state, I guess, and how the land was just being leased off, and it was a very, like, uneducated and ignorant view on Indigenous Americans and how they were prosecuted. Yeah, that's just him being ignorant and thinking that he knows more about the topic than he realistically does. It's not like it's not a career ruiner by any means. It's not something that I think makes him a fucking horrible person. So this apology here is, like, totally fine in my opinion. Like, you said something stupid, you're apologizing for it, you're admitting that it was a dumb thing to say. Yeah, good, fair enough. The Two-Spirit thing is kind of bullshit, though, because there are messages that he sent privately, like this one in 2026, by the way, a creator known as Two Feather Beading. This was the 22nd of April. Like, this was a couple days ago, where he says he no longer claims to be Two-Spirit publicly. So he is still claiming to be Two-Spirit, but he just won't say that publicly anymore. You know what it is? I was going to say it's not as bad as saying it publicly if you just believe it privately, but at the end of the day, I'm not Indigenous. I have no horse in this race, so I won't say or have a strong stance or a convicted stance on this.
I promise I am just as upset with myself as anyone else was, and I have been corrected. But I knew that I could not address it until I had dealt with more of the mental stuff. I promise the delay was not me trying to avoid accountability, it was just me trying to avoid another mistake. I have never meant any disrespect to the Native and Indigenous communities. I just picked all the wrong words, and I am so fucking sorry. My second point, when it comes to the Wilbur and Shovel situation, firstly, please understand that there is really no good way to say any of what needs to be said.
There is no chance he apologizes for the Wilbur Shovel shit, by the way. He might say something along the lines of, oh, I shouldn't have even talked about it or anything, but there is no way he, like, backtracks on anything that he said about Shovel. Ever. No way. It's just like, it's not, I've watched too much of this guy. It's not in his fucking character. He won't even lie. He won't even lie about believing Shovel in any part of the story. I don't think he will. Like, he just will not be able to bring himself to do it. In a way, I kind of respect someone who isn't willing to lie about what they believe in, even if it is very damaging to their career. Because he knows that it would go a lot better for him if he just believed everything Shovel said. The fact that he's not willing to do that, yeah, I think is scummy, but also I kind of respect it because it shows someone who really is being true to themselves, if that makes sense. It's just a shame that his true self is someone who is obsessed with someone to a point where he can't acknowledge any of their wrongdoings.
Honestly, I probably should have just never commented on any of it at all. But when I posted that video 2.5 years ago, there was still a lot of confusion, and the only reason I posted that video was because there were multiple people asking me my opinion. And at the time, there was a lot of harm being done just from the communities and fandoms surrounding this. And I stayed away from anything other than Shelby's statement, because with anything else, I just felt that there wasn't enough information and a lot of conflicting information that I didn't fully understand and didn't want to speak on because I didn't understand it. And because I saw a lot of people treating Wilbur's statement as an admission of guilt, when to me it did seem genuine.
So it's exactly what I said. He's saying I shouldn't have commented on the situation at all. I think Wilbur's statement, you know what, I was going to say it was genuine, but he said that the biting was consensual, didn't he? I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure aspects of it were genuine. I'm sure he is sorry. But like, it was also an admission of guilt. Like, you were genuinely admitting guilt to biting or whatever the fuck. Just because you're honest about your physical abuse, it doesn't make the physical abuse null and void. Like, yeah, it's nice that you're being honest about it, I guess, but that's what you should be doing. You don't get extra points for that.
Like, he honestly didn't understand the extent of the harm he had done and was doing therapy and stuff to be better in the future. I felt very strongly about the way it was being treated from an outside perspective. And I saw a lot of uninvolved people getting hurt. And while my intention with that video was to reduce harm, I wound up letting my own perspective and interpretation kind of take over the video. Things that got left out, things that didn't need to be left in, things that should have been said very differently, and honestly, I should have just left it alone. Because a lot of the people I was dealing with at the time were people who
Thing is, this does not look anywhere near as genuine when you look at the Tumblr post that we looked at earlier, where he straight up just says he's the biggest Shelby hater. If Shelby has no fans, then he'd be dead or something. Or if Shelby has no haters, then he'd be dead or something along those lines. Talks about everything about Shelby. She's a chronic liar. She's lied in the past. It was consensual, and he fucking hates her. He's a fucking hater. He literally said it. He's like, I hate Shelby. Like, everything about her I hate. It just sort of deads this a little bit, because that is like, that's genuinely quite mean and vindictive, you know what I mean? Especially to say about a girl who was coming out about, you know, the physical abuse that they had to endure at the hands of Wilbur, who admitted to putting her through said physical abuse.
Thought were missing the point, not realizing just how badly I had missed my own point. I wound up getting really unnecessarily frustrated, and wound up just really badly doubling down over time, which just made everything so much worse. And while part of me wants to clear up several more things, every time I try, it just keeps sounding like justifications. And at this point, I think I just need to bow out, admit that I went about things the wrong way, and wound up investing myself in something that was none of my business. I promise I have learned from this, I will continue learning from this, and I will refrain from inserting myself into things like this in the future. Because even if my intention was to reduce harm, clearly I missed the mark. And I am sorry.
It's not that you're not allowed to talk about things that aren't your business. That's like my job, is talking about things that aren't really any of my business, I guess. It just helps when you don't have such a biased fucking opinion about it. Like, I wouldn't make a video, like, I probably wouldn't make a video on, if I was like best friends with a YouTuber or something and they got into a situation, I might not end up making a video on it because I have a horse in that race. And if I were to make a video, I would have to make it very clear that there are potential biases that I may have. Except it's different here though, because it's not as though Tyler Catastrophe was friends with Wilbur at any point. It's just someone that he was a huge fan of and fucking was in love with. I say is in love with. So what the alternative be? Like, if I made a video on a YouTuber that I was a fan of, I guess. Yeah, okay, I probably would say it is best to stick to your own lane and not talk about other people's business when you simply being a fan of someone means that you are so fucking biased that covering the story fairly is essentially impossible. Like, this guy is so obsessed parasocially with Wilbur that he is unable to acknowledge that he went wrong at any point during that relationship. And when you're that unable to talk about serious topics, yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing it when you have as large of a platform as Tyler does. If you're a fan of the people that you're talking about at all, like if you're completely uninvolved, then I guess maybe have a crack at it, but for something like that, definitely not.
I will do better. And third, in regards to Stuart Semple and Culture Hustle, there is a lot I want to say.
Oh fuck, okay, I'm so excited for this, by the way. I'm so fucking excited.
And I'm not entirely sure how to say it. But first, let me just start out by saying that I am a very intense, optimistic, positive, happy person. And I have a tendency to take very bold steps.
You didn't sound very optimistic and happy and amazing when you made videos. Fuck Stuart Semple! He fucked me over! I would never be someone's assistant. I had to go over to his stupid, puny little assistant who finally put the bricks down on me and told me that to fuck off, essentially. You know, ruining my life, making me go homeless. Fuck that guy! So where's the optimism? Where's the love, man? Where's the joy?
Optimistic, positive, happy person. And I have a tendency to take very bold steps with my career that a lot of people wouldn't. And while a lot of things are much more obvious in hindsight, and present day me definitely would have taken silence as a much more direct answer. But at the time, I was very excited. And because I knew there were multiple things keeping him from responding, his account was banned from DMs for a couple weeks. He had launches and events and other things keeping him.
Thing is, if you're aware of how bold the steps you're taking with your career are, because I can actually relate to him in that respect. Like, I am also someone who took very bold steps career-wise. There were some moments where it just didn't end up working out for me, but I, you know, kept plugging about, and now I've got this channel, and it's fucking amazing. Like, it's a dream come true, genuinely. But I didn't half get here without taking a lot of risks. But I knew they were risks at the time, and like, the risk of risks is that they don't work sometimes. And you have to acknowledge the risk to reward factor when you take risks. Like, let's say you're very poor, you're working a job at the pub or something, but you want to be a singer. You could take a risk and quit your fucking day job when you're 2 months late on your rent, and then do a couple of open mics and just hope that some big manager is there to watch you do it, right? That would be a risk. That would be a bold career move. Much like Tyler putting all of his eggs in the basket of working with Stuart Semple based on fucking nothing is a bold career move. But when the risk is that high and the reward is so low and the chances of the reward are so low, it's not bold anymore, it's fucking stupid. Like, I don't like attaching virtuous words like bold or ambitious to situations or plans that are just bound to go wrong, because that almost encourages it, right? I don't want to glamorize people to quit their day job when their hobby hasn't popped off yet. It's a very fucking stupid thing to do. Unfortunately, it's becoming something that's very normalized in today's society as well. Everyone talks shit about college and university. Nah, just employ yourself. Become an independent person. When it's like, no man, college is great. University is great. Fucking do it. Especially if you're not certain what you want to do in life yet and you don't have, you know, a set of skills that you're confident enough in to where you can work on shit. My thing has always been, like, if you are questioning whether or not you should go to university, then go to fucking university. People who don't need university aren't questioning at all. They're already working on things that, for them, there's like utmost confidence they don't need to go there at all. But yeah, man, I just don't like the words bold and ambitious for something like this, because foolish and naive work a lot better, unfortunately, in my opinion.
I assumed he was busy. I assumed he wasn't getting the messages, or even that he just wasn't seeing them. And so I made a bunch of preparations because I wanted to be ready when he eventually got back to me. I worked really hard to be prepared because I really wanted it to happen. But as time passed and it became more and more clear that he just wasn't going to talk to me about it anymore, and I ended up having to talk to other people in the studio just to try and understand what was going on, I felt really hurt and really stupid. And I did not talk about it for a long time, except in private conversations to people who were directly involved, because I did not want to blame him. I have looked up to Stuart for over half my life. Meeting him was amazing. Just being in the studio and having any opportunity at all was an honor for me. And eventually all of those hurt feelings and confusion turned really angry and bitter. And because anger is something I tend to avoid, because I really don't like being angry, I wound up venting on the internet.
thinking I would just delete the videos in a week after I'd moved on. Clearly, that did not happen, and I wound up making a long-term problem out of very short-term feelings. And while I have done a lot of personal healing, and I'm not as angry as I used to be, and even on the days where I do end up angry again, it's definitely just at myself. I wound up blaming Stuart for a lot of things that were entirely on me, and the consequences of that have all happened at the worst possible time. And now it's a lot bigger than any of it should have been, and I don't know how to properly apologize for it.
It's like I half appreciate this. Half of me is like, you know what? Fair enough. You're acknowledging where you went wrong. You're saying you felt stupid, and because you feel so dumb and embarrassed, there's not really any way for you to get that out but being angry and blaming someone who isn't you because you feel that dumb. I think that's a really important admission there, and I think it is genuine, and I appreciate that. Because sometimes when you know you have fucked up, it's just so hard to accept, and you've not really processed these emotions before, you just get fucking angry and start blaming the world. And I think being able to admit that is actually quite admirable. But also, the way you apologize is by, you just have to say it. Like, you have to say, it was not on him at all. I massively over-exaggerated how sure he was when he said that I would get this job. I lied about being offered a job. He did not make me homeless. That was all me. Like, he's being a bit too vague about it all, and it makes me question just how much of what he's saying he genuinely believes, or if deep down he still thinks that Stuart Semple fucked him over there.
It is on me, and I am sorry. And if I could go back and fix it, I 100% would. But it was a lesson learned, and sometimes that's all you get. But in general, with everything else going on right now, I promise that all of it is just mistakes and misunderstandings that are all coming up at once at a rate that is too fast for me to process. And in trying to protect people that did not deserve to be feeling the consequences of my actions, I wound up abandoning myself, putting on a brave face, hoping that pretending it wasn't affecting me would mean that it didn't, and just really fucking missed the mark. Because the truth is, I did not handle any of this well. Not mentally, not emotionally, definitely not publicly. And in trying to avoid more damage, I wound up avoiding accountability. And I am sincerely sorry that I did not realize that sooner. So, to everyone who's been just trying to hold me accountable, thank you. With everything else that was happening, most of the very valid criticisms got buried, and it all just got very away from me very quickly. So again, thank you. And while I know that there's really no one doing any of this, my platforms are usually a pretty positive place. It's always just been a bunch of artists supporting each other.
Real quick, I don't mean to be like off topic here, but why does it keep slowly zooming in like a Family Guy episode? Is he moving the camera consciously closer? Is he like editing it in post? Is it doing this automatically? I don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm going in, like, this is odd. This is really uncomfortable, actually.
I'm gonna step away for a few days to just be with my family and sort out some more personal things. Hopefully, eventually, it can be that again. But for now, thank you again. And I promise I will always be the person who is open to learning and doing better in the future. And I am incredibly sorry that I allowed myself to lose sight of that. I hope that life is kind to you. Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, I think it was like a fine video. It's very difficult to tell whether people are being genuinely apologetic, if they genuinely feel bad, or if they're just, annoyed that their career has gone the way that it has. I always hate when people are so quick to point out, like, really confidently, he's not actually sorry. It's very obvious that he's just faking all this emotion. He doesn't actually feel bad about anything. This is just damage control. It's like, we're not fucking psychologists, and even if we were, like, we're not in his fucking head. Like, being able to distinguish sadness and sorrow because your career is over from sadness and sorrow because you are genuinely sorrowful for what you have done is virtually fucking impossible. Like, looking at this video, it's possible that this is all damage control and that he didn't want to address the really hard things to address, like the Tumblr comments or the sly bits of racism, for example. It's possible. I'm not throwing that off the table, but it is also possible that he has genuinely taken a lot of the valid critiques into question and is trying to work on himself and genuinely does feel bad for a lot of the shit he's done. And because I'm not him, I don't know. However, the best way to find out whether or not what he's saying here is true and in good faith is, I guess, just to wait and let time tell the story, because the best way of acting upon an apology is to change your actions. Actions speak louder than words. It's something that everyone knows and everyone is constantly told, but Not everyone really understands, in my opinion. But of course, I wish him well. Like, I'm not gonna wish that his career goes badly. I'm not gonna wish that, like, he goes fucking poor, or that, I don't know, or that his fucking mental health is horrible because of all the comments and that. I'm not gonna wish hate upon him. So yeah, all the best, really. All right, back to me from like a day or two ago. And with that, I think that's a pretty good place to end the video. So hopefully you all enjoyed. This was a little longer than I thought it would be, but there is just so much about Tyler Catastrophe that I wanted to talk about. I'm sure there's so much more as well. So if you're interested at all, then give me a shout. I've been loving YouTube recently. I've been doing it more often and like uploading more than I ever have in my whole life or ever even dreamed of. I'm uploading like 3 times a day, if you count, you know, this channel and the Shepherd Boy channel as well. I've been live streaming a lot as well. That's been a whole lot of fun. So I can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've been showing me. It's been genuinely fucking amazing. This job is a dream come true. I don't let you guys know how much I appreciate it enough. So thank you all so much, man. And I'll catch you on the next one. This Tyler Catastrophe situation has imploded in a manner I truly would never have expected, with Wilbur Soot having now responded to everything, Tyler making his big return to the internet, and Stuart Semple frankly being an embarrassing child. Before we get into all that though, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going for 400,000 by the end of the month, and we are so close. We've got like 6,000 or 7,000 left, and I'm really excited, quite frankly. If we don't make it, however, as opposed to threatening to take something away from you, such as your life, like I usually do, maybe I should offer something to you, to give to you. I haven't thought this far ahead, though. I genuinely haven't written it down or anything. What will I don't know. To be fair, I've got you see that guitar there? I've not touched it in like 3 years. If we reach 400k by the end of the month, I'll whip it out and I'll play some Weezer for you guys. Is that a good plan? I feel as though I might lose subscribers actually amongst that promise, but whatever, right? I'm putting it on the table. And if you'd rather not hear that, then subscribe and then I won't do it. So you win either way here. But anyway, Weezer and guitars aside, let's have a look at this situation that is developing still in like the fastest, quickest, most eventful succession since the entire thing started, really. Because now there are like 3 little side plots that all need good, healthy discussions. Because I'm not sure I agree with what can be deemed like the popular narrative in regards to any of them, really. I suppose we should begin with Wilbur Soot's take on this whole Tyler Catastrophe thing. Now, something I was unaware of is that Wilbur Soot does semi-regular streams. I was of the opinion that he would not respond to any of this controversy. However, if I knew he streamed every so often, I probably would have predicted differently, because it's very difficult to ignore something like this when you are streaming and you've got a chat of people who will constantly be bringing it up. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that when he started this stream, or the most recent one, after this whole Tyler Catastrophe thing went down, he knew for a fact, based on good reason and good like hypothesis, by the way, that the chat would be nothing but Tyler Catastrophe comments. And yet, to be honest, it's very difficult, almost impossible, I would say, as a streamer who reads and interacts with chat to ignore something like that, because it would be so blatantly obvious that you were ignoring it that almost becomes more of a story within itself. It's something that you have to, at the very least, acknowledge like slightly and then move on if it's something that you really don't want to talk about, just so people, like, you can say you've spoken about it and chat can move on if that makes sense. But regardless, though, I want to have a listen to what Wilbur actually said about Tyler Catastrophe.
And I know what a lot of you are thinking, because obviously I've seen what people are saying on the internet, and no, it's not about a specific person. And if I can be quite frank, I think parasocial relationships needs to be something that's discussed, but the way some people go about talking about this person online makes me a bit fucking sick. It's kind of bullying. It's kind of ridiculous, and this is just my way of saying I'm not going into it. Okay, a few things. First of all, I think it is great. This is like the one bit of criticism that I have with this response. There's a few bits, but like, because I think he's so right in a lot of ways, but also I think it is a little ironic for Wilbur Soot to criticize parasocial relationships and the potential implications or harms or drawbacks that come with said parasocial relationships, because especially back in the day, I'm not sure about now, I'm not really too clued up with his current career, but back in the day when he was making his Minecraft videos and he was part of the SMP and he was like he was on his shit. Like, he knew the game, he was playing it well, he brought up a whole bunch of other YouTubers as well. A large part of his success, in my opinion, was the very intentional fostering and, in my opinion, extremely mindful procuring of very specific parasocial relationships. Like, it's not like most YouTubers where every now and then you get like a weird obsessed fan. No, I feel as though him and a lot of the other YouTubers at that point in that group were trying at like their utmost hardest to curate fans who were obsessed in one way or another. Like, from memory, I think a lot of them were weirdly open about the city that they lived in and the cafes that they go to on a regular basis because they were hoping to get recognized and like spark more of a parasocial thing there. I think whenever they mentioned that they didn't
like parasocial relationships or that like it was an unproductive thing. It was a double bluff because it makes them seem like more of a real human being, which in a way only really strengthens those parasocial relationships. I also think that there should be a conversation about parasocial relationships, and I do agree with him there. However, I also think that the conversation isn't maybe veered enough towards how parasocial is massively overused in today's era of the internet. Like back in the day, before it became like a household term, so to speak, it definitely was something worth pointing out as a potential harm, but now I feel like we've swung too far the other way, and people are very quick to call things parasocial that just aren't parasocial. I'll talk about that more in a second, but I do want to cover this clip a bit first, of course. The next thing he goes on to say is that the way that people are covering Tyler Catastrophe, he says some of the people covering it are kind of bullying him. I would push back a little bit on that description and say that it's not kind of bullying. A lot of it is just straight up bullying. Like if we look at the comment section for this TikTok here, again, we'll do that at the end, but like a lot of the comments is just like there's homophobia, there's just bullying, there's people being really fucking horrible about the appearances of either of these two people. There's a lot of blatant transphobia as well. There is a lot of blatant, complete, utter bullying. In fact, there's so much bullying that, to be brutally honest with you all, I do feel a bit bad for the videos that I made on Tyler Catastrophe. There is a small part of me that feels as though I sold out a little bit. As much as I can sort of sit back and tell myself that I'm one of the good ones and I didn't bully his appearance or I didn't like take the piss out of anything that was generally unfounded or not deserved. You know, the things I talked about and focused on were like the sly bits of subtle racism, for example, the dismissal of Wilbur Soot's previous physical abuse, for example, as well. Whether or not I made videos on him that were worthwhile or just part of a dog pile or pile on isn't really for me to decide, because I, of course, am like massively biased when it comes to my own content, I suppose. I'm always going to try to find a way to convince myself that I'm not just mindlessly adding to the dog pile. So I guess I can leave that up to you to decide, and I wouldn't really argue either which way though. Like if you are someone who believes that I shouldn't have made those videos and that I'm just a bully and that it was just adding to the dog pile, I'm not about to sit here and fucking defend myself to the ends of the earth, as much as I may personally disagree with you, if that makes sense. We'll let the rest of this clip play out now.
The people making fun of this person, a lot of them are just as parasocial. And I think everyone needs to take a good look inwards, all right? And figure themselves out. Yeah, you stare long enough into the abyss and the abyss stares back into you.
Unironically, I think that's an insanely poignant and well put and true point. Like there are certain people, I'm not going to name any names, a lot of them aren't even creators, a lot of them are just commenters that have like obsessed over Tyler Catastrophe. There are so many people that are so vehemently on Tyler Catastrophe's like his work history, his Tumblr they found. I'm sure there are some creators as well that are like way too interested and emotional about this guy as well. It's very ironic when people are criticizing his parasocial relationship with Wilbur Soot, because if you think that what he's doing is parasocial, what does that make you? I'm not talking about you specifically, but like I'm sure we're all aware, we've all seen things regarding Tyler that is like, Jesus, this is a bit fucking far. Like when you go on his response video, as much as you might not think it was the greatest response in the world, you read through the comments and it's like just fucking brutal. Get out of here. We don't accept your apology. You're a fucking scumbag. It's like the dude is cringe and potentially harmful in one way or another. He's not a fucking evil person. He doesn't deserve this insane level of vitriol that so many people are throwing towards him. He's made an apology. He's owned up to his mistakes somewhat. Ultimately, why can't we all just sort of live by the standard of actions speak louder than words, and hopefully he lives a more fruitful and productive and less harmful life from now? And only time will tell if that's the case, I guess. Like if he actually grows and changes from all this. He has put out videos. He has made a return to the internet, so we might get a good litmus test of that later. When I read certain comments or see certain reactions to his response, I genuinely, like, I think, what would make you happy? Like, what could Tyler ever do to make you happy or satisfied or stop you from commenting this horrible fucking shit? Like, do you want him to kill himself? Is that it? Like, he's already clearly struggling as is. When this whole dog pile started and everyone starts bullying the guy and making all these videos on him and being transphobic and making fun of his appearance and calling him fucking ugly and all this shit. He's like, you have weeks and weeks of that, and he's still plugging along. He's still uploading, and he's still putting on a brave face. If anything, he got more and more annoying because it was very obvious to anyone who knows anything about anything, really. Like, if you have any ounce of common sense, it is blindingly obvious that Tyler Catastrophe was going through it. And you can't blame him for that. When you get that amount of negativity online, especially towards someone who's already struggling mentally, like, yeah, that's gonna really take a toll on someone. Like, when you watch those videos of him talking about how confident he is and how much he loves himself and that, I don't know how real it is. And this isn't me psychoanalyzing, because it could be real. Like, it could be totally real. He could be the most self-confident motherfucker on the planet, and if he is, then good, more power to you. I think that's great. But usually, when I see that amount of self-glaze and it's so constant and so in your face, a lot of the time they're overcompensating for a certain level of insecurity, in my opinion. And a part of me just can't help but feel an immense amount of sorrow for him, especially when there are so many fucking horrible bullies, as Wilbur says, sorry, going for him. I think he's just another brick in the wall of lolcow culture and how much I fucking despise it and the coverage of it all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not backtracking completely. I think he's still massively cringe, and I think it's okay to laugh at how cringe he is, because it is fucking it's really funny sometimes. And I'm not saying he's a particularly good person either. There's definitely a lot of racism, like internalized racism there, a lot of very strange, bigoted behavior, a lot of genuine obsession with Wilbur Soot that leads him to dismiss abuse allegations, not even allegations, genuinely, like, solid proof of physical abuse. The way that he handled the Stuart Semple situation was obviously also unhinged, although we'll get to Stuart Semple later, the mug. So this isn't me saying that, like, you can't make videos on him, or you can't comment on him, or you can't even comment negative things on him. But just don't be a fucking dick about it. Like, it's not hard. It really isn't hard. I say the same things to my commenters all the time. It's like, I don't mind if you want to chat shit or call me a name or whatever, but just don't be a fucking arsehole. Like, genuinely, try and make it as constructive as possible. But not constructive in terms of, like, listen here, you fucking piece of shit dog! You are a fucking disgrace to art and everything that it stands for, and if you don't stop, then I just feel like there's a certain way of going about it that is inherently and objectively more moral and ethical and, like, taking into account the feelings of the people involved than is currently happening. But, like, this is always what happens with lolcows, to be honest. It's why I don't really cover them much on this channel. It's also why I tend not to, like, assimilate with lolcow channels as well. I had a debate with Bloodspeth, who's, like, a huge, he made, like, 40 videos on Nova Online. If you've ever watched a Nova Online video, you probably heard of him. I had, like, a debate with him on Shepherd Boy over on the second channel on, like, a stream highlight, because I upload my stream highlights to Shepherd Boy, by the way, so go sub there. I almost don't even recommend watching it, because it was essentially just an hour of me slamming my fucking head against the wall, because talking to these people is, man. Okay, I'll put it this way. I don't mean to be dramatic, but I think I would rather eat lead. This is a great comment here, by the way. I don't get why so much Wilbur Soot fans hate Tyler. Aren't you the same? Saw someone named Wilbur's little bunny hating on Tyler. I think that's a fucking unreal comment, because it's so true. And I think a lot of people who have engaged in this discourse are hypocrites, massive hypocrites. Look at this one, for example. Oh, he cares about his boyfriend so much. This has over 1,000 likes. This is not an acceptable thing to say, in my opinion. Like, are we 6 years old? Hey, I don't really think you should bully this person who's already clearly mentally struggling, because this amount of fucking stress could very easily cause someone to do horrible things. Like, you could very possibly be pushing this person to a point of no escape. Oh, look at you defending your boyfriend, you little fucking twink. How about go fuck yourself? How about that? This one as well. Oh my god, he's defending his bottom. 9,000 likes. Okay, so I guess homophobia is just totally fine and dandy now. And you just know for a fact that these are all the same people who criticize someone for, like, accidentally misgendering someone online. But then when they feel as though they have the right to do something because they don't like someone or they're, like, a bad person, they can just throw out homophobia, no problem. They can just hurl year 5 level insults towards 2 blokes because they think the idea of 2 men being in a relationship is, like, inherently funny. They think they can criticize the very fucking reasonable idea that you shouldn't bully people. Like, how have we gotten to a point where bullying is bad is now a controversial thing to say? This is a great comment. Unfortunately, it doesn't have as many likes as the defending his bottom one, but hot take incoming. I do not support Wilbur at all, but realistically, his response to it was very mature and thoughtful, and was probably the best way he could have gone about discussing it instead of just ignoring it completely. I agree completely with this bloke here. Like, that's bang on. And you know, not only that, but I kind of struggled to understand the mentality of someone who doesn't agree wholeheartedly with that comment. But then, of course, there's just loads of people who have no fucking media literacy commenting things like, lol, him defending his defender. Why the fuck is he defending him? Oh my fucking god. It's like, what do you mean, why is he is saying, hey, I don't really want people to relentlessly bully someone who is already mentally struggling, clearly, by the way, how is that in any way a defense of their actions? It's not. It's just a criticism, a very fucking reasonable criticism of the people who I feel genuinely would not be happy unless he was dead. Like he said in his response that he was leaving. He was leaving the internet, but that wasn't enough for some people. There were still some people demanding that he like answered that like as if he owes them something. It's like, look, I don't like Tyler. I don't like Tyler Catastrophe. I think he's really cringe. I think he's low-key racist. I think he's obsessed. I think he's dismissive. I think he's ignorant. I think it's totally reasonable if you all think those same things as well. But we have to turn the temperature down. We have to. I genuinely feel as though there is some semblance of like moral obligation for us all just to calm the fuck down. Because I'm really not a fan of some of the behavior, some of the responses that I'm seeing here. It fucking really scares me, actually. Like, it really, really scares me. And I don't know if that's me overthinking things or being too woke, but yeah, as someone who knows what it's like to receive negative comments, as someone who was cancelled in a situation that was nowhere near as popular and famous as this, knowing how that affected me, someone who clearly is less neurodivergent and less mentally ill in the most polite way possible than Tyler Catastrophe, and seeing him receive cascading amount, like at least 50 times the amount of pure, unadulterated hatred that I did, yeah, I cannot fucking begin to imagine how he's feeling. But this is sort of another case of people just not realizing that the people that they are commenting on and critiquing and being horrible to are real people who will read those messages. And even if they don't read them directly, just knowing that those messages exist, knowing that if they turn off their phone and go for a walk in the park, everything is still going on and they're still being relentlessly fucking bullied, yeah, it takes a toll, man. And again, this is not me saying that you can't criticize him, but there's a very important and obvious distinction, by the way, between a comment that is just someone being a fucking arsehole and a comment as someone who you can tell is genuinely trying to critique him in good faith. I like to believe that my videos are good faith criticisms of Tyler Catastrophe. Obviously, there are jokes thrown in here and there, but I would struggle to prescribe any of my critiques against Tyler as mean-spirited or unfounded, or I guess venomous would be a good word for it. But again, that's not really on me to decide. Tyler has, of course, responded to Wilbur Soot's acknowledgement of him, because obviously, yes, I have seen the clip from Wilbur's stream. I'm very grateful he said something before the song releases, especially because it probably would have really sucked for me if he hadn't, but it also really sucks that he needed to. Either way, I know a lot of people wouldn't have ever said anything, so the fact that he did is something I appreciate very much and likely always will. I still wish him and the band all the best, even if one new song will probably be difficult to listen to for a while. See, again, you can still see, like, there are elements of obsession, and unhealthy obsession, rather, towards Lovejoy and Wilbur. He talks about how Wilbur's so special and he's so appreciative of the fact that Wilbur said something when he was almost obligated to fucking say something. Like, this new song that he's promoting in this stream is a song about parasocial relationships. Like, there's no way he couldn't fucking mention this. But again, he's putting him on this, like, pedestal for doing the bare, not even the bare minimum, but just like something that anyone would have done. I do understand completely him being appreciative of the way that Wilbur spoke about it, though, because Wilbur wasn't too mean-spirited or denounced Tyler himself, which I do think was a good move, by the way. As much as people are like, no, he's feeding into the delusion, I was like, no, Tyler's had enough, he did the right thing. He did the right thing now. LMAO, it's all about himself, someone commented with 200 likes. Look, I don't mean to be a dick here, but who the fuck else is this about? Wilbur dedicated about that minute of his stream to Tyler Catastrophe, and Tyler Catastrophe is addressing it. Yet this is about him. It's about Tyler. What do you want him to do? Like, oh yeah, I've seen the clip from Wilbur's stream, and I just want to let you all know that my uncle's neighbor, Jimmy, is he's a great guy, actually. Yeah, I went fishing with him last night, and yeah, it was lovely. One of them fishing spots, funnily enough, where they have to artificially get fish from another area into the pond to increase fishing tourism, I guess. Not sure how I feel about that on an ethical level, but might need to do a bit more research, I suppose. I just love fish. Love him. I think they're great. Like, is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted from him? This is about him. He can talk about himself. You can even see, like, the person who screenshotted this story 2 minutes ago, do they have fucking notifications on the Tyler Catastrophe story? Obviously they might not do, but regardless, like, it's weird, potentially. Sort of plays into the whole thing Wilbur was saying about, like, if he's parasocial, then what the fuck are you? I do want to hear Wilbur talk about this parasocial relationship song, though. Actually, I should say, overall, Tyler's response, there's not too much to say in regards to it. It's just kind of what you'd expect. It's a reasonable response to Wilbur's also very reasonable response, and once again, I wish him the best. We'll have a look at his latest TikTok in a second, but before we do, obviously, I hope you're on the same page as I am, by the way, that, like, hopefully he grows and he changes and he becomes a more productive and functional member member of society. I even hope that his move goes well and that his art is good, and like I truly wish him the best, because I just feel fucking sorry for him now.
Crazy life of its own with you guys. Jesus fuck me. The vows is about parasocial relationships. And I wrote it back in 2024. I wrote the vows in 2024, and it was about mostly just the people in my fucking comments and DMs and just like DM requests on Instagram. Checking them like occasionally. You just see just like absolute like it's quite scary. Like there's you know I mean I probably shouldn't get too into this because I don't want to empower this kind of thought like
he's bang on there. He's right. I ain't got a fraction of his fame, and I get that shit. Maybe I get that shit because I've not got a fraction of. Maybe I seem like more approachable because I'm smaller than him. Maybe I don't know. That is interesting. I do wonder. But like, yeah, I do get him here. But again, I don't know. It's like he very much did make a career intentionally, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me if you disagree. But in my opinion, he was very much intentionally fostering these parasocial relationships. And now they've come back to sort of bite him on the ass.
But like, I've had times at shows where like people, you know, I've had like times where people have like found me after a show at like a bar, and like they've been fully convinced that I'm like their boyfriend and stuff. And like I've had times when like, you know, people on the internet will like put this personality onto me that I'm like their brother or like their uncle, their unk, like actually fully put that onto me. And it's really quite scary. And that's what I wrote the vows about. It was about that. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, because obviously I've seen what people are saying on the internet. And no, it's not about a specific person. And if I can be quite frank, I think the way that I think parasocial.
Yeah, and then he goes into the whole Tyler clip that we've already seen, I guess. But that was like the pretext to it, I suppose. Again, he just sort of comes across incredibly reasonable on this stream. I'm sure he's media trained to fuck now. I'm sure he's also, you know what? I don't doubt that he's probably also grown as a person and probably isn't as much of a mentally ill, abusive freak as he was before. I'm not saying that completely exonerates him of the physical abuse that he put Shovels through. I'm also not saying that he's definitely fucking. I don't know him personally, but I mean, you can only really hope, I guess. Like if he's gonna have this career as a public person, he's like very famous and that, I guess you can only really hope that he's improved as a person. And we've got no reason to assume that he hasn't, I guess. End of the day though, I don't really give, like, it's not on me to fucking forgive him. It's really cringe when I'm like, you know what? I forgive Wilbur. Yeah, I just don't care enough. I don't give a fuck about Wilbur I just don't care. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I nothing him. Do you want to talk about people's perceptions of parasociality though? I put a post up, a community post. I got, to be truthfully, I got wine drunk and I put a post up. Is this one here? I'm not going to read it out because it's a little cringe. Like, oh, come on, what's going on here, Danky? Like, you calm the fuck down. But you can read it if you want. I will read some of the comments though. Okay, here's a comment, for example. I'm going to use it, by the way, big up Titty Grace. I think you're lovely. Thank you very much for the compliment, but I do want to use this as an example. I'm going to use this to be slightly too parasocial for a regular comment section, but thank you for making videos. I really needed a distraction from life this last few months, and binge watching your videos has given me that. This is an incredibly sweet and nice thing to say. I love receiving comments like these. I have to sit back and I have to sort of remember every time a negative comment pisses me off, I get 100 positive comments bigging me up, and I do need to put that in perspective and remember that sometimes, because every YouTuber will understand this. Every person probably understands this. The one negative comment you get, especially if they're being a fucking arsehole about it, it affects you more than 100 compliments ever could. But the fact that they have like sort of self-prescribed or deemed this comment here as parasocial in any way, shape or form proves to me that there are a lot of people there who just don't know what parasocial is. Like, this is not parasocial at all. This is just a very nice compliment. Parasocial in my mind is feeling as though you have a genuine friendship or connection that is different or unique from any other fan with a certain creator. Like, you genuinely bring yourself to believe that you are like their friend, or worst case scenario, their boyfriend or family member or girlfriend, you know, or partner, you know, just to get everyone in there. Big up the 5% non-binary audience that watch my videos. How mental is that, by the way? 1 in 20 people that watch my videos are non-binary. I'm glad you feel comfortable here. It means my facade is working. Yeah, I think people are just a little too quick to label certain behaviors as parasocial. Like, you watch someone get married and you feel happy because of that. That's not parasocial. That's just empathy. And empathy is another word that I feel as though people don't use correctly either, but that's like the correct usage of that word. And then you get those fucking mirror neurons firing off. Oh my god, this person's happy. What the hell? Am I smiling? This is so weird. In fact, this has been a little more sentimental than like a regular Dankijabo video the last minute or so. Some of you are probably smiling right now because of that without even realizing. And again, that's not parasocial. That's just empathy. There's also a chance that you're not though, of course. In fact, you're most likely not. You're probably just, I don't know, sat on the toilet shitting yourself in pain. Or fucking grunting because, I don't know, maybe you're really having a bad time. Who knows? I hope you get well soon though. I think next we should have a look at Tyler Catastrophe's big return to the internet though, because he has made a new TikTok. I want to see how long he actually took off of TikTok though, because I don't think it's been long enough. Yeah, so he left on the 25th of April. It is now the 17th of May. This was uploaded on the 14th of May, though. Me personally, I think it would have been a lot healthier for him to take more time off. But I guess at the end of the day, if this is his primary means of making money, and he feels as though he is sane and of sound mind enough to come back and deal with all the hatred that he is inevitably going to be receiving, then who am I to criticize him or tell him to fuck off? Like, this is him. This is his life. He can do what he wants. He's a grown-ass man. He's got like half a decade on me. If he ever watches any of these videos, he probably thinks like, well, the fucking cheek of this child to tell me what to do. Honestly, you wouldn't be wrong for that. So what is this? Is he like hearting places that he's delivered his jewelry to? Is that what this is? I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, good for him, I guess. One thing I will say is that if you are genuinely, like, as much as people love to dog on his art, me included, I think it's, like, not great. If you are someone who genuinely is, if you find something to enjoy about it and you feel as though it's worth the price and you have the money and you want to buy one, then fucking go for it, you know? More power to you. End of the day, that shit's all subjective, I guess. And one good thing that has come out of this, as much as he is getting an insane amount of fucking hate, no doubt a lot of people who have become fans of him have also been introduced to him. Like, as much as it doesn't seem like it, there is no doubt he has also garnered a lot of new genuine fans from all of this. Obviously, it's very hard to see that because you have to sift through the 99% of people who fucking despise him to get to that 1% that do. But when 1 million people have been introduced to you and 1% of those people really vibe with you and actually buy your shit, that's still 10,000 people. Shit, I could do with 10,000 more subscribers. That's why I've been fucking begging for it like a pathetic weak dog at the start of every video for the last 3 videos. Let's see these comments here. Are you still planning to move to the UK? Tyler Catastrophe says yes. As much as I have my criticisms with the way that they marketed the move and the GoFundMe and everything, if you want to move to fucking England, then go right ahead, Tyler. It's also a little bit like, I'm moving to England soon as well, so it's like, it'd be a bit hypocritical for me to be like, no, don't go to England. Broski, he acknowledged you in the recent stream. Yeah, I saw. I'm very grateful he mentioned it before the song is released. Sucks that he had to because this whole thing has been awful, but a lot of people probably wouldn't have said anything, so I appreciate the consideration. Yeah, I don't doubt that this whole thing has been awful, and I'm glad to see that as much as he's definitely putting on a front and he's still feeling under the weather, I guess, I'm glad to see that there's some semblance of sort of good spirits there. I'm also happy to see that the comment section here is nowhere near as horrible as I thought it would be. It seems as though people are, I guess, getting bored, which is the best possible thing that could have happened here, by the way. Holy shit, okay, this is a shock. Hey Tyler, what is your favorite Jujutsu Kaisen character and why? Tyler comes in here with the forbidden fucking jutsu, by the way. I feel like I've been hypnotized with this. I don't watch anime, he says. Now, honestly, I don't even know if I can continue this video because the amount of shock, genuine, I feel like I'm in shock right now. I feel like I need to raise my fucking legs above my head. I guess, you know what? Maybe this is a lesson not to judge a book by its cover, not to profile people. Because I never, ever would have expected that from Tyler. Couldn't even wait a month, someone says, with over 300 likes. I mean, who gives a fuck? Like, who actually fucking, like, who cares? Who cares? Oh god, Jesus. Wait, guys, be nice so he keeps posting with over 2,000 fucking likes. Are you deranged? Are you fucking deranged, dude? Oh no, guys, let's manipulate him into thinking that we like him so that we can be fucking horrendous and bully him. Like, genuine, mean-spirited, fucking horrible bullying. Like, do you not, that's what I'm saying. No, literally, real. You people are horrible and you're hypocritical and you don't give a fuck about mental health or anything that you pretend to stand for. You're just bullies. Like, honestly, without sounding like some sort of virtue signaler, this kind of behavior fucking disgusts me, dude. And if you're taking part in this kind of discussion surrounding Tyler Catastrophe, I think you really need to take a good long hard look at yourself. Like, seriously evaluate who you are as a person, because this is fucking grim. It's grim. This is what I was talking about in terms of like the separation between the type of criticisms or videos that I make on Tyler and the comments that I make versus comments like these, where it's just like blatant, this is abuse. This is abusive. In my opinion, objectively abusive behavior. This has 14,000 likes, this comment, and it really pisses me off, actually. People get ate up on Twitter and start tweeting random stuff like, dang, what movie should I go watch? To act unbothered, like their mentions aren't hot. I'm sorry. What the fuck do you want him to do? Do you want him to kill himself? Is that what makes you happy? Can he not live his fucking life? Can he not make the videos he wants to make? Do you want him to just constantly address the situation every fucking day in every video he makes? Like, what do you want him to do now? He's addressed it multiple times. He's talked about everything. He's apologized. He said he's moving on. He's taken a fucking break, and now he's doing what he loves. But now, according to over 14,000 people that liked this stupid comment, that's not enough. He needs to even if he I was gonna say he needs to grovel. Even if he fucking groveled, that wouldn't be enough. And here's the thing that pisses me off. If he genuinely, touch wood, if he genuinely was to do something fucking horrible to himself, these people would act like they were so simple. Oh, no one deserves that. That's horrible. I can't believe. Fuck you, dude. I feel like I'm sounding unhinged here. I really feel like I'm sounding fucking unhinged right now. You guys are gonna have to tell me in the comments if I'm going like too far when I say this, like when I don't know. It really annoys me. Like, it really annoys me, this type of behavior online. Like, I'm not being funny. What do you expect him to do? What do you want him to do? In other news, Stuart Semple is a mug, and I want to talk about him for a little bit. As you can see on Stuart Semple's amazing TikTok here, I made art out of a Tyler-shaped catastrophe because you can't laugh at the craziness, you'd cry. And I wanted to make something for you all to remember the saga, so if you want one, head to store.stuartsemple.com and I'll paint you one. And isn't that fucking amazing, isn't it? I think it is just straight up cruel. Especially because, in my opinion, and this might be a controversial statement, Tyler Catastrophe has more artistic integrity than Stuart Semple. I need to go over some old Stuart Semple type so obviously Stuart Semple, I'm sure we all know, well, a lot of people don't. There have been a lot of issues with like packaging and sending stuff and people not receiving things or whatever. That's menial, I guess. When it comes to the art itself, there is like an old, he's used AI before. You know what, I'll show you. It's difficult to find it exactly because a lot of it's been deleted, but I want to give a big shout out to Aerith Girl, this YouTuber here who has made a video on it. Not recently, this video was a while ago. It was a year ago. But it's a very good tapestry of like what this old drama entailed, so we can get like a good sort of view of this guy's behavior in the past online, and why I believe he is undeserving of unable to bully Tyler without being a massive hypocrite or just begging it or being a mug or a man-child, really. So for those who don't know, a few years back he was marketing a sort of smartphone thing, like a nostalgic burner phone type art piece, I guess. It was meant to be like a novelty product, but like a phone. Now, look, the exact product isn't too important, right? The fact that the important part is that there's an Indiegogo page, or there was an Indiegogo page. It looked sketchy. It did look sketchy. I'm not sure it ever went anywhere, but here's the initial tweet. The smartphones are doing our heads no good. I've been looking for a cool dumb phone for someone who's struggling. They are either ludicrously expensive, tech bro gadgets, or dog ugly. So I've made one to look, so I've had to make my own. This is a burner, and you can get involved here. And then we get a very pristine and almost too clean image of the said burner phone. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is, in fact, AI. This is an AI image, which I feel as though for most artists would be like, is very sacrilege.
Most predominantly of which was that the promotional images for the phone were clearly made from AI. There's been a lot, obviously, of AI integration into technology over the last couple of years.
But the thing is, obviously, this girl's right, and I'm going to let her keep talking because she does a great job here. But if you're really planning to release this phone, and it's in the works, and you'd have blueprints for it, you'd have potential designs for it, you'd have actual drawings of it laid out that real people who you've paid have drawn. So why use an AI image when you can support the people who are actually helping you make said phone? Unless, of course, there were no blueprints and you blew your load way too early in announcing this thing and then it ended up never happening. Call me conspiratorial, but part of me thinks that that's what it was. Because yeah, they never fully materialize into an actual product.
Generative AI refers to programs where you put in a prompt and something is created out of it. This is where you get a lot of those wonky AI images that you see everywhere, usually on Facebook. Overly saturated, have an uncanny valley feel to them, and when you start to pay attention to little details, you notice things look really bad. There are a lot of reasons why people have issues with generative AI, but specifically for artists, there are two main issues. One is that these systems have to base the things that they're generating, the images that they're making, off of things that already exist, and the overwhelming majority of the time, they have taken those images that they're using to build their generative stuff from just the internet or things that they're able to find anywhere without any level of permission. They are stealing art from other artists. There is a very real chance that any artist that has made something commercially, that has made something that's gone online and gained any level of popularity, has been scraped and put into an AI engine without their permission, without royalties, without anything. So that's issue one. They're literally stealing from artists. Issue two is that this technology is expressly used to replace artists. Every time you see this used, it means that an artist was not paid instead. So by using it, you're stealing from artists so that you don't have to pay them in the future. It's a double fuck you. So like I said, people started calling him out on this, and this very clearly got to him very seriously. I don't have very many actual examples of anything because this man deletes comments faster than I can even capture them. But clearly he got a ton, because at some point a guy named Sam also pointed this out and was like, hey, this sucks. And Stuart just kind of snapped.
Yeah, so this guy Sam gets genuinely fucking harassed online by Stuart Semple. And I think it's greatly ironic for Stuart Semple to make fun of Tyler Catastrophe's parasocialism when this is on the fucking when this is on the back, this is in his like history, this is in his digital footprint. This guy Sam, a nobody, respectfully, a nobody, as in someone with no, like, not like an influencer or anything, it's just a regular fucking bloke. Doesn't even say anything too harsh, but merely brings up that it is clearly AI being used, obviously in a bit of a, I suppose, what's the word? Accusatory tone, but nothing like massively harsh.
In his comments, trying to say that basically it's not art because it's just a rendering of a product. Therefore, it's not bad to use AI, which completely ignores the entire issue with AI that artists have, which I just explained. It seems Stuart only thinks it matters if somebody who is an artist uses AI and claims that they made it themselves and none of the other stuff.
Yeah, that's what he's arguing in the comments. He's like, no, I'm not like lying about it. I'm not saying that I made these myself or whatever. But again, my point is like, if this is a real thing that you're actually planning as in the works, put the fucking blueprints out, put a drawing of what it'll actually look like. You're a fucking artist. What will the product look like roughly? Do it yourself or pay one of your fucking employees to do it. Why use AI? Like, what kind of artist worth his salt would, like, Tyler Catastrophe wouldn't use AI. He respects art too much. And that's real shit. That's real shit, man.
To a point of understanding at all. And you would think that that would be it. Again, this guy is a millionaire and is clearly very comfortable with the block and delete button, which I think is healthy. But instead, to Sam, he sends a DM that kind of rehashes all the same stuff and is like, why are you being mean to me? Then he goes over to Sam's Instagram.
Look at this! Look at this! He starts commenting on Sam's account. Just deranged. All in the same, like, 1256, 1257, 1257. Just genuinely scrolling through this fucking account and acting like a fucking child. This is alright, my modern doodles in the early teens. Again, feels a tiny bit wooden, you can loosen up a little. Looks like something my 12-year-old did when they were learning to draw. More generic rubbish. Did you buy this on Fiverr? I'll tell you what, whatever it is, I'm not sure, I don't have it in front of me, at least they fucking did it themselves and they didn't use AI. By the way, Stuart Semple is a 45-year-old man. To put this into perspective here a little, 45-year-old man, so offended that someone merely brought up that he was using AI, that he's going on this whole fucking tirade. More, there's more, that was it, there's more here. You are a troll and a bully. Imagine the fucking irony of saying that, by the way. Your work has absolutely no conceptual depth at all. Your drawing is wooden and lacks any individual personality. There is nothing unique at all about your work. It looks like every other teenage iPad drawer. I suggest you enroll for some art education before you start trolling artists whose career it is. All he did was point out that he used a fucking AI photo. That's all he did, brother. And you're so ass, man. This is pathetic. This is disgusting. I hate this. I really fucking hate this.
over the last several weeks. This man is 43. Sam, who's a little blown away by this whole interaction, posts it on Reddit and it goes a little crazy. At least the initial post did. It unfortunately seems to have been taken down. I'm not sure why. After that, I assume Stewart started getting more comments on his Instagram about it, but again, I can't see any of it because he deletes them so fast. But he started posting a whole series of I'm just a human and I'm sad and I'm being bullied types of posts. It was
Oh my god! Bro! You are... Imagine contributing to this Tyler Catastrophe stuff. Kicking the fucking dead horse. When you have this in your closet. I'm a human, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, please stop bullying me. Fuck you, dude.
Funny, actually. To be clear, do not harass this man. Let's be cool. He also allegedly justified himself to someone who asked him why he was being mean by saying Sam wrote these, but these look to be doctored, to me, anyway. But admittedly, like, none of this would be an issue if you just listened to the feedback about the AI, especially as an artist, and then just not gone on a childish tantrum, so...
Or, at the very least, if you were like, you know what, I used AI, I understand why you guys have an issue with it, I personally don't see the issue, but, like, if it's too much for you, that's fine, totally fine, you're not obligated to support me in any way, shape, or form, but we can move on now. It's like a reasonable, like, that's fine, if you said that, that'd be fine, no one could, like, genuinely get angry at you, well, they could, but, like, you know, it would be a lot better than whatever the fuck this was.
To the actual phone he's promoting, the burner phone. Because it's not a real project, it's a crowdfunding thing for a phone that will theoretically be released in December. And the whole point that he has on his Indiegogo fundraiser for it is that he wanted to get a dumb phone for mental health purposes so he could disconnect from things like social apps, which clearly he does need to do, but that they were crazy expensive. Guess how much this one is? $200. And then people started talking about how he's done crowdfunding stuff in the past and just not delivered it. Last year, he apparently raised $180,000 crowdfunding to make a competitor to Adobe called Abode, because remember, he hates Adobe. And there had allegedly been no updates sent. Though, supposedly, right after somebody tweeted about that, he said that he did put an update in there, and supposedly it's coming out in November of this year.
The rest of this stuff I'm not going to go too deep into because it's actually quite hard to fact check a lot of it, but the phone stuff is pretty well documented, luckily. So that's all I can really comfortably say. Now, with all that context, I want to show you this video of him just fucking begging it, by the way. Actually, no, fuck that. Firstly, I want to get his website up. Just bear in mind that all the shit he was chatting about this other bloke's art, being uninspired and lazy and all this fucking horrible shit. Look at me. Look how dumb I am, by the way. It's fucking 4 a.m. Oh, I've just typed website into Google. I've not typed Stuart Semple. I've just typed website. This is it, man. I'm trying to talk and record. It's just too many fucking... I'm going to stay quiet now because apparently I can't multitask to save my life. They're still fucked up. Web Suite. Oh, damn. How the fuck do I have subscribers? But yeah, here you can get Pinky original tape drawing for a reasonable £650, or about $850, I think. You could also get this thing here, which looks like it looks like the Target logo, but in black. And again, a very reasonable £2,000, which I believe is around $2,700. Only 10 left, by the way. The next collector will pay £4,000. The watcher doubles in value with every purchase. So that the other guy, you know, lacked creativity and then it was flat and uninspired. And this is what you're selling for, at one point, only 10 left, and the next one's £4,000. This means the last one that you sell will be for a extremely reasonable, I'm sure we can all agree, £4,096,000. Now, I understand that art is complicated, and you can charge a lot for things or pieces that don't look as though they would be worth a lot. And that's fine. I understand that. And you can say that, because it's true. Like, one of the most famous and influential pieces of art in the world is that toilet seat. Or not even, it was a urinal, wasn't it, by Marcel Duchamp. And as someone who is appreciative of art, I understand how it becomes, I'm not one of these people, it's just a toilet seat. I get it. I understand it. I really do. I think it's like a really profound, genuinely, really interesting piece of history. However, if you are someone that takes that type of mentality and thinks that Stuart Semple has the right to charge that much, which is fine, you can think that, then you're also not allowed to criticize Tyler Catastrophe for charging as much as he does for his art pieces. Either he can't charge that much, but neither can Stuart, or they're both allowed to charge as much as they possibly fucking want. Anyway, with all that being said, here is this video made me cringe so bad, man. So, yeah, here, have a look at this. Again, 45-year-old man, just bear this in mind, 45-year-old man, yeah?
So, about these job offers, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's applied for a job offer. I'm going to be really busy painting them all for all of you, and I can't wait for you to get them. I'm going to switch it off tonight, though, so if you do want one, don't miss out. Also, I've got some really exciting news. Some of you have missed the memo, but I'm actually giving this away completely for free at the moment. This is the world's pinkest pink, and we're celebrating the fact it's 10 years old. It's been 10 years since Anish Kapoor got the rights to the blackest black, and I released the pinkest pink. So listen, if you want some of the pinkest pink, I will send it to you. I will sign it as well. It's completely free. Just click the link in my bio or go to culturehustle.com and I'll send you some. I haven't made much, so it'll probably go quite quickly, but I hope if you do get some, you make something amazing with it. And TikTok, thank you for being so lovely to me. It's been really nice to meet you all. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Yeah, people are saying that it's like his gimmick to be petty in the comments, which I get. The whole Anish Kapoor thing, I'm not going to go into it now. But yeah, he has a history of just being petty and it's like a joke. It's like great or whatever. But like, I don't buy that. It's it's like, oh, he's just playing a character. I don't care. He's still doing it. Just because you're playing a character doesn't mean you're not saying the words you're saying or selling the work that you're selling for like £70, I think this Tyler Catastrophe thing was. $100 that, by the way. Like, if Tyler's name is worth that much, then I don't think we can criticize Tyler Catastrophe for selling his art pieces for the amount that he's selling them for. I'm very glad that from what it seems, one of the top comments here is begging it now, because they're fucking bang on. He's begging it. He's such a beg, dude. But my thing was, and the reason why I think I almost respect Tyler more than Stuart Semple is because Tyler puts his all, whatever you think about his art, whatever you think about Tyler, it's very obvious that he really loves art. And he puts his everything into his art pieces. As much as like a lot of them, in my opinion, are complete dog shit, he really tries. He doesn't fucking use AI like Stuart Semple does and then cry like a baby when someone points out that he merely used AI. Stuart Semple does, however. So, yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on all the recent Tyler Catastrophe drama. I honestly didn't think I'd be making another video on it, but so much happened that, like, I thought a main channel video was worthy. I didn't just want to cover this all on stream. So, yeah, again, hopefully, I guess you've all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And, so I know I said subscribe, but subscribe again. And then again, because if you subscribe twice, it cancels out. So 3 times maybe, so that it counts as like, you know, a subscription. Because we need 400k. We need it. I need it. No, we need it. You need it as well. You do. You know, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But yeah, for now, I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.